At the Awakening Plaza, the atmosphere grew lively as an announcement rang out as clear and distinct as a bell heralding a grand event. The Awakening ceremony begins now. Touch the Awakening stele to unlock your class. One by one, those whose names were called stepped forward. From Class 3, there's Zhang Tianyu, a blacksmith. From Class 5, Lao Shu, Zia Plasterer. Feng Dong stood there with his arms crossed. His arrogant gaze swept across the crowd like a king observing his subjects. He looked on with contempt at the Awakened, muttering, "All life skill classes. A bunch of useless trash." He had been watching since the beginning and was growing bored as if watching a tedious play. If someone had awakened a sport class, perhaps it would have been less dull than this. Feng Dong mumbled. A lackey beside him immediately chimed in, sucking up. "That's right, not like you, Brother Feng. You awakened the glorious combat class Greatsword Warrior. Such a rare class. How could those plasterers even compare?" Suddenly, someone accidentally bumped into Feng Dong's shoulder. A lackey immediately shouted aggressively, "Who the hell do you think you are bumping into? Brother Feng." The person turned around and bowed politely. "My apologies, I was in a hurry." Feng Dong immediately took notice of the newcomer, a sinister smile creeping onto his lips, like a wolf spotting its prey. The lackey beside him guessed, "Brother Feng, that guy looks so arrogant. Could he be the young master of some family?" Feng Dong scoffed, his voice dripping with disdain. "Young master, please." He spoke loudly as if wanting the whole plaza to hear. "You know about the Lin family being mysteriously wiped out a few years ago, don't you? Lin Han, that brat. He's the last bastard son of the Lin family." He sneered, his tone full of contempt. What a shame. One of the top 2 talents from elementary school ruined just like that. And yet he still dares to come here to awaken. Trash will always be trash. What kind of delusion is he clinging to? Just then a faint, calm smile appeared on Lin Han's face, as serene as an undisturbed lake. He stood there proudly, ignoring the whispers around him like a lone warrior amidst the noisy crowd. A weak chicken that only knows how to stand on the side and squawk. He thinks just because he awakened a rare class, he's all that. Someone in the crowd sneered. Lin Han touched the awakening stele, his voice calm but full of challenge. "Let me show you what real talent looks like." An enormous source of power erupted, spreading throughout the nearby area like a sudden storm. The crowd was stunned by the scene before them. One of Feng Dong's lackeys stammered, "Brother Feng, what's happening?" They were blinded by a dazzling light more brilliant than anything they had ever seen before. "Could that guy be a genius?" someone exclaimed. Feng Dong gritted his teeth, not believing his eyes, his heart burning with jealousy. How is this possible? That useless punk's awakening is causing such a bizarre phenomenon. If he actually makes a comeback, won't I become a laughingstock? 3. On the Awakening Stella, the result appeared clearly: hidden class level 6, Lin Han Beast-Tamer. The crowd immediately started whispering and sounds of ridicule arose. A hidden class, and it's a Beast-Tamer. What a waste to awaken as a Beast-Tamer. Should we call him a genius or a good-for-nothing? Feng Dong burst out laughing, making a joke of it. "Lin Han, you only managed to awaken as a Beast-Tamer. Do you really think you can turn things around?" The guy's contempt was obvious as he continued his mockery. "You should know, if your summoned beast isn't strong enough, you're nothing but trash," he scoffed. "To raise a powerful beast, you have to spend a ton of resources. But do you have the money? If you obediently crawl between my legs, right here, I'll give you some money to contract a rabbit dog. How about it?" Only then did Lin Han speak, his voice teasing yet as sharp as a blade. "Isn't that right, little brother Feng Dong? Besides your class, you've got nothing else, do you? You think just because a tiger doesn't roar, it's a hungry house cat? If I don't throw a few insults back, it really wouldn't suit this fiery temper of mine." He continued to make a fool of Feng Dong. "But I don't need a loan. With you here, why would I need to spend money on other rabbit dogs?" Hearing this, Feng Dong's face turned beet red with fury. He raised his fist as if to crush his opponent. "You useless piece of crap. Watch me beat you to a pulp." Just then, the sound of decisive footsteps rang out. Bai Bing appeared, launching a kick straight into Feng Dong's face, her presence as cool and imposing as a legendary heroine. She turned to lecture him, her voice icy. "Who the hell do you think you are running your mouth at my student? Get lost, or I'll skin you alive." Feng Dong fell silent, his heart filled with resentment, but he only dared to mutter. He immediately ordered his lackeys, "We're leaving." He didn't dare confront Bai Bing. Even though she was just a teacher, the Bai family was not someone he could afford to provoke. He gritted his teeth and thought to himself, "I'll let Lin Han off today. I'll deal with him another day." Bai Bing turned to Lin Han, her eyes sparkling with praise. "Not bad, kiddo. You actually managed to awaken a hidden class." Lin Han scratched his head shyly like a schoolboy caught doing something wrong and replied, "Miss Bai, please don't tease me." Bai Bing's attitude immediately shifted, her voice becoming as stern as an older sister lecturing her younger brother. "You brat, how many times have I told you? Outside of school, you have to call me sister. You dared to sneak here and participate in the awakening ceremony. You've got some serious guts, don't you?" Lin Han hurriedly pleaded, grimacing as if he were in a tight spot. "Ow, ow, ow. Sister Bing, please be gentle." Seeing this, Bai Bing's tone softened a little and her gaze became less stern. She took out a card and handed it to him, her voice filled with care as she instructed him. "Being a Beast-Tamer is a bottomless pit. Take this money for now and find a decent beast no matter what. The first thing you need to do is increase your strength. Understand. Lin Han was grateful, his eyes lighting up as if he had received a precious gift. He replied, "Thank you, Sister Bing. I'll definitely repay you in the future." Hearing this, Bai Bing pretended to be angry. She scolded affectionately, "You cocky little brat. I'm going to crush your damn head." The scene shifts to another location at Lin Han's small room. He walked in with an exhausted look on his face, as if he had just been through a long day of fighting. Sitting down, Lin Han seemed to be preparing for something important. A glint of determination in his eyes. Suddenly, a distinct change appeared on his face. Like a flash of light in the dark. "I'm finally back. Next, I'm going all in." A mechanical yet excited voice echoed in his head. "Congratulations, host, for successfully awakening. The God-tier beast taming system has been activated." The system began to introduce Lin Han's background. Previously, he was the young master of the Lin family, a top-tier prestigious clan. But 3 years ago, the Lin family was destroyed in a terrifying monster wave, leaving Lin Han in the pain of loss, a lone survivor amidst the ruins. "But fortunately, right at that moment, I transmigrated here." Lin Han murmured, his eyes sparkling with hope. He began to explore the system, which could only be activated after awakening. The system's voice continued, and he was overjoyed because it had been 3 years. "Do you have any idea what I've been through these past 3 years? I've been waiting and hoping for so many days to finally activate this thing. Today, I'm finally a man of substance too." The information panel clearly displayed Name Lin Han. Profession Beast-Tamer. First job, advancement hidden. Level 1, Strength 70, Agility 50, Spirit 110, Constitution 60, Equipment none. Skills Creature Contract Level 1, Beast, Space 1 million. Recall, Beast Level 1. The system announced host has completed the awakening. The beast taming system's profession has been activated, issuing side quest, Mysterious Power to Change Fate. For just 10,000 Heavenly Dragon coins, the host can unlock an ultra cool mode that helps you get taller, stronger, and harder. After hearing this, Lin Han was furious, as if a bucket of cold water had been thrown on him. "I just got a little money from Sister Bing and you're already drooling over it, huh? Just take it. Let's see what kind of trick this system is trying to pull." Suddenly, a dazzling light burst forth, leaving Lin Han stunned as if he had been transported to a strange world. What's going on? "Where is this?" The system's excited voice continued to ring out. "Congratulations, host, for completing the side quest, Mysterious Power to Change Fate. The ultra cool mode has been activated, unlocking a super rare beast." The system added another notification, detected that the host only has the first job advancement. The number of beasts that can be unlocked is 1. Would you like to unlock it? Lin Han pondered, thinking carefully like a strategist before a battle. Every 10 levels of a profession is 1 advancement, and for each advancement, I can only sign a contract with 1 beast. If I make the wrong choice from the start, it will directly affect my combat power. Besides, I don't have the money to buy another beast. Moreover, the beasts provided by the system shouldn't be too bad. He decisively pressed the screen, muttering, "Ultra-E, Fendi." Unexpectedly, a tiny creature poked its head out from the space, its sharp eyes filled with a murderous aura, like a tiny warrior ready for battle. The system cheered. "Congratulations, host, for activating one of the 10 ancient fierce beasts, the heavenly horned ant." Lin Han was stunned. His face was filled with disappointment, as if he'd just been badly scammed. "You've got to be kidding me. I topped up 100,000 Heavenly Dragon coins, and all I got was an ant. What the hell is this? This is even worse than a 1/999 deal. Can I get a refund for crying out loud?" The system didn't let him stay disappointed for long and continued to announce, detected that the heavenly horned ant has signed a contract with the host. Beginning evolution, about to enter its second form. Lin Han was bewildered and annoyed, as if forced to buy a defective product. Is this a forced sale? Like I have time to sign a contract with an ant. But right before his eyes, a girl suddenly appeared out of thin air. The system announced, evolution complete. The heavenly horned ant has activated its combat state. Lin Han's eyes lit up with excitement as if he had found a treasure. Unbelievable. Holy crap, this is a huge surprise. It looks like I'm guaranteed to win tomorrow's assessment. The scene shifts to the next day at the Phantom Mountain Range training grounds. A teacher stood on a platform, his voice booming like a general announcing orders. "Students, next you will begin your first level up training after your job awakening." He paused, then continued. Teacher Bai Bing, who was supposed to lead the team, had an urgent matter come up. "So today, your training instructor, Chao Song, will be leading the team." While instructor Chao Song was explaining, Lin Han stood to the side, engrossed in interacting with his beast. Through the teleportation gate, Instructor Chao continued, his voice booming like a general announcing orders. "Everyone will be transported to an area suitable for their level. Although this training session isn't too difficult, I must still remind you to pay attention to your safety." Suddenly, someone bumped into Lin Han's shoulder. He turned to see Long Tianjiao, his close friend, with a smile as bright as the morning sun. He started a friendly conversation. "Little Lin, have you found a beast to contract with yet? If not, let's team up." Long Tianjiao, a berserker, was a valiant warrior who always fought alongside Lin Han. Feng Yong stood nearby, speaking again in that contemptuous tone of someone who thinks he's above everyone else. "Lin Han, I'll help you catch a few backup tame beasts," a vicious look on his face. Like a snake about to spit its venom, he said, "Or how about you learn to bark like a dog? I'll give you a tamed beast then. How about that?" But Lin Han didn't bother to pay him any mind. retorting with a tease as sharp as a blade. Who's the dog barking at? Feng Yong continued arrogantly. The dog's barking at you. But he immediately realized he'd just shot himself in the foot, roaring as if his sore spot had been poked. You dare mock me! He charged furiously towards Lin Han. Like a provoked animal, Lin Han nimbly parried Feng Yong's punch, his movements as fluid as the wind. He continued to taunt, his tone light, yet full of challenge. Is that all you've got? Didn't you eat this morning? Feng Yong broke out in a sweat, his heart filled with dread, as if doused with cold water. He's just an ordinary Beast-Tamer, so how is his strength greater than mine could it be? Yesterday. Bai Bing gave him some kind of treasure. Just then, Teacher Tao Sung shouted, his voice full of authority. Lin Han, it's your turn. What are you doing? Get into the teleportation gate and go to your leveling zone now. Beside him, Long Tianjiao looked worried with the gaze of an older brother caring for his younger brother. Lin, it's not safe for you to go in alone. I'll go with you. Lin Han reassured him, his voice as confident as a warrior ready for battle. Don't worry, I can handle it. Standing off to the side, Feng Yong wore a sinister smile like a man plotting something. Oh, Lin Han, I already spoke with Teacher Tao beforehand. Don't even think about coming back alive from this trial. Teacher Tao Sung's face showed annoyance, as if he'd been personally offended. He thought to himself, just a little brat, and he dares to get close to Bai Bing. She was destined to be mine. Anyone who gets in my way will learn their place. He watched Lin Han step into the teleportation gate, his resolve hardening. I must get rid of that kid. Lin Han stepped into the leveling zone, assessing the situation with the caution of a strategist. This is the habitat of the Gale Wolves, a silver tier leveling zone recommended level 11 to 20. Warning, first-class transfer individuals are strictly forbidden from entering this area. Tao Sung sent me here on purpose. Didn't he? Suddenly terrifying sounds came from behind him. A pack of Gale Wolves as fierce as phantoms in a storm was approaching. Lin Han felt a flicker of worry, but he quickly regained his composure, his voice gentle, as if calling a friend. Ai, wake up. I'm still alive, but if Tao Sung wants to kill me, he's still a long way off. Heeding her master's call, Jui began to awaken. Her tiny body instantly transformed into a beautiful girl who looked as if she had stepped out of a painting with flowing white hair and brilliant sparkling red eyes. Her sharp gaze was fixed forward. A system notification appeared along with her voice. Master, I am ready. Information appeared battle form. Race 10, Primordial Fiends, level 10, Strength 800, Agility 700, Spirit 600, Constitution 900, Skills Co-Evolution level 10 increases all basic stats by 30%. Colossal Strength. Level 10 increases Strength stat by 50%. Lin Han was thrilled, thinking to himself, let's see just how formidable the power of one of the 10 Primordial Fiends really is. His status panel was also updated. Name Lin Han. Class Beast-Tamer. First class transfer, hidden class. Level 1, Strength 70 plus 80 10% increase from Tamed Beast. Agility 50 plus 70 10% increase from Tamed Beast. Spirit 110 plus 60 10% increase from Tamed Beast. Constitution 60 plus 90 10% increase from Tamed Beast. Equipment none. 4 skills. Life Pact. Level 1. Beast Space level 1 million. Recall. Beast level 1. System notification. Congratulations, host, for activating the first battle mission. Defeat 10 fiendish beasts. Reward 100 taming points. Hui Yi acted, immediately unleashing a powerful punch at a Gale Wolf that was baring its fangs and charging at her. One punch, then a kick. She struck as fast as lightning. The ferocious wolves collapsed like leaves in the wind. Wolves are meant to hunt in packs, yet in the blink of an eye, the entire pack of Gale Wolves had been taken down by Yue Yi, each one lying there panting. Their tongues lolled out as if they were about to breathe their last. Lin Han stood there calmly. Hands in his pockets, he witnessed the entire scene with the satisfaction of a spectator enjoying a perfect performance. Hui Yi landed gently on the ground after her deadly blows. Her beautiful face remained cold, without a single trace of the recent battle, like an ice flower on the battlefield. Master, it's all taken care of. Lin Han couldn't hide his satisfaction with his tamed beast, both beautiful and powerful. Her first performance was as impressive as a perfect symphony. He clapped in applause. Truly worthy of being one of the 10 great primordial fiends. In less than a minute, 7 Gale Wolves were eliminated. If I wait for Ai to mature, won't she just be able to sweep through everything here? Lin Han's system announced that he had leveled up from level 1 to level 3. At the same time, his stats for strength, agility, spirit, and constitution all increased significantly after defeating 7 out of 10 fiendish beasts. However, there were still 3 more fiendish beasts, and he had no idea how harsh the next challenges would be. The incredibly easy start filled Lin Han with enthusiasm and confidence. Like a warrior who had just stepped onto the battlefield with soaring morale. Although his combat power wasn't a match for Ai's, it was nearly on par with that of a regular combat class. Jui still stood there, obediently waiting for Lin Han's command, her eyes cold, but full of loyalty. Lin Han encouraged her, his voice full of excitement. My dear, I'd have to be crazy to compare my stats with hers. But you're one of the 10 great primordial fiends of the ancient era. Among beasts of the same level, few can compare to you, right? Looking at the beautiful and adorable Jui, who was half a head shorter than him, Lin Han couldn't resist reaching out to pat her head. But looking at this appearance, it's hard to associate her with the title Fiendish Beast. Instead, she looks like a pure, innocent little girl who knows nothing of the world's cruelty. At that moment in Lin Han's heart, a powerful emotion surged, making him want to lean down and kiss Jueyi's small, delicate lips. Suddenly, she bowed her head, her voice submissive, yet exuding loyalty. Rest assured, master. Huiyi's actions and words made Lin Han, a young man, just coming of age, blush so red he looked like a ripe apple, shimmering under the summer sun. The two were so absorbed in their interaction that they were completely unaware that from a distant hidden corner behind a tree, 3 black-clad special agents had been silently observing them the whole time, their sharp eyes like wolves stalking their prey. The one with the buzz cut. The leader of the group spoke first, his voice full of suspicion. Didn't Chao Sung say it was just some kid? So who's that girl? The other man replied, a hint of worry in his low voice. I don't know, but for her to be able to kill the Gale Wolf, her strength is no joke. It turned out these 3 were Chao Sung's lackeys. They couldn't take their eyes off Jueyi's mesmerizing beauty. To them, a beauty with her looks and figure was like a masterpiece among countless works of art. Depraved thoughts began to creep into their minds. Their desire made them drool, a truly despicable sight. Like starving men before a lavish feast, one of them spoke up, his voice thick with greed. Boss, that girl is even prettier than Bai Bing. How about we... The other agreed as if enchanted. Yeah, it would be a waste to just kill her like that. But the buzzcut leader, the most rational and clear-headed of the group, seemed to sense the power hidden behind Jueyi's innocent appearance. Like a dormant volcano, he warned, suit yourselves, but she's clearly no ordinary person. Wait a second. The 3 of us will launch a surprise attack on her one blow, so she can't defend herself. I'll take that chance to finish off that kid first. Hearing no reply from his men, the buzzcut leader turned around in annoyance and yelled, Do you two want to live or not? He was stunned to see that his 2 subordinates had already been taken down by Jueyi. One was knocked completely unconscious while the other was held high in the air by his neck, his feet dangling off the ground like a kitten being lifted by the scruff of its neck. You depraved scum deserve it. The buzzcut leader, despite being the boss, couldn't help but be shocked by Jueyi's strength and speed. What? How could you? He stammered in disbelief. The protective system in Jueyi's body had activated to its maximum level, turning her into an invincible warrior. The buzzcut leader's jaw dropped, unable to believe that from such a great distance. Yeah, Jueyi had heard their every word and acted so quickly. However, the buzzcut leader was no fool. He quickly escaped prioritizing his own survival. He thought to himself, to be able to silently subdue number 2 and number 3, this girl must be at least level 20. Right behind him, Lin Han and Jueyi were in hot pursuit. Like 2 arrows shooting forward, Lin Han yelled with determination, You get him! Don't let him get away! The buzzcut leader grew even more curious about Lin Han, his mind filled with questions. Who on earth is that kid? To have such a high-level bodyguard protecting him. He was so preoccupied with looking back to see if Lin Han and Jueyi had caught up, that he didn't notice a giant beast's claw suddenly appear in front of him, lunging at him like a deadly tornado. The buzzcut leader panicked, only managing to scream, Damn it! In an instant, the giant beast's claw shot forward and seized the buzzcut leader. Lin Han shouted a warning, like a warrior sensing danger. Jueyi, stop! She immediately halted swiftly, standing in front of Lin Han like a living shield, protecting him from the ferocious green monster. This must be one of the 3 remaining beasts I have to defeat to complete the trial. Lin Han silently cursed, his mind filled with doubt. Is the recommended level for this really only 120? He never expected that such a giant and terrifying monster would appear in this trial. It was the level 22 Gale Wolf King, a giant grey wolf whose body was surrounded by an eerie, flickering green flame like a burning fire from hell. Clearly this was the pack leader of the 7 Gale Wolves that Jueyi had eliminated earlier. The enmity between it and the 2 of them deepened. Its eyes, full of hatred and killing intent, stared at Lin Han and Jueyi. Its fangs protruded, ready to tear apart anyone who dared to confront it. At the Gale Wolf King's feet, the buzzcut leader lay on the verge of death, weakly reaching a hand towards the 2. He was begging for help like a man drowning, but the Wolf King showed no mercy, stomping down hard and crushing him like a tiny flea. This ultimate wolf was Lin Han's leader-level quest. If he could defeat the Gale Wolf King, he would receive an additional 200 beast taming points, a reward as tempting as treasure in a desert. But this was still a tough challenge with the risk of death always looming. A level 22 Wolf King, this is going to be difficult. Of the 36 stratagems, fleeing is the best. Worried for his and Huiyi's safety, Lin Han pulled her hand, his voice urgent. Yeah, this guy isn't easy to handle. Let's retreat for now. But Jueyi's eyes and smile gradually became terrifying, like a warrior awakened with a thirst for battle. Perhaps only now was she truly getting serious. Seeing her, Lin Han felt his heart calm. All right then, he thought to himself. Seeing her like this, she definitely won't be satisfied without a fight. He pointed at the ultimate wolf and gave a decisive command, like a general on a battlefield, then advance. He destroy it. Jueyi immediately rushed towards the colossal beast with the fierce momentum of a storm. The Gale Wolf King opened its mouth intending to snap at her, but she was faster. She used both hands to grab its upper and lower jaws like a legendary hero facing a dragon. The beast's strength was truly terrifying. Jueyi had to grit her teeth, sweat pouring down like rain just to hold its jaws shut. Using the Wolf King's own power, she used the momentum to soar into the moonlit sky, her slender figure enveloped in its light. She created a streak of blue light that illuminated the ground like a mystical painting. The Gale Wolf King refused to be outdone, quickly launching its claws and using its Gale skill. It used Flash Step to pursue its prey. Unfortunately, it managed to slash Jueyi. She cried out in pain as the blow sent her plummeting to the ground, creating a powerful shockwave. Lin Han clutched his head and staggered back a few steps from the aftershock, his heart filled with worry at the terrifying power of this colossal wolf. It landed right where Jueyi had fallen. As she tried to struggle back to her feet, the Gale Wolf King raised its giant paw, preparing to deliver another fatal blow. It unleashed a continuous barrage of lethal strikes. They were both fast and powerful, like blades hacking down relentlessly. Jueyi used all her strength to defend, but if this continued, she wouldn't last much longer. Lin Han was horrified as he witnessed the uneven fight between Jueyi and the Gale Wolf King. As expected, the level gap was too great. Model. Yi doesn't have much of an advantage in a head-on fight. When suddenly out of nowhere, another Gale Wolf lunged at Lin Han. He cursed under his breath, his voice full of frustration. Damn it, these things don't fight fair at all. They're even using sneak attacks. Not just one, but 3 Gale Wolves charged at once. Lin Han nimbly dodged the one in front, but the other 2 were silently closing in from behind, trying to ambush me. He grabbed the tail of the wolf in front of him and roared, "You're all still amateurs." Using all his strength, Lin Han began to swing it. He hurled the Gale Wolf at the 2 behind him like a skilled shot putter. A system notification announced 70% of the mission is complete, plus 10% strength buff from Jueyi. Thanks to that, Lin Han was much stronger than before. He was planning to take down the Wolf King anyway, so now it would be less work. His mission completion count rose to 9 out of 10. Lin Han approached the wolf in front of him and launched a powerful kick, his cold expression signaling a tragic end. He grabbed its jaw, just like Jueyi had done to the Gale Wolf King, but with one difference, Lin Han decisively ripped the beast apart. System notification, mission complete, 10 out of 10. Having killed the 10th beast, Lin Han and Jueyi completed the first mission, receiving 100 Beast-Tamer points. Thanks to his enhanced strength, Lin Han shouted a signal to Jueyi. Yi used Frenzy Attack. She felt a new surge of power flowing through her body. She was no longer afraid of the Gale Wolf King's deadly attacks. A system notification appeared in her mind. You have used 100 Beast-Tamer points to awaken Tian Jueyi's Frenzy Attack skill. Skill description, deals damage equal to 100% of the user's own strength to the target. Cooldown time, 5 minutes. Jueyi transformed back into a small ant and crawled up the leg of the gigantic wolf. The Gale Wolf King was stunned by her traceless disappearance. It looked left and right, bewildered like a lost soul. Still as dumb as a dog, Lin Han thought to himself. Suddenly, the Gale Wolf King felt a surge of power. Strike its belly, but it was too late. Like Ant-Man from the Legends, Jueyi transformed into a giant ant. Thanks to the enhanced power of her Frenzy Attack skill, it required her to focus all her mana into a single blow. She gradually shrank back to her human form, but remained in a defensive stance, ready for the next attack. Using the residual power from Frenzy Attack, Jueyi grabbed the Gale Wolf King's belly and tore its body into 2 pieces, as if ripping a thin sheet of paper. The super beast let out one last roar, before collapsing. Jueyi landed on the ground with a thunderous crash, forcing Lin Han to cover his face and step back. She knelt to stabilize herself. Her eyes were still sharp and cold. System notification. Leader class mission. Defeat the Gale Wolf. King completed. Received 200 Beast-Tamer points. Received an additional 1,500 experience points. But Lin Han didn't seem to pay attention to the system notifications. In his mind, there was only the image of Jueyi and the terrifying power she had just displayed. He mumbled in astonishment, "Damn it, a level 22 Gale Wolf King was defeated in an instant." Jueyi flashed a triumphant smile, making Lin Han gasp in admiration. He thought to himself, now this is a true beast. The system immediately issued a notification, its mechanical voice ringing with excitement. Host has defeated a Gale Wolf. A common weapon has dropped. Please check. Host has defeated the Gale Wolf King. A special weapon has dropped. Please check. Jueyi crouched down in the stance of a track and field athlete, getting ready to sprint. Her face still held that strange smile, radiating a fearsome aura. But right after that, Frenzy Attack status ended. Like a switch being flipped off, Jueyi returned to her initial innocent appearance. Her eyes shone with joy. She cheered in an excited, childlike voice, "Master!" then rushed towards Lin Han, hugging him tightly with pride. "I beat those doggies to death." Whoa, calm down a bit. It was the first time Lin Han had been hugged so tightly by a girl. He could feel Jueyi's chest pressing against him, making his face turn as red as a ripe apple. Despite his embarrassment, he was still deeply impressed by her terrifying strength. So Yi is really this powerful, huh? Jueyi looked up at him, her eyes drooping sleepily. In a soft voice, she said, "Master, I'm so tired. She immediately started snoring despite still being in a dangerous area. The battle just now had seemed to have completely drained her energy, causing her to revert to her small, adorable state like a little puppy. Watching her, Lin Han's heart filled with joy. He knelt down beside Yue. He gently stroked her head as if petting a small animal. You worked hard. Get some rest now. Sleepily, Yue smiled. Okay, master. Lin Han also took the chance to rest. He leaned his back against a nearby tree. His eyes sparkled like an explorer who had just found treasure. He opened the system to check the information. Energy saving mode is recovering stamina. Killing monsters drops rare items too. This is exactly like the online games from my past life. He excitedly tapped the screen, mumbling, let's see what kind of gear dropped. Lin Han's eyes lit up as if he'd struck gold when he saw the special weapon. My luck is off the charts. It was the Silver Wolf Fang of Evil, a sword requiring level 22 to use. It adds 50 points to strength, 80 points to agility, and has a frenzy effect when the user is injured. All attributes increase by 5%. The common weapon wasn't bad either, the ice staff. It only requires level 10 to use, increases mana by 50 points, and has a built-in freeze effect with a 30% chance of freezing the target for 1 second. Lin Han eagerly checked his own status on the system, thinking to himself, once IE recovers, we'll continue hunting. Leveling up and getting loot to sell for money? We really cleaned up just now. I wonder what level I am now. The system screen displayed a warning. Lin Han has reached level 10, the maximum level for Tier 1 Beast-Tamer. You must advance your class quickly. To continue leveling up, Lin Han exclaimed, his heart filled with the excitement of a warrior who had just overcome a great trial. I can't believe killing one Wolf King shot my experience all the way to the level cap. Looking at the piles of true Windwolf corpses that he and Jue had just slain, Lin Han decided to continue hunting monsters to increase his power and at the same time find more items to sell for money. But now that he was at the maximum level, he was in no hurry. As for the two black-clad agents knocked unconscious by Hui, Lin Han considered them with the sharp gaze of a strategist. However, before leaving this place, I need to have a little chat with our two living brothers here and find out exactly who's behind this scheme. A grin spread across his face as he thought to himself, looks like things won't be too boring from now on. The moonlight above still shimmered blue and cold, indifferent to the battles that had just taken place below. A few hours later, at the teleportation gate, Chao Song and the medical team were ready and waiting. Chao Song gave the order, his voice calm, but hiding a sinister undertone. All right, medical team, listen up. The students participating in the trial are about to return. He continued his instructions like a commander preparing for a grand plan. Be ready to examine and treat them as they return. But inside his head, wicked thoughts were swirling. He smiled sinisterly, thinking to himself, however, some people won't be so lucky. They won't be able to hold out long enough to come back for treatment. He was clearly referring to Lin Han. Suddenly a voice cut through Chao Song's thoughts. Bai Bing had appeared. She was here to check on her student's situation. Her presence annoyed Chao Song like someone who'd had their plans ruined. He put on a fake smile, his voice trying to sound friendly. Ms. Bai, what brings you here? I thought she was busy today. We're just welcoming back the students from the trial. Leaving it to me is more than enough. Why did you have to come all the way over here? But Bai Bing, her gaze as sharp and cold as a blade, seemed to know exactly what Chao Song had done to Lin Han. She questioned him in a low, tense voice. Don't you think you should explain Lin Han's trial to me? Chao Song, still thinking he could cover his tracks, replied with false confidence. Ms. Bai, I know you and Lin Han have a good relationship. But as teachers, we need to treat every student fairly. He even boasted his tone smooth like a seasoned veteran. I can share my experience with you. Or perhaps you could follow me to a more secluded place so we can discuss this carefully. As a teacher who constantly preaches about fairness, he was now brazenly harassing her in front of everyone. He truly deserved to be taught a lesson by Bai Bing. Instantly, Bai Bing drew her blade, its sharp edge pressing against Chao Song's throat. Her voice was like ice. Chao Song, I need an explanation. Chao Song began to panic, his voice trembling. Ms. Bai, I don't quite understand what you mean. Bai Bing roared in fury. Lin Han is just a newly awakened Beast-Tamer, and yet you assigned him to the Silver Tier training zone. In there, forget about self-defense. He couldn't even find a temporary battle pet. The gleaming blade pressed harder against Chao Song's neck. If Bai Bing applied just a little more force, his throat would be slit. She continued her interrogation, her voice filled with outrage. Do you think you can just bully him as you please because he has no family left? Chao Song grabbed the blade, trying to push it away, his voice still feigning innocence. Ms. Bai, perhaps you've misunderstood me? I had my reasons for doing so. Chao Song quickly found a plausible explanation, his tone as smooth as a seasoned liar. Lin Han awakened as a Beast-Tamer. If he doesn't go through a trial, how can he possibly level up quickly? Besides, I didn't send him there to die. I even arranged for 3 teaching assistants to go with him for support. Hearing this, Bai Bing seemed slightly convinced and slowly withdrew her blade, but her eyes remained as cold and sharp as a sword ready to strike. You better pray that Lin Han is safe and sound. If he gets hurt anywhere, I will cut off the corresponding part from your body to compensate him. Cao Song could only scratch his head and force a laugh, but inside his perverted mind, dark thoughts continued to swirl. So you only dare to act tough with me now, huh? Wait until you see Lin Han's corpse. Let's see how long you can stay so cold-hearted. He began to imagine a steamy scene with Bai Bing, thinking to himself that if he just seized the opportunity, he might even... Suddenly an announcement rang out, cutting through the tense argument between Bai Bing and Cao Song. The students participating in the trial had returned. The first person stepped out of the teleportation gate. It was Leng Lingxue from Class 6, with the rare class of Storm Mage, one of the twin prodigies of Yizhong. She walked out gracefully, her confident aura like that of a queen who had just conquered a battlefield. It was as if this trial had been a mere stroll in the park for her. A wave of praise erupted from the crowd. Oh my god, it's Leng Lingxue. Of course she's the first one to complete the trial. She's truly one of the twin prodigies of Yizhong, another person added. Compared to her, Lin Han is really nothing. Feng Yong was the next person to complete the trial. He trailed behind Leng Lingxue, laying on the flattery thick as honey. Lingxue, you really are the best student in the whole school, finishing even before me. Seeing that she didn't respond, he pressed his advantage. His voice was full of the confidence of someone who thinks the world revolves around them. Lingxue, we are the two great geniuses of Yizhong right now. We should definitely get closer in the future. But Leng Lingxue paid him no mind, coldly dodging his attempt at an embrace. Her voice was sharp as ice. If it were the old Lin Han, I might have considered it, but you forget it. Her words were like a bucket of cold water thrown on Feng Yong's delusional ambitions, making him flush with anger, as if he'd been slapped in public. From the teleportation gate, another person emerged. Lin Xiao rushed over, panting and worriedly asking, "Has little Lin returned yet?" Feng Yong saw him and sneered, his voice dripping with triumphant disdain. Well, I didn't expect a fatty like you to survive the trial. You must be drowning in good luck. However, your good friend wasn't so lucky. Lin Han is definitely dead in that secret realm. Hearing those venomous words aimed at his brother, Lin Chu gritted his teeth, fury erupting like a volcano. He roared, challenging Feng Yong. If you've got the guts, say that again. But to Feng Yong, Lin Chu wasn't the least bit intimidating. He shot back arrogantly, his voice dripping with disdain. So what if I say it, Lin Han is already dead in there? He's just a useless Beast-Tamer. How long could he possibly have lasted? Seeing Feng Yong push his luck, Lin Chu flew into a rage, screaming as he prepared to charge in and give him a beating. Cao Song was standing nearby. Finding the chaotic scene a headache, he bellowed, "Shut your mouths!" He then turned to scold Lin Chu with a stern voice. "Are Long Tianjiao and Lin Han your fathers? Stop worrying about others. Focus on improving your own strength." Seeing Lin Chu still standing there, Cao Song urged him on with an annoyed tone. "Hurry up and move to the side. Don't get in the way of the other students returning." Knowing Cao Song and Feng Yong were on the same side, Lin Chu could only swallow his anger and comfort himself. Everything will be fine. Lin Han will definitely come back. Time ticked by minute by minute. The training session dragged on for another hour. Feng Yong sat perched on a boulder looking as majestic as a little king. He let his underlings massage him as they meticulously fawned over him. "Brother Feng, you've worked so hard these past few days." "Brother Feng, is this pressure okay?" Meanwhile, Lin Chu anxiously watched every person who stepped out of the teleportation gate, his heart burning with worry for his brother. Everyone else is back. Why hasn't Lin Han come out yet? He thought to himself, feeling like he was standing on hot coals. Seeing Lin Chu's worry, Feng Yong's lackeys took the opportunity to tease him with sarcastic voices. Is there even a need to think about it? He's definitely dead in there. After all, for a Beast-Tamer to die among demonic beasts, you could say it's a fitting end. Suddenly from a distance, a rock shot out like a whirlwind at terrifying speed, smashing hard into the heads of Feng Yong's lackeys. Karma had finally arrived. The stone flew like a flash of lightning, knocking them to the ground. Lin Qiu turned around, startled, then immediately lit up with joy upon recognizing the familiar figure. Lin Han strode out majestically, his eyes filled with contempt and his voice cold. "I was having so much fun, I lost track of time. Since when did the school have so many noisy dogs hanging around?" Seeing him return, Lin Qiu was overcome with a wave of happiness and cried out, "Little Lin!" He rushed toward Lin Han, shouting excitedly, "Little Lin, you're finally back." It wasn't just Lin Qiu. Bai Bing, standing nearby, also let out a sigh of relief. Her voice was as gentle as an older sister's. "You little rascal, you scared me to death." But not everyone was happy. Cao Song's face contorted, his heart filled with suspicion and anger. How can this be? I clearly sent 3 people to take care of him. How is this useless brat still safe and sound? He didn't give up, still harboring the intent to murder Lin Han. He thought to himself, "Lin Han, consider yourself lucky this time, but don't think I'll let this go so easily." Feng Yong approached his voice, dripping with contempt. "I can't believe it. Unbelievable. You completed the training. What can a Beast-Tamer without a pet even do? You probably just went in there and hid in a corner the whole time, right?" Now that his brother was back to support him, Lin Chu immediately shot back, his voice filled with indignation. "Feng Yong, are you an idiot? Do you really think everyone is like you, always having someone cover for them?" Hearing Feng Yong's sarcastic words, Lin Han found it laughable. He spoke up, his challenging voice as sharp as a blade. "Was I being protected? Why don't we test it and find out?" Before Lin Han could have finished, Feng Yong hastily cut in his tone, mocking, as if he stood above everyone else. "Lin Han, you useless Beast-Tamer. Hiding in some godforsaken mountain crevice for who knows how long before finally deciding to come out. Now that's true cowardice. Despite being insulted, Lin Han didn't get angry. Instead, he calmly stopped Lin Chu, who was about to charge forward, growling, "What did you say?" Lin Han simply replied softly, a contemptuous smile playing on his lips like a sharp dagger. "Feng Yong, are you done barking yet?" He continued in a mocking tone. "With your level of ability, you're not even worthy of carrying my pet's shoes." Hearing this, Feng Yong went ballistic. His face flushed red as if on fire, but he tried to maintain his composure. "Is that so?" His pride wounded, he roared out a challenge like a cornered beast. "For the sake of my pride, I'll make a bet with you. Want to bet on who has the higher level? If you win, I'll give you 100,000 Tianlong coins. But if you lose, you have to kneel kowtow and call me grandpa." Lin Han, completely unfazed, immediately agreed on the spot. His voice was full of confidence like a warrior ready for battle. "I bet it is. In a moment, I'm going to slap you so hard, your face gets planted in the ground." But Lin Chu quickly spoke up to advise against it. Worried like a big brother, he said, "Lin Han, don't be so rash. The coach is still here." Lin Han turned to Cao Song and smiled, his voice calm, but filled with hidden meaning. "Teacher Cao, this is a matter between us students. I hope you won't interfere." Cao Song cleared his throat a few times. He reluctantly agreed, his voice as solemn as an elder's. "Of course. But once you've made a bet, you must keep your word. Honesty is the virtue we at Yezhong value most." On the surface, he was stern, but inwardly Cao Song was rejoicing as if he'd just struck gold. "Lin Han, you're digging your own grave. I don't mind handing you the shovel." Bai Bing, standing nearby, didn't object. On the contrary, she looked at her student with proud eyes, mixed with a hint of that familiar mischievous aura, as if she knew he was preparing a grand show. This kid is definitely planning to trick someone again. Without further delay, Cao Song stepped forward and announced in a grand voice, as if opening a battle, "All right, since the bet has been made, let's begin." Still uneasy, Lin Chu stepped forward, his voice urgent. "Teacher Cao, even though I'm not part of this bet, but I'm Lin Han's brother. I'm going with him for this trial." The system suddenly displayed his level berserker level 2. Hearing this, Feng Yong spoke with a mocking, disdainful tone, like someone looking down from on high. "Just level 2, what's there to show off about? Look closely. This is the level a true genius should be at." Information about his level appeared Greatsword Warrior level 3. Seeing this, the crowd of lackeys immediately chimed in, roaring with praise like a frenzied audience. "The boss is level 3, Brother Feng is the best. Level 3, no wonder he has a rare class." Lin Xiao's face went pale. He was as anxious as if he was standing on hot coals. "Damn it, that bastard Feng Yong is already level 3. I was careless." Seeing his chance, Feng Yong pressed on his voice as triumphant as a petty king's. "Lin Han, it's your turn. Long Tianzhao, that weakling, is only level 2. How could a good-for-nothing like you possibly be stronger than him?" He declared confidently, "I think you two should just kneel kowtow and call me grandpa." Lin Xiao shot back his voice full of indignation. "What do you have to be so arrogant about?" But Lin Han raised a hand to stop him, his voice as reassuring as a calm strategist's. "Wait a minute." Lin Xiao turned confused. "Little Lin." Lin Han smiled, radiating a formidable power. It overwhelmed everything around him like a sudden storm. He retorted arrogantly, his voice as sharp as a sword's edge. "Only level 3. I was demoted. Even starting over, I could still leave you 8 blocks behind." Information about his level was finally revealed. Beast-Tamer level 10. Everyone around him gasped in astonishment. As if witnessing a miracle, they exclaimed, "Level 10. Feng Yong was stunned, choked up, and speechless. He couldn't believe someone once considered a useless Beast-Tamer could reach level 10 so quickly. Trembling all over, he gritted his teeth and roared in fury that Lin Han must have cheated. Not even Ling Shuai could level up this fast. Faced with this rage, Lin Han just smiled faintly. In a calm voice, he said, "Have you ever heard of a hidden class?" After speaking, he walked over to Cao Song, his voice gentle but heavy with meaning. "Teacher Cao, I hope you will oversee Bipats, the fulfillment of the promise in our bet." Lin Han then turned to sincerely thank the teaching assistants who had secretly protected him, helping him safely reach level 10. Witnessing this, Cao Song felt an indescribable fear rise within him. He knows about my secret order, and worse, he's still alive and kicking right in front of me. He gritted his teeth, a venomous glint in his eyes. This brat must be silenced forever. From a hidden corner, Ling Shui watched quietly, her eyes wide with shock when she saw Lin Han had reached level 10. She felt a mix of admiration and other complex emotions. Wasn't he once a genius? With the energy of a level 5 storm mage still swirling in her hand, she spoke coldly, her sharp gaze fixed on Lin Han. "Just you wait, I'll catch up to you soon enough." Lin Han was surprised. "Miss Bai, why are you here?" Bai Bing smiled gently. "My work is finished. From now on, my place is here with all of you." Another voice cut in. "Miss Bai, it only took Brother Lin Han a few hours to reach level 10. Before Bai Bing could process this information, a roar tore through the air. "Die!" Cao Song, his face twisted with rage, charged forward like a wild beast, throwing a world-shaking punch aimed straight at Lin Han. "Look out, Bai Bing shouted, rushing to push Lin Han aside and shield him from the fatal blow. Cao Song roared like a wounded animal, his eyes bloodshot. "Not even the Academy's damn rules can stop me. I will absolutely end this brat Lin Han today," he screamed madly, launching another furious assault. Bai Bing gritted her teeth, managing to block the attacks, but the force sent her staggering back several steps. Her whole body shuddered, and she fell to one knee, but with sheer willpower, she stood up straight, her gaze resolute. As long as I'm standing here. Your plan will never succeed, she yelled, launching a powerful counter kick. Behind her, Lin Han and Lin Xiao's hearts clenched with worry, afraid Bai Bing wouldn't be able to withstand Chao Song's ferocity. His rage peaking from being thwarted, he grabbed Bai Bing and bellowed, "You bitch! You dare get in my way! I'll kill you first!" Bai Bing was in a life-or-death situation. Trapped by his brutal strength, Cao Song smirked cruelly, pulling back his hand to deliver the final blow, his face contorted in hatred. At that fatal moment, a black shadow flashed past like lightning. With incredible speed, Lin Han delivered a thunderous kick that sent Cao Song flying. He quickly caught the staggering Bai Bing, asking with concern, "Sister, are you all right?" She smiled weakly, her eyes still fierce. "I'm fine." Lin Han helped her to a safe spot, then turned back to face Cao Song, who was scrambling to get up. He gave a cold smile. "Care to explain? Why did you just try to murder me like that, huh?" Teacher Cao Song staggered to his feet, his eyes bloodshot with pain and rage. He pointed straight at Lin Han. "It was you, my 3 level 15 assistants disappeared because of you. You killed them to steal their experience points. Didn't you?" He tried to feign righteousness for his inhuman actions. "Today I must punish you." But just as he was about to charge, Cao Song froze abruptly. His killing intent vanished, replaced by sheer horror, as the assistants' corpses were thrown down in front of him. Cao Song stared in shock at the familiar, now lifeless faces, his entire body trembling. But his shock quickly gave way to a twisted, malicious smile. "They're dead. They can't reveal the truth anymore." He stood there with an arrogant smile, but then he suddenly froze. Cao Song stood there, an arrogant smile on his face, but inside, a fire of rage was burning. He shouted, "Lin Han, the bodies are right here. What else could you possibly deny?" Hearing these words, Lin Han just shrugged, lightly, his voice as calm as if nothing was wrong. "Deny it, I just saw some people who died on Omen Mountain and was kind enough to bring them out." He slowly walked towards the body of a young man lying there. His voice was low and somber, yet dripping with sarcasm. "My friend, you're so pitiful. Even in death, you're being used like a weapon. If your spirit is restless, go find him tonight. Just don't come looking for me." The moment he said that, Cao Song's expression changed, his eyes filled with rage. He clenched his fists, charged at Lin Han, and roared, "I'm going to break every one of your limbs. Let's see you run your mouth then." The crowd witnessed this. They screamed, trying to stop Cao Song. "How dare you? Little Lin, be careful." But Lin Han showed no fear, effortlessly dodging Cao Song's attack, his movements as swift as the wind. He smiled, his voice mocking. "Losing your temper because you're afraid I'll expose your dirty little secrets, teacher." Then again, who would have thought a teacher would dare order a hit on his own student? The more Cao Song listened, the more he lost his composure. He roared, "Shut up! I did it to avenge Yahello." Lin Han simply maintained his sarcastic smile, like someone who had seen through it all. To get revenge, or to silence a witness. You know the answer in your heart, don't you, teacher? Seeing this, Feng Yong's cronies outside started cheering excitedly. "Teacher Cao, teach that useless trash a lesson. Go, Teacher Cao." The more he fought, the more frenzied Cao Song became, unleashing a barrage of powerful punches at Lin Han. But inwardly, he was reeling with astonishment. What's happening? How is this useless brat dodging my punches? Even a level 20 combat professional shouldn't be able to do this. How is he doing it? With incredible agility, Lin Han dodged every attack. He knew Cao Song was much stronger. He was no match in a direct confrontation. He quickly summoned his weapon, his voice filled with confidence. "But I'm not going to fight you with just my fists, teacher." In his hand appeared the ice staff, a dangerous weapon requiring a minimum level of 11 to wield. At Cao Song's feet, a thin layer of ice spread rapidly, catching him by surprise, as if binding him with invisible ropes. What's happening? Before he could even process what was happening, Lin Han used his lightning speed to leap forward and unleash a powerful whirlwind-like kick that sent his opponent flying. The attack sent Cao Song flying a great distance, tumbling across the ground like a skipped stone. Lin Han gave a slight, satisfied smile, like an artist who had just completed a perfect performance. "Good thing my strength increased so much after leveling up. That's the only way I could have overpowered Cao Song. It was all thanks to this staff restraining him. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to find an opening that big." His eyes lit up with excitement. "Now that I've created some distance, I don't have to do a thing. After all, my attribute points are only slightly lower than Cao Song's. But if we switch to Yi..." Meanwhile, Yi stood to the side, witnessing the entire event, her eyes filled with disgust, as if looking at something contemptible. In her eyes, Cao Song could only obediently accept his fate. 6. Her information appeared on the system display. Tianjui. Profession level 13. Strength 1,700. Agility 1,600. Spirit 1,500. Constitution 1,800. Skill, Coalescence. Level 2 increases all basic attributes by 60%. Giant Strength level 2 increases strength attribute by 60%. Cao Song had just been sent flying. Seeing the girl charge at him, he panicked and yelled, "Oh no!" But Yi gave him no chance to retaliate. "You heard my master," she growled, gritting her teeth, her face a mask of fury. Her anger was like a raging fire. Against her, Cao Song was completely outmatched. A powerful pillar of light descended from the sky, shaking the entire area. Like a thunderclap in broad daylight, the victory was decided. A Yi stood her ground and threw another powerful punch, making the very earth seem to shake. Lin Xiao witnessed this from the sidelines. He cheered with delight, his voice filled with excitement, like a spectator at a masterful performance. Little Lin is amazing, and to think he was hiding a girl like this. Bai Bing. After observing everything, fell into deep thought, her eyes full of suspicion. Who is this girl? She wondered. Meanwhile, Feng Yong's cronies, seeing Cao Song sent flying, couldn't believe their eyes. They screamed in panic. Teacher Cao was sent flying. What in the world just happened? A Yi stood there on the verge of going berserk, her fighting spirit blazing, as if ready to keep fighting. But Lin Han, seeing the situation escalating, immediately shouted, "A Yi, return!" Hearing her master's command, the girl instantly calmed down, obediently retreating to his side, like a loyal puppy. Lin Han thought to himself with the caution of a strategist. A Yi is an ancient beast. Her identity is too sensitive to be revealed so soon. It's better if she returns for now. A Yi snuggled up to him, playfully pouting. In a sweet childlike voice, she said, Master A Yi listened and stopped fighting. Was A Yi a good girl? Lin Han praised her warmly, his voice gentle. Yes, a very good girl. But for now, you should change back into an ant. Hearing this, she gave a satisfied smile and replied, right away. An enraged Cao Song roared, pointing directly at Lin Han. Lin Han, not only did you murder the teaching assistant, you're colluding with outsiders to defy me. Where did that girl just go? Never mind that. Veins bulged on his forehead, his eyes burning with hatred and rage. A student as morally corrupt as you... He clenched his fists, roaring like a cornered animal. Must be severely punished. But before he could move, a foot pressed down on his shoulder. A calm, cold voice said, Hold on. A man was standing there, his hands clasped behind his back. His voice was deep and steady like an elder's. Teacher Cao, do not rush to condemn a student before the matter is fully investigated. Pinned to the ground, Cao Song struggled to turn his head, his eyes wide with surprise. You... Why are you here, sir? A second later, he exclaimed, Dean! The middle-aged man with snow-white hair was none other than Sikong Cheng, the Dean of First Central Academy, a level 56 exorcist celestial master. Seeing the Dean's arrival, Cao Song hurriedly tattled, his voice filled with agitation. Lin Han! Dean, this Lin Han killed a teaching assistant to level up. I was about to apprehend him and deal with him according to the rules. He even tried to kill me. This kind of person must be severely punished. The evidence is all here, both witnesses and material proof. I implore the Dean to order Lin Han's execution, in contrast to Cao Song's harsh demeanor. Lin Han was extremely calm, crossing his arms and replying in a casual tone as if he had nothing to fear. Anyone can make up accusations. Did you really think I'd run myself ragged just to prove my innocence? Dean Sikong Cheng spoke in a deep, steady voice full of authority. Lin Han, let's hear your side of the story. Lin Han replied, his voice as confident as a warrior, certain of victory. Of course, Dean. Why don't you examine the cause of death of this assistant first? Sikong Cheng pointed towards the floating corpse of the young man and ordered, Let's see. He began his analysis, his voice stern. The sternum is completely shattered, and more than half of the internal organs have suffered severe damage. This fatal wound was definitely caused by a large beast. Unconvinced, Cao Song immediately retorted, his voice full of displeasure. Even if the fatal blow was from a beast, Lin Han is definitely involved. Otherwise, how could he have brought the body back? Lin Han smirked, his voice dripping with the sarcasm of someone who'd seen through everything. You're pretty good at pinning the blame on others, Mr. Cao. It's a shame you're not a chef. I only brought your assistant back. But since you insist I killed him, why don't you tell everyone that you're the one who sent him to assassinate me? But he was so incompetent that he got killed by a beast instead. Hearing this, Cao Song's face turned red. He roared as if his sore spot had been poked. Nonsense! How could I possibly do something like that? At that moment, Bai Bing stepped forward and said seriously, Din Cao Song has previously assigned Lin Han to a training area that was inappropriate for his level. There are signs of him intentionally trying to harm a student. As for whether he arranged for an assistant to protect the student, I have my doubts about that. Agitated, Cao Song hastily tried to clear his name, his voice trembling like someone cornered. This is outrageous, Dean. I'm an instructor. How could I possibly harm a student? This is slander, he emphasized. It's all just Lin Han's word. There's no proof whatsoever. Seeing Cao Song's intense reaction, Sikong Cheng turned to Lin Han, his voice grave. Lin Han accusing an instructor is no small matter. Do you have any evidence? Hearing this, Cao Song felt a surge of smugness, thinking to himself, the people I sent are all dead. There are no living witnesses, and even if they were alive, would any of them side with Lin Han and testify against me? But Lin Han was extremely confident, replying with a cunning smile, I'm not falsely accusing anyone. The reason I said that is obviously because I have the evidence in my hands. Bai Bing and Lin Xiao heard this, and were both stunned, their eyes wide with disbelief. Lin Han continued, his voice calm, but sharp. When it happened, these three were secretly following me. They didn't expect to run into the Gale Wolf King. One teaching assistant was killed on the spot. That's why I had to step in and eliminate the Gale Wolf King. As for why Mr. Cao sent 3 people to follow me in the shadows, well, These two can certainly give us the answer. As he spoke, Lin Han landed a kick on the butt of the tied-up agent, causing him to yelp in pain and cry pathetically like a punished child. He and his accomplice panicked, screaming in trembling voices. I'll talk. It was Mr. Cao. He arranged for us to follow Lin Han, and if necessary, make it look like he died at the claws of a beast. That's right. It was all Mr. Cao's arrangement. Please stop treating us like this. We can't take it anymore. At their feet, a swarm of vicious ants like tiny soldiers obeyed a strict command, crawling all over their feet, biting ferociously until they drew blood. Lin Han gave a sinister smile, thinking to himself like someone holding the ultimate secret. With an ancient ant like Ai inside me, interrogating these guys is just too easy. He turned to Chao Sung, his voice low but sharp as a knife blade. Mr. Cao, aren't you going to offer me an explanation? Guilt-ridden Chao Sung's face turned pale as a sheet, like someone who had been exposed, unsure how to respond. In his panic, he tried to flee, cursing inwardly in anger. Damn it! These two useless fools. How did they get caught so easily? But in an instant he froze. A celestial master talisman, the 6-point lightning whip, suddenly activated. Brilliant lightning wrapped tightly around him, causing him to throw his head back and roar in agony, like a beast caught in a heavenly net. As the Dean Sikong Cheng decisively declared his crime, his voice as majestic as a divine judgment, Chao Sung as an instructor of this academy. Wait, Yid. Why would you attempt to harm a student? You have severely violated the academy's principles. Prepare to receive your due punishment. Standing to the side, Bai Bing smiled with satisfaction, feeling as if a great weight had been lifted. She took Lin Han's hand, her voice as gentle as an older sister's. It's over now. Let's go. You must be tired after finishing your trial. You can take my car back. The two were about to leave, but they stopped abruptly, stunned by the figure before them. Leng Ling Shui walked up, arms crossed, her voice cool but filled with curiosity. Lin Han, the Gale Wolf King. Did you really kill it? She leaned in close to Lin Han, her eyes shining like an explorer who had just discovered a mystery. How did you kill the Gale Wolf King? Miss Leng, could you please keep some distance? Leng Lan Yue grabbed Lin Han's hand, explaining with professional seriousness. Your class is different from melee combat classes. It's focused on ranged attacks. Without a teammate to draw aggro, you can't face the Gale Wolf King head-on. She moved closer, her voice full of invitation like a warrior challenging an opponent. The only explanation is, you've bonded with a powerful beast. Lin Han joined me in a simulated battle on you. Let me experience your abilities. Lin Han glanced to the right, avoiding her gaze, his voice faltering like a student asked a difficult question. Now, doesn't seem like a good time for that, does it? He thought to himself in surprise. How can someone with Leng Lan Yue's ice-cold appearance have the curious personality of a child? Standing nearby, Bai Bing lightly tapped Leng Lan Yue's hand, her voice stern. Miss Leng, I understand you're eager to improve your strength. She crossed her arms and continued addressing Leng Lan Yue. But right now, you all need to review your experience from the trial, not get into a power contest here. An invisible spark flew between the two, like the clash of swords. Leng Lan Yue held her ground, her voice firm. I'm just curious about how a Beast-Tamer fights. I hope you can understand. Bai Bing retorted without yielding, like an older sister protecting her younger brother. I'm sorry, but Lin Han just finished a battle. He needs to rest now. He can't accept your request. Caught in the crossfire, Lin Han nervously raised his hand, his voice awkward. About that, he quickly tried to stop Bai Bing attempting to smooth things over. All the students are tired after today's training. How about we dismiss a little early? But both of them turned to glare at him, making Lin Han laugh awkwardly and try to change the subject. What a beautiful day. Bai Bing frowned, her mind filled with suspicion like an investigator. First that mysterious girl shows up, and now Leng Lan Yue, this kid, Han. And when did he become such a heartbreaker without me noticing? But why do I even care about this stuff? Han and I don't have any special relationship. She crossed her arms, turned her back and walked away, her voice cold. If everything here is settled, then I'll be leaving first. All of you get home safely. A dark aura emanated from Leng Lan Yue, like a small storm, as she pressed on. Student Lin Han, you haven't answered my question. Lin Han jumped and quickly replied, I'm a bit tired today. Let's find another chance to talk later, okay? Leng Lan Yue turned her face away. Her voice was soft but resolute. All right, remember your promise. Lin Han let out a sigh of relief, thinking to himself, that girl is finally gone. But why did Sis Bing seem so angry? It couldn't be because I secretly joined the training session, could it? He shook his head, telling himself, why overthink it? There are still many things to deal with. In a classic-style trading room in the Phantom Mountains, Lin Han accepted a cup of tea from a waitress. He calculated in his head like a seasoned merchant. If I can sell these two pieces of equipment, not only can I cover my living expenses, I might even be able to pay back the money Sis Bing lent me. A well-dressed man who introduced himself as the manager greeted him warmly. You must be young Mr. Lin, correct? My surname is Dian, and I'm the director here. I heard you're planning to sell two pieces of equipment. Could I take a look at them first? The person in charge of the trading room, Dian Bian, looked at Lin Han with a friendly gaze. Lin Han waved his hand, and a spear and a sword of the same color floated mid-air. They glowed like two stars in the dark night. He introduced them. Director Diane, this is the equipment I obtained from the silver level training area in the Phantom Mountains. Dian Bian observed them surprised. He bowed slightly, his voice full of astonishment. My apologies for the impoliteness. May I ask if your name is Lin Han? Lin Han quickly replied, surprised, yes, that's right. Director Dian, you know me? The man smiled, his voice as warm as if meeting a long-lost relative. Me and old Lin, your father, that is, were friends for over 15 years. Out of respect, you can just call me Uncle Dian. Dian Bian patted Lin Han's shoulder, praising him effusively. You're truly skilled. To be able to venture into the silver-level training area of the Phantom Mountains. So young, yet so powerful. It seems the revival of the Lin family is not far off. Lin Han gave a polite smile. His voice was humble but calculating. Is that so? In that case, I'll entrust these 2 pieces of equipment to you, Uncle Dian. He thought to himself, a cunning glint in his eyes. This man is a friend of my father. I wonder if I can use this opportunity to drive up the price a little. Dian Bian bowed his head and gave a sly smile, calculating in his mind. This kid isn't very old. I should be able to negotiate a good price. The 2 of them, like 2 old foxes, smiled and said in unison, I'm really looking forward to this. Dian Bian extended his hand and started to make an offer, his voice magnanimous. Little Lin, the quality of these 2 items isn't bad. For the sake of our old friendship, your Uncle Dian will give you 5 million Tianlong currency. Lin Han raised a finger, countering with a confident look. Uncle Dian, business is business. Even though you know my father, a deal still has to follow the rules. This is equipment dropped by the Gale Wolf King. It should be at least 8 million. Dian Bian, not to be outdone, replied in a negotiating tone. Your father, when he was alive, was my best friend. 5 million. Lin Han remained calm, a sly smile on his face. When my father was alive, his favorite lucky numbers were 7 and 8. How about 8,888,000 Sky Dragon coins? Dian Bian said, raising one finger with the cunning smile of a seasoned merchant. Kid, 6,666,000 is a pretty lucky number too, you know? Lam Han nodded in satisfaction, replying confidently, let's close it at 6.6 million. I'm only agreeing to this out of respect for you, Uncle Dian. He happily thought to himself, like someone who just won the lottery, this price is even higher than I expected. I've made a huge profit this time. Dian Bian shook Lam Han's hand, smiling brightly. Well then, a pleasure doing business with you. Lam Han also replied cheerfully, a pleasure doing business with you? But Dian Bian thought to himself, a cunning glint in his eyes, I can't shake the feeling that I've been set up by this kid. Dian Bian pointed to 2 cards on an exquisite wooden tray brought over by a waitress. The money has already been transferred to this bank card, young Lam. The black card is a VIP card from our trading bank. It has an overdraft limit of 3 million Sky Dragon coins. He patted Lam Han's shoulder, his tone polite but full of intent. In the future, if you need to sell anything or have any other needs, please feel free to contact us. Lam Han took the 2 cards and replied politely, in that case, thank you, Uncle Dian. He thought excitedly to himself, since I'm already here, I might as well check out a few more magic scrolls. Watching Lam Han walk around the trading room, Dian Bian mused, his eyes gleaming like a strategist's. Just 10 minutes after awakening, he already possesses such power. His future achievements, I fear they'll be unpredictable. He gave a calculating smile. It seems there will be many more opportunities to cooperate with him. Under the blue sky, amidst rows of dense apartment buildings, a military vehicle appeared, standing out like a warrior among civilians. A well-dressed man stood ramrod straight in front of Lam Han's house, bowing respectfully as he introduced himself. I am the butler of the Bai family. Butler Liu. Young Master Lam, it's been a long time. Lin Han, his hands still in his coat pockets, replied with the indifference of someone who couldn't care less about the offer. I don't need it. Even though Lin Han had flatly refused, the bold guy stuck to him like a leech. His voice was wheedling and calculating. The price is negotiable, you know. This time I'll waive the service fee for you. Just consider it a friendly gesture. Lin Han forcefully gripped his arm, his voice filled with the annoyance of a warrior being disturbed. I said I don't need it. He squeezed so hard that the veins on the bold guy's arm bulged. His eyes were as cold and sharp as a razor's edge. Keep pestering me and you'd better watch out or you'll lose that whole arm. With that, Lin Han swung his arm, pushing the burly man away. It was a gentle yet powerful move, like tossing a dry leaf. Lin Han frowned, his thoughtful gaze fixed on the bald man. He was filled with suspicion. Waiving the service fee for a stranger? Do you take me for some clueless fool? Mercenary groups like this? If they're not trying to scam you out of your money, there's only one other possibility. Their real goal is to rob and kill. The bald man clutched his aching arm, grinding his teeth in silent fury. He cursed under his breath like an enraged beast. Damn it, I'm going to beat him to death. He raised the knife, brandishing it menacingly, but a voice cut him off. That's enough. A girl with hair as fiery red as a flame. Flashed a sinister smile and slammed a dagger into the table with enough force to declare her authority. Boss, are we really just going to let that kid go? The security team is here. This isn't the right place to make a move. The red-haired girl looked up, her mysterious blue eyes captivating, her voice full of cunning. No one can do anything to us. We can still leave this place safely. Wait for him to leave the safe zone, then we'll go play with him. Lin Han stood before the ancient structure as calm as a seasoned explorer. So this is the ruined vestige, huh? The style is completely different from the haunting mountains. Hui Yi, who seemed to be in her own space, heard Lin Han's call and instantly appeared as if activated. She hugged his arm tightly, her face as bright as a blooming flower. Master, I'm all ready. Lin Han smiled, gently tapping her forehead with his finger. His voice was soft. Good girl. Today I'll let you have a really good fight. The system suddenly popped up, making Lin Han complain in a dissatisfied tone. What another system quest activation. The notification chimed. Congratulations, Master, you have activated a Lord tier quest. Quest name, Heart of Thunder. Quest objective, hunt the Thunder Messenger and collect the Heart of Thunder. After reading the information, Lin Han's face lit up with an excited grin, like someone who had just found a treasure. 3 million beast taming points. Not bad at all. This is good stuff. Yi's power will skyrocket with this. He cheerfully held up his phone, calculating in his head. But the place to complete my class advancement quest is up ahead, and I still don't know where the Thunder Messenger is. First, I'll buy some information from Uncle Dian. Lin Han started walking quickly. He didn't forget to glance at Yi, his voice decisive. Yi, let's go do the class advancement quest first, then we'll come back and earn more beast taming points for you later. From atop the sand dune, a pack of wolf-like monsters charged down, like arrows, their eyes gleaming ferociously. Thunder roar beasts, social animals level 15. Yi, with her terrifying strength, slammed her fist into the ground, creating an earthquake-like shockwave that sent the thunder roar beasts flying in all directions like leaves caught in a storm. The remaining ones charged towards Lin Han, but he calmly walked forward. A magic scroll enveloped in flames hovered in his hand like a blazing torch. His voice was full of contempt. You can't even beat Yi, and you think you can take me on. Lin Han gently flicked his fingers, launching a giant fireball. His voice was cheerful. All right, thunder roar beasts, try this on for size. The fireball shot forward, incinerating the beasts. He didn't forget to taunt them. Grilled thunder roar beast meat. I bet it smells delicious. Seeing the fireball, the thunder roar beasts stared blankly, their eyes filled with panic. Oh no, we're going to be a barbecue. A barrage of fireballs continued to fly, burning the pack of thunder roar beasts alive. The lucky survivors scrambled to their feet and fled in terror. The system announced successfully eliminated thunder roar beast. Experience +0. Successfully collected energy stone. Warning, you have reached the maximum limit for first advancement tier 4. You must complete the class advancement quest to break the limit before reaching the second advancement. You cannot gain any more experience. Lin Han controlled 3 magic scrolls hovering in his hand: Fireball, Skyfire, and Flaming Missile. He wore a displeased expression and muttered, "But I haven't even finished my quest yet." He looked at the fleeing thunder roar beasts, his voice teasing. Trying to run. My magic scrolls don't think so. Lin Han's fireballs flew everywhere, chasing their prey like bullets of fire. He turned to Yi, his tone playful. Yi, hurry up and finish them off. Yi replied enthusiastically. Got it. After the battle, a smoky battlefield lay behind Lin Han, like a painting of destruction's aftermath. Yi stepped on the head of a defeated beast, observing its reaction, while Lin Han excitedly checked his spoils. Not bad, not bad. I've gathered enough energy stones in just a short time. Magic scrolls are expensive, but they really are useful. The system displayed Yi's stats. Name, Heavenly Yi. Type, Archaic 10 Vicious, level 15. Strength, 2000. Agility, 1800. Spirit, 1700. Physique, 2100. Skill Symbiosis, level 2, increases all basic attributes by 50%. Colossal Strength, level 2, increases strength attribute by 60%. Furious Critical Strike, level 1, deals damage equal to 100% of own strength to the target. Lin Han looked at the stats with a hint of regret. I haven't completed the class advancement. So much experience has gone to waste. Luckily, Yi went from level 13 to level 15. Today's trip still yielded some results. He took his phone out of his pocket and looked at the screen, wondering to himself, the exchange should have sent the information about the Thunder Messenger by now, right? A voice answered from the other end. Little Lin, I found the location of the Thunder Messenger. Sending it to you right now. A flashing red dot appeared on the phone screen, marking the location the other person was interested in. However, the Herald of Thunder is very difficult to deal with unless you've had 2 promotions or are below level 15. It's best if you don't go alone. Lam Han didn't reply, simply turning his head to call for Jack, his voice decisive. And Yi, let's go. Let's go collect some Tamara points. She nodded happily, her smile as radiant as the sun from her master. The two of them left together, unaware that behind a rock, a red-haired girl was secretly watching them, her eyes as sharp as a hunter stalking its prey. The red-haired girl watched in the direction Lam Han had gone. She smiled sinisterly, thinking to herself, a single magic scroll costs tens of thousands. How many has he used on the way here? That kid is definitely a big shot. That kid is. We're definitely going to strike it rich this time. The bald man standing behind her smirked deviously. Boss, should we make our move now? The red-haired girl stopped him, her voice calm but calculating. No rush. Let's wait a little longer. Let that kid accumulate a few more energy stones. Besides, the girl next to him isn't easy to deal with either. We'll wait until they've exhausted their strength, then we'll strike. The bald man smiled fawningly. The boss is brilliant. Meanwhile, Lam Han and Jack walked arm in arm like a pair of close friends. They arrived at the marked location on the map. Before them, a level 17 Herald of Thunder was fast asleep, its body emitting crackles of sparkling lightning. Lamhan looked at it a little disappointed and sighed. Just level 17. It's a far cry from the Swiftwind Wolf King. This doesn't feel like a challenge at all. He crouched down, pointing excitedly. And Yi, let's go. Let's finish it off and go home. Jack was just as excited, her eyes crinkling into a smile, like a child receiving a gift. Okay. She charged straight at the beast. The Herald of Thunder awoke at the sound and turned its head to look around, but before it could even get its bearings, Jack had already landed a powerful punch. Blood spewed like a fountain from its neck after the hit. She quickly transformed, shrinking her body back into her beast form, a blue ant with glowing red eyes. In a flash, she burrowed into the yellow sand. The Herald of Thunder was still reeling, searching for its attacker, when it suddenly saw a mound of dirt rise up right beneath its belly. Jack transformed back into her human form, bursting up from the ground and landing a straight punch to its stomach as powerful as a collapsing mountain. Lamhan summoned a magic scroll. A giant block of ice appeared above the Herald of Thunder as it was sent flying into the air. He waved his hand, a cold smile on his face. Die. The Glacial Prism magic scroll activated. A massive diamond-shaped block of ice shot down from the sky as sharp as a heavenly spear, pinning the Herald of Thunder straight to the ground. The beast was completely defeated, unable to even resist, like a warrior struck down before he could even draw his sword. A system notification appeared, successfully eliminated the Herald of Thunder. Experience gained 0. Jack sat on the ground, grinning with her eyes closed, and looked over at Lamhan with an innocent expression. And Yi is so tired. Lamhan, on the other hand, wasn't very satisfied, staring intently at the system's notification panel. He muttered like a strategist making calculations. Mission complete, defeat the Herald of Thunder. Mission reward, 300 Tamer points have been issued. He frowned, thinking to himself, this thing's attack power may not be strong, but its hide is so thick it took forever to kill. However, he quickly broke into a satisfied smile, like a hunter who had just taken down a prized quarry. Taking down a Herald of Thunder and getting 300 Tamer points for it, today was a good haul. Letting these points go to waste would be a shame. First, let's awaken a skill for Anyi. No sooner said than done. Lamhan immediately transferred the points to unlock a skill for Jack. The system announced investment of 300 Tamer points successful. Awaken one of the 10 ancient vicious ones. Jack's talent skill, Iron Bone. Skill activated defense increased by 20%. Jack was kneeling on the ground. She comfortably received the new power as if her body were being cleansed by a divine spring. Once the skill unlock was complete, she immediately threw herself into Lamhan's arms, hugging him tightly. Her voice was full of excitement. And Yi feels much stronger now. Thank you, Master. Lamhan was surprised by her forwardness and stammered a little flustered. Hey, be careful. This is the wilderness. While the two were embracing, a foot suddenly appeared in front of them, followed by a sarcastic voice. Not bad, kid. The red-haired girl approached, leading a group of tall, burly mercenaries. They carried themselves like a pack of hunters surrounding their prey. She crossed her arms, her voice dripping with mockery. But what good is brute force? Out here, you also have to rely on firepower and your brain. Lamhan tilted his head to look at the troublesome group that had just appeared and gave the bald man a contemptuous smile. Didn't you say you'd help me for free? You show up after the monster's dead. Are you here to give your grandpa a foot massage? Standing to the side, Jack scowled at the group's terrible timing, her sharp gaze looking like she wanted to eat them alive. The bald man, provoked, roared like a beast. Provoked, he snarled, "You little brat! You dared to refuse our mercenary group earlier. You're going to pay the price for that. Be a good boy and hand over all the treasures you have on you. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving here alive." Lamhan stood up, his voice calm but full of defiance. "You dare to rob people here. Aren't you afraid of being discovered and arrested by the security team?" The red-haired girl laughed confidently, her eyes as cunning as a fox. "Kid, do you know why? These shattered ruins have safe zones and unsafe zones." She paused, then continued in a lecturing tone. "Because the unsafe zones are all deep within the ruins, the security team that maintains order will never come here to patrol." The bald man next to her smiled silently, letting his leader explain. The red-haired girl continued, her voice full of arrogance. "If you die here, even if the security team finds your body, they'll just assume it was a wild beast that killed you. If you have to blame someone, blame yourself for pissing off the wrong people." She stuck out her tongue and licked the corner of her lips, her gaze cunning and cruel, like a predator looking at its prey. "Don't you worry, kid. Big Sis will take good care of you." The mercenaries chimed in, their voices full of greed. "In that case, boss, can we have the girl model?" She happily obliged. But just a moment later, she froze and screamed, "Where did she go?" But when the mercenaries noticed Jack Ngi had vanished from Lamhan's side, one of them shouted a warning. "Something's wrong, be careful." But the red-haired woman never expected that. Jack Ngi had already burst up from the ground right behind them. Her eyes narrowed in anger. She grabbed the wrists of the two closest men, smiled cheerfully, and then spun them around like a pair of puppets, using their own bodies to knock away the mercenaries standing nearby. The red-haired woman screamed in panic. "Who is this girl? She's terrifying. Mom, save me." As soon as the words were out, Jack Ngi let go, throwing her away like a sandbag. The mercenaries reacted, opening fire on Jack Ngi all at once. They roared, "This girl is no joke. Take her down now." But Jack Ngi activated a new skill, iron bones increasing her defense by 20%. An invisible shield enveloped her body, making the bullets unable to penetrate like rain on a pane of glass. She calmly turned her head, looking at the mercenaries with contempt, as if they were a bunch of weak ants. The red-haired woman had just landed. Gritting her teeth, she commanded, "That girl's too strong. We were careless. Let's retreat." But a shadow suddenly appeared above her. The red-haired woman lying prone on the ground looked up in astonishment to see Lam Han's face as cold as a demon from hell. In his hand, a magic scroll crackled with lightning like a gathering storm. He smiled, his voice friendly, yet full of menace. "Want to run too late?" Several bolts of lightning struck down from the sky, striking the mercenaries directly. The entire oasis flashed with blue light. Terrified screams rang out. "Ah!" The mercenaries, scorched by the lightning, lay unconscious and scattered on the ground. Only the red-haired woman and the bald man were left helping each other up, their faces tense with worry. The red-haired woman's voice trembled in panic. "Monster! She's a monster! And this brat! Oh, why does he keep using so many magic scrolls?" The red-haired woman shot the bald man a furious glance, her voice low and her eyes sharp as knives. "She seems to only listen to that brat. I've seen him fighting this whole time. He must have used up all his magic scrolls by now. If we capture him, we still have a chance to turn this around." The bald man, as if enlightened, raised his fist and smiled confidently, like a warrior who had just found his enemy's weak spot. "That's right. Damn it, without his magic scrolls, this kid is just a weak chicken. I'll take him on." But before they could finish planning their strategy, Lam Han had already stepped right in front of them. He looked as composed as a king before his defeated foes. Still planning to counterattack in a desperate situation, huh? He summoned 4 different types of magic scrolls at once, controlling them. They floated in the air like brilliant stars in the night sky. He smiled, his voice full of sarcasm. "You've got guts, but a weak chicken like me, bye-bye, is made entirely of money power." The red-haired woman and the bald man looked at the pile of magic scrolls, trembling like leaves in the wind. They dropped to one knee, their panicked eyes looking up at Lam Han's figure. He seemed as large as a towering mountain. Playing the role of a robber, his voice was calm yet full of threat. "Hand over all your equipment, energy stones, and skill books. Do it, and I might consider letting you live." Lam Han gave a wicked smile, his eyes glinting like a demon's. "If you don't, I'll show you what it means when all fear comes from a lack of firepower." Hearing this, the red-haired woman was so angry she could have coughed up blood. She thought to herself, "Who's the real robber here?" Scene changed to a magnificent temple, the Class Change Temple. A beautiful girl is resting her chin on her hand, speaking in a friendly storytelling tone. "The person who activated the 5-star quest this morning, his name was Lam Han, wasn't it? He's quite handsome, but it's a shame his luck is so bad. A quest that difficult. It can't be completed in less than 10 days, maybe even half a month." Just as she finished speaking, a hello rang out, making her jump. Her eyes widened in astonishment. Lam Han was standing in front of the registration desk, having appeared from nowhere with a calm smile on his face. "I just finished the class change quest and came back to turn it in." The girl was so shocked she stammered as if she'd just witnessed the impossible. That fast." She broke out in a sweat, asking frantically, "The quest is finished." Then she muttered to herself, her voice trembling, "Impossible. I must have misheard. A 5-star quest isn't like picking cabbage. How could it be finished so quickly?" She looked down shyly, flipping through a pile of papers, and said haltingly, Mr. Lam, are you here to ask for information about the class change quest? Please wait a moment." But Lam Han affirmed in a calm voice, "No, I've really completed the quest." The girl froze as if struck by lightning, her mind filled with question marks. Then she suddenly screamed, her voice echoing throughout the class change temple. "What? You finished the quest?" Lam Han wasn't too surprised by her reaction. He just shrugged his voice as light as if he were talking about something trivial. "That's right. It was pretty easy." Sweat poured down the staff member's face again. She hurriedly said, "Please wait a moment. I'll book a room for you right away." She read the information, her voice shaking. "Right now, room 996 is available." "The procedure is the same as when you accepted the quest." Lam Han nodded, waved at her with a friendly voice. "All right, thank you," and turned to walk towards room 996. Meanwhile, the staff member was still lost in disbelief, thinking to herself, "It's only been a few hours. Did he really complete the quest? He's not just bragging, is he?" The thought had just ended when an announcement echoed throughout the temple. "Congratulations, you have successfully completed the class change mission and achieved your second class change." The female employee gasped, her jaw dropping. Turning to her colleague, she stammered, "Is that for real?" The crowd in the class change temple's waiting hall heard the announcement and erupted into astonished chatter, like waves crashing on the shore. Someone completed a 5-star mission. Here, since when did such a powerful person appear? The announcement board displayed the second class change, Beast-Taming Scholar. Lam Han reached out and touched the screen. A hazy stream of energy coiled around his hand like a river of light. The third second-tier class, Beast-Tamer, appeared. His entire body was enveloped in the brilliant light of new energy like a warrior blessed by the gods. But in the moment of the class change, Lam Han felt a shift within his body, his excitement flaring like a blazing fire. "So this is the second class change, huh? Feels pretty good." The information screen displayed name Lam Han. First class Beast Taming Scholar. Second class Hidden. Level 10. Strength 1000. Agility 900, Spirit 800. Constitution 730. Skills, Creature Contract. Level 1, Beast Taming Space level 1 million recall, Beast level 1. A series of explanatory notifications appeared. Second class change successful. Unlock talent skills. Lightning Wings can fly for 10 minutes, cooldown 1 hour. Copy skill copies a tamed beast skill for 5 minutes. Cooldown 2 hours. Ancestral Bloodline activates the ancestral bloodline of a tamed beast. System continued. Host has reached the second class change. Activating second class change rewards. B-Host may choose one of the following skills. A fusion. Fuse with a tamed beast multiplying base power. B-Telepathy. Communicate with beast increasing favorability. Increases the contract success rate. See Vivid Malice. Detects creatures with malicious intent within a certain range, no cooldown. Lamhan looked at the information excitedly. His eyes shone brightly like a child who had just received their favorite toy. These are the new skills after the class change. Right. Lightning Wings. Copy skill. He glanced over them, a sly smile on his face. Let's see how powerful these new skills are. A brilliant golden light appeared behind him. A pair of lightning wings, sparkling as if forged from thunderbolts, sprouted from his back. With a single flap, he soared high into the sky, his voice filled with excitement. Holy crap, I can fly. Lamhan delightedly used his new skill while rereading the system information. A flight skill is a high-tier skill that can only be learned from a high-tier skill book. I can't believe I unlocked it right after my second class change. Lamhan grinned from ear to ear, his heart filled with the excitement of a child who had just discovered treasure. The Beast-Tamer is truly worthy of being a hidden class. He thought about the copy skill, his eyes lighting up. Does this mean I can copy and use all of my tamed beast's skills? He imagined fighting side by side, perfectly mimicking his beast's actions. Even if it's only for 5 minutes, if I use it at a critical moment, it could decide the outcome of a battle. Not bad. He slowly descended to the ground, retracting the wings. The sparkling light vanished like fading lightning. His eyes were fixed on the system screen, full of anticipation. All right, next up are the other advancement rewards. Lamhan carefully read each reward, evaluating their users like a seasoned strategist. Fusion feels pretty cool. Telepathy would also be an improvement in combat. But if we're talking about the most useful skill, he murmured, a fusion. Can fuse with a tamed beast multiplying base power. Be telepathy. Communicate with beasts increasing favorability. Increases contract success rate. See Vivid Malice. Detects creatures with malicious intent within a certain range. No cooldown. He nodded to himself. This skill is basically a built-in alarm system. He bowed his head and touched the screen, thinking to himself, if I had this skill earlier, those mercenaries would have been wiped out instantly. I wouldn't have even let them show off. The system asked, do you wish to select the skill Vivid Malice? Yes, no. Lamhan didn't hesitate, decisively choosing, this is the one. Vivid Malice, yes, no. After making his choice, Lamhan let out a sigh of relief, stretching comfortably, as if a great weight had been lifted. He warmed up his body, his eyes scanning the new system notification. A new mission already? That was fast, he said in surprise. But it makes sense. After the second class change, I should find a second beast to contract anyway. It'll be a good chance to test the effects of the ancestral bloodline. The system displayed a mission notification. Host has advanced to the 3rd tier class, Beast Taming Scholar. Mission activated. Capture and bond with a beast on your own. Mission reward, 500 beast taming points. Lamhan stroked his chin, pondering like a strategist. Fighting solo is strong, but a bit less effective than I'd like. A lightning element attack would be great in that regard. If I had a lightning-type beast, it would definitely cover that weakness. A determined glint appeared in his eyes, like a warrior ready for conquest. Looks like it's time to pay Uncle Dian a visit. He put his hands in his pockets and cheerfully left the class change temple, thrilled with his recent spoils and ready to buy more information. The scene changes to a trading post inside a VIP room. A man wearing glasses gasped in utter shock as if he'd seen a treasure hoard. Little lamb, what kind of treasure did you just unearth? Lamhan stood beside a mountain of sparkling jewels that was taller than he was, flashing a wide grin. I just met a group of very kind people who gifted me quite a few treasures. I plan on selling all of this. Could you help me appraise it on Uncle Dian? Uncle Dian's jaw was still hanging open. His face beaming with excitement, he turned to the door and yelled, what are you still standing there for? Get in here and start appraising and pricing this stuff. 2 female employees in daringly cut cheongsams immediately complied, rushing in and saying in unison, yes, sir. Lamhan watched the 2 women, one in red and one in blue, get to work, thinking to himself, the Thunder Roar beast dropped a lot of treasure. But it's nothing compared to the stash that group of mercenaries had. Good thing they rushed out to their deaths. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made such a haul. Uncle Dian approached his voice full of excitement. Youngling, the items you brought back are worth a total of 13 million Tianlong coins. I'll transfer the money to your card immediately. Linhan flashed a handsome smile and held out a blue card. Thanks, Uncle. Also, I'm looking for a lightning-type beast. Do you have any suggestions, Uncle Dian? Uncle Dian took the card with both hands, lost in thought for a moment. Then he suddenly snapped his fingers, his eyes lighting up. A lightning type, you say? Ah, that's right. He enthusiastically introduced, I heard that a few days ago in Wuzhou City, a very high-quality thunderbird appeared in the thunderstorm forest. He recounted the story, his voice filled with excitement. That thunderbird might have an ancient bloodline. Many have tried to capture it, but they all came back empty-handed. The image of the thunderbird from his story appeared powerful and majestic, perched on a precarious cliff, with its wings spread wide. Its pure white wings shimmered like a flash of lightning. After hearing this, an excited Lin Han grabbed Uncle Dian. A thunderbird with an ancient bloodline. That's a perfect match for what I need. Do you have any more information, Uncle Dian? Uncle Dian replied cheerfully. I don't have any more information, but our exchange just acquired one of the thunderbird's feathers. He signaled to a female employee in a red cheongsam. She carefully brought out a wooden box. He continued to explain. This feather will start to glow when you get within 10 meters of the thunderbird. The wooden box opened, revealing a feather that looked as if it were enveloped, set by a high-voltage current sparkling like a bolt of lightning. Lin Han's eyes lit up as he reached out to touch it. What an amazing item. I need it. But before he could touch it, Uncle Dian snapped the box shut, his voice taking on a merchant's tone. Ah, young Lin, when you're open for business, there must be a buyer and a seller, right? He adjusted his glasses with a sly grin. If you're sure you want this feather, yes, I'll sell it to you for the friendly price of 1 million. Lin Han flinched, breaking into a cold sweat. He forced a twisted smile, thinking to himself, 1 million for a single tattered feather with that kind of money. I could buy 10 whole scrolls. Why don't you just rob me instead? But he knew this was the only clue to find the thunderbird, so he forced a smile. 1 million it is. I'll buy it. Hearing him confirm the sale, Uncle Dian's grin stretched from ear to ear. He handed the box to him. Thank you, valued customer. Lin Han, sweating profusely, stared at the rather plain wooden box, trying to reassure himself. As long as this feather makes my search more efficient, then 1 million for the thunderbird will be worth it. The scene changes to the thunderstorm forest, a gloomy wood where bolts of lightning strike the ground like swords falling from the sky. Lightning leopard habitat. Bronze and silver tier training area. Recommended level 20. Lin Han dazedly lifted the wooden box and entered the forest, recalling the look on Uncle Dian's face, his eyes lighting up at the sight of money and his advice. Remember, this feather will only start to glow when you're within 10 meters of the thunderbird. He muttered in an annoyed tone. 10 meters, what a scam. At that distance, I'd be able to see the thunderbird with my own eyes. Furious, he threw the box but immediately regretted it. He squatted down to pick it up, carefully dusting it off. Well, I spent 1 million on it anyway. I should still try to find the thunderbird. He ventured through the forest, thinking about his beast Jueyi and what the future held. He was as pumped as an explorer about to conquer a mountain. With just Ahi, I've dominated the silver zone. If I get one more beast, won't I be able to rule the gold zone too? Jueyi, in the form of a small ant on his shoulder, looked unhappy with her master's attitude. Her crimson eyes glanced at him full of dissatisfaction, as if to say, relying on me is enough. Why do you need anyone else? Suddenly Huiyi appeared, her crimson eyes flashing with anger. She threw a punch at Lin Han's shoulder to vent her voice sulky like an abandoned little girl's. You're a bad master. Isn't Ai enough for you? You still want to find another beast? Lin Han laughed loudly and quickly blocked her punch. His voice was gentle, as if coaxing her. All right. Don't be angry. As the two were playfully teasing each other, a terrified scream rang out. Help! It startled them both, and they stopped listening with caution. From the forest, a pink-haired girl burst out. Her face was panicked and drenched in sweat as she ran and screamed for help. Behind her, a ferocious leopard-like beast gave chase, its eyes glowing with a savage light. A system display appeared, lightning leopard level 19. The pink-haired girl, tears welling in her eyes, looked back in utter despair. No. If this keeps up, it's going to catch me. The system continued to display her personal information, Nianwei level 10, master tracker. Distracted by the lightning leopard, Nianwei didn't notice a tree root sticking out of the ground. She tripped and tumbled, crying out, ah! In her mind, she thought like someone facing their doom. Oh crap, I'm done for this time. She fell flat on her face. The lightning leopard seized the opportunity and lunged, mouth open and sharp claws extended. Nianwei shut her eyes and gritted her teeth, accepting her fate. I'm definitely dead this time. But a few seconds passed and she felt no pain. She slowly opened her eyes, her voice full of doubt. Huh? Am I still alive? What was that sound? Turning her head, she saw Lin Han like a hero, saving a damsel in distress, rushing out and using Jueyi's skill. He unleashed a raging strike, sending the lightning leopard flying and coughing up blood. It stumbled back a few steps. Nianwei was stunned, stammering, what just happened? After dealing with the beast, Lin Han looked down at Nianwei, who was still on the ground with her butt in the air. He asked with concern, Are you all right? She quickly replied, her voice embarrassed, I'm fine. Inwardly, her eyes were full of curiosity as she sized him up. The person who just saved me sent a lightning leopard flying with a single punch. Who in the world is he? Despite her thoughts, Nianwei was still worried. Her voice was urgent. A lightning leopard isn't that easy to deal with. We should use this chance to run. Lin Han smiled confidently, like an undefeated warrior. You mean that big cat? He looked at the leopard, which had been knocked back and had to dig its sharp claws into the ground to stop itself. His voice was calm. Don't worry, someone will take care of it. Just then, Yue transformed into a giant ant exuding the aura of a primeval monster and charged into battle with a lightning leopard. She landed a powerful bite on the beast's left shoulder. It writhed in pain, trying to fight back. The two brawled fiercely, kicking up a cloud of dust like an ancient battlefield. Lin Han watched, thinking to himself in surprise, I didn't expect this. To think Ai could get this big using the Iron Bone skill in its heavenly horn form. In this state, Ai looked like a true monster. Nienvi plopped on the grass in shock, stammered, Another monster. While she was still stunned, a gentle hand reached out to her. Lam Han, as elegant as a gentleman, asked, Are you hurt? Can you stand? Nienvi's cheeks flushed without her realizing. She grabbed his wrist, thinking to herself, That ant subdued a thunder leopard. It must be at least a level 20 beast or even higher. Without hesitation, she pulled Lam Han and started running, her voice frantic. Hurry up, let's get out of here before it spots us. But they didn't get far before the thunder leopard's corpse was suddenly flung in front of them, blocking their escape. Nimvi screamed in terror as Yue in its giant form angrily stomped on the leopard's body. It muttered like a vengeful warrior, How dare you try to kidnap my master? Watching this, Nienvi was terrified, her voice trembling. Oh no, we're finished. But Lam Han calmly stepped forward, a gentle smile on his face as he patted Juei's head. Ai, you did great. I'll reward you when we get home. The praise made Juei blush. It looked as embarrassed as a young girl being complimented while Nienvi was completely stunned, frozen in place. She had no idea what was happening. She asked in astonishment, her voice full of doubt, What in the world is going on here? Juei shrank back down to its tiny ant form and hopped onto Lam Han's shoulder. He calmly introduced himself in a friendly tone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lam Han, and my class is Beast-Tamer. Is my tamed beast? You don't have to be afraid. Nienvi gradually calmed down, a radiant smile spreading across her face. Oh, I remember now. According to the legend, someone in the neighboring city awakened the hidden class of Beast-Tamer. So it was you. Lam Han smiled modestly. That's just a rumor. It's hardly a legend. Nienvi placed her hands on her hips and leaned down to look at the little ant on his shoulder, her voice filled with curiosity. Aren't Beast-Tamers supposed to rely on their monsters? How are you so strong even with your bare hands? And what species is that ant? How could it possibly bite a thunder leopard to death? Her chest inadvertently got too close to Juei, who became furious without saying a word. Juei leaped up, delivered a headbutt, and then quickly readjusted its angle to land back on Lam Han's shoulder. Lam Han quickly raised a hand to stop it, saying in a soothing voice, All right now. You don't be angry anymore. Juei was still fuming, shooting Nienvi a warning glance as if to say, Stay away from my master. Smoke rose from Nienvi's head where she was hit, her eyes welling with tears. She stood there holding her head. Lam Han returned to the main issue, looking at her seriously. Judging by your strength, you don't seem very powerful. Why did you venture into such a dangerous place? I'm To Nienvi. She straightened her pink hair, frowning as she recounted her tale like someone who'd just survived a storm. I'm To Nienvi, and I came here for my second-class advancement quest. But with my bad luck, I ended up with a 4-star quest. And you, what are you doing here? Lam Han stroked his chin, his eyes twinkling like an explorer's. I heard there's a thunderbird in the thunderstorm forest. That's my target. Hearing this, Nienvi immediately lit up confidently, puffing out her chest like a warrior taking an oath. You're looking for a monster. As it happens, my class is tracking master. And thank you for saving me earlier. I'll help you as a way of saying thanks. Lam Han silently evaluated the situation like a strategist. A tracking master. This class is weak in combat, but incredibly effective at tracking. She could definitely help me. He smiled and extended his hand. Then I'll have to ask for your help with my mission. Nienvi quickly shook his hand, her voice full of enthusiasm. No problem. Just leave it to me. She then added honestly, her tone a bit sheepish. However, my abilities are somewhat limited. If I had an item from the Thunderbird, I could determine its location much more easily. Lam Han immediately took a feather from a wooden box and held it up. I have a feather right here. See if you can use this. Nienvi's eyes widened in shock as if she had just discovered a treasure. A Thunderbird feather. I remember this thing being sold for an insane price on the black market. She took the feather and examined it meticulously. Her voice turned professional. This feather is extremely well preserved. There will be absolutely no problem using it to locate the Thunderbird. However, using my skill might damage the feather. If you're planning to sell it for money, Lam Han laughed loudly, his voice as carefree as a tycoon's. Don't worry, to me this item is practically worthless. If it breaks, I'll take responsibility. Hearing that, Nienvi grew more confident and nodded. All right then. She began to use her skill item tracking. Her eyes transformed, shimmering with arcane light like a mage casting a spell. The feather began to emit a spiritual glow. It stretched out into a beam of light that shot off in a single direction. Nienvi cheered with joy. I found it. We just need to follow this beam of light. And we'll find the Thunderbird. Lam Han pumped his fist in celebration, his voice filled with excitement. Great. Let's move out. The two of them advanced deeper into the dense forest, the air thick with the smell of ozone from lightning strikes. Suddenly, Lam Han raised his hand to stop Nienvi, his voice cautious. Hold on. There are monsters ahead, and it's not a small number. Hearing this, Nienvi became flustered, her voice trembling. What do we do? Should we take a detour? Juei, in its small ant form on Lam Han's shoulder, watched its master's physical contact with Niamvi, its eyes glowing red with discontent, like a jealous little girl. Lam Han quickly gave a decisive command. No need, Yi. Yi immediately sprang into action, transforming into its giant form and charging into the horde of monsters. A system notification sounded, successfully killed Thunder Roar Beast. Gained 650 experience points. Lam Han looked at the notification and broke into a radiant smile, feeling as happy as if he'd won the lottery. Well now, aren't you full of fighting spirit? He stood by and watched Yi fight ferociously like a small god of war, dominating the entire battlefield. He thought to himself, no wonder Yi can control the entire situation with such ease. But why does Yi seem so angry today? Yi thought, waving excitedly at him. Yi has taken care of everything. Master will be so happy. From behind, Nianwei stared in shock, her voice trembling. All of these were killed by that little ant. Lin Han nodded, his voice calm. I told you, these small fry monsters are easy to handle. He cheered inwardly as the system notification appeared. You have leveled up to level 11. All stats increased by 160 points. You have received 120 free attribute points to allocate. He thought to himself, feeling like a warrior who'd just had a breakthrough. This feeling isn't bad at all. Huiyi returned and immediately pushed Nianwei away, its eyes full of warning. Lin Han saw this and gave an indulgent smile. Yi, you're being mischievous again. But you should change back now. Huiyi grumbled in a sulky tone. Yes, master. Nianwei stood to the side, a look of confusion on her face. What's going on? She wondered. Is a beast attacking us? In her mind's eye, the image of a giant ant happily chatting with Lin Han appeared, making her sigh. So it was just the little ant that scared me half to death. Lin Han smiled and gestured for Yi to change back. Go on, return to your original form. It'll be more convenient for us to get around that way. Nianwei looked at the small ant, feeling that something wasn't quite right. Why does it feel like this ant has it out for me, she thought. Am I just imagining things? How could a tiny ant be looking at me with such anger? Inside Yui's mind, a storm of jealousy was brewing. How dare you try to seduce master? I'll bite you to death. Just you come over here. I promise I won't beat you to death. But Huiyi's adorable appearance made Nianwei cast aside all her suspicions. With hearts in her eyes, she rushed forward. It must be my imagination. Such a cute little ant. How could it possibly have any ill intentions? She reached out to touch Huiyi, smiling. Hey there, little ant. Let me pet you for a bit. Huiyi panicked and dodged her touch, silently crying for help. This woman is so annoying, I really want to give her a beating, but I'm afraid she wouldn't be able to handle it. Master, hurry and stop her, save Yi. Lin Han sensed its thoughts and quickly pulled Nianwei back with an awkward laugh. All right. If you keep petting it, Yi is going to get angry. He gestured to Huiyi. How many beasts are up ahead, Yi? You go on and clear a path for us. In the quiet night, the sound of system notifications rang out continuously. It was like a symphony of victory. Successfully killed a thunder armor bug. Experience points plus 9,841. Successfully killed electric pattern B. Experience points plus 12,841. Successfully killed thunder boar. Experience points plus 12,841. The system continued. You have leveled up to level 12. All stats increased. You have received 120 free attribute points. You have leveled up to level 13. All stats increased. You have received 120 free attribute points. You have leveled up to level 14. All stats increased. You have received 120 free attribute points. You have leveled up to level 15. All stats increased. You have received 140 free attribute points. Lin Han couldn't hold it in any longer. He cheered with delight like a true warrior. This feeling of leveling up is amazing. In front of him, a detailed information panel appeared, clearly reflecting his power. Name Lin Han. Class Beast-Tamer. Scholar 2nd Advancement. Hidden class. Level 15. Strength 1,820. Agility 1,720. Spirit 1,620. Constitution 1,550. Equipment none. Skills Creature Contract level 1. Beast Space level 1 million. Recall Beast level 1. Malice, Embodiment, level 1, Wings of Lightning, level 1, Skill Copy, level 1. He looked at his stat panel, his eyes sparkling with amazement, like an explorer who had just discovered a new treasure. It hasn't even been that long and I'm already level 15. Looks like I'll have to do the 3rd job advancement quest soon. Huiyi, the little ant on his shoulder, was now exhausted and fast asleep, like a tiny warrior needing rest after a great battle. The system displayed Celestial Huiyi, Race Primordial, 10-winged ant, level 18, Strength 2,700. Agility 2,300, Spirit 2,200, Constitution 3,000. Lin Han looked at Yi. He thought to himself with a sigh, Yi, you've really worked hard on this journey. Nianwei, walking up ahead, quickly replied in a teasing tone, It's more than just worked hard. The two of you have practically destroyed the entire Thunder Forest. All around them, the monster corpses had been cleanly dealt with by Yi, as if the battlefield had just been tidied up. Nianwei stood before them and cheered happily, her eyes shining brightly. Now that we don't have to avoid the beasts, we can use our top speed to find the Thunderbird I can feel it in that direction. But before she could leave, yes, a sharp chirp from Jue sounded in Lin Han's ear, making him stop. He looked up at the sky, his mind on high alert. Ah Yi, is there a problem up ahead? He pondered like a strategist analyzing the situation. Ah Yi is a primordial beast after all. Could it be that there's something up ahead that even she is cautious of? Suddenly a bird with lush green feathers and a beautiful appearance as if carved from jade appeared before their eyes. Lin Han exclaimed with the excitement of a hunter spotting precious prey. It's a level 13 Thunderbird. If I can form a contract with it, this will be a huge score for today. The Thunderbird, which had been resting up high, immediately snapped its eyes open at the sound. Its gaze was as sharp as a warrior spotting an enemy. It hurriedly flapped its wings, trying to escape. Nianwei grumbled in a regretful tone, "Oh no, it's running away. A tracking master who can't fly will never be able to catch it. I can't believe we're going to miss out on the Thunderbird after all this trouble." From start to finish, Lin Han maintained a confident smile, like someone who was sure of victory. Who said I can't fly? He activated his lightning wings, and a pair of brilliant golden wings sprouted from his back. Sparkling like lightning tearing through the sky, he shot upwards like a golden arrow, before Nianwei's astonished eyes charging at the Thunderbird. It never expected its opponent could fly. Panicking, it flapped its wings harder. The ant on Lin Han's shoulder watched the Thunderbird getting struck by lightning in the sky, its crimson eyes full of excitement. Lin Han shouted, his voice full of cunning. He wore a sly smile, like a merchant trying to entice a customer. "Hey, Thunderbird, how about becoming my tamed beast? I'll cover room and board." The Thunderbird was stunned by the offer, but quickly put more power into its wings, flying higher to ignore him. Unfazed, Lin Han spread his own wings and gave chase, staying right on its tail. His eyes were bewildered but full of amusement. Wow, what a strong reaction. This fierce beast has quite a personality. In that case, let's play with it for a bit. He turned and called down to Nianwei. "Nianwei, wait for me here, okay?" "Okay." Standing on the ground, she watched him helplessly and replied perfunctorily, "I'll wait for you here." Lin Han spread his wings and drew closer to the Thunderbird, causing it to panic and struggle in the sky. He shouted confidently, "Hey, do you really not want to be my tamed beast? You won't lose out by following me." Lin Han quickly reached out to grab the Thunderbird, but only managed to snatch a few feathers as the bird flapped its wings with all its might and soared high into the sky. It left him far behind like an arrow shot from a bow. He was furious, his voice filled with the frustration of a hunter who'd let his prey escape. "Damn it, I let it get away." Suddenly the Thunderbird turned back and unleashed giant bolts of lightning. They rained down from all directions like a thunderstorm, aiming straight for Lin Han. He didn't have time to defend himself, but he quickly raised a powerful fist, a faint smile on his lips. His eyes were as sharp as a warrior facing his enemy. "So you know you can't escape and have decided to go all out. Your courage is commendable." Aiming straight for the Thunderbird, he rushed forward and roared with the force of a collapsing mountain. "Then I'll just have to beat you into submission." He threw a punch, the force growing stronger and stronger, like a tornado striking the Thunderbird. It sent the bird reeling, dazed in midair. Lin Han roared, "Replication skill and Tyrant Strike." He grabbed the Thunderbird tightly by the neck, and a contract seal appeared in his hand, shining like a star. He let out a sigh of relief, smiling with satisfaction. Finally, the contract is signed. 13. The system displayed the Thunderbird's information subrace, Azure Lightning Berserker Bird. Level 13. Strength 523. Agility 768. Spirit 622. Physique 502. Lin Han murmured, his voice slightly disappointed. A level 13 Thunderbird with stats this low, it's far worse than Azure. The system continued, contract successful. "Would you like to initiate ancestral reversion with the contract target?" "Yes!" he exclaimed, his eyes lighting up as if he just remembered a hidden treasure. "I almost forgot I have the system. Getting stronger is a piece of cake." He selected Initiate Ancestral Reversion. The Thunderbird gradually transformed from its avian form into a beautiful girl. Exhausted from the transformation, she collapsed like a flower wilting after a storm. The system announced ancestral reversion for the Thunderbird successful. Has entered its second form, Thunder Monarch, race 10, Arched Primeval, level 18, strength 1,900, agility 3,000, spirit 2,400, physique 2,600, skill Thunderstorm, level 1, within a 1 kilometer radius. His lightning falls chaotically. Quick March level 1 increases agility by 40%. Lin Han observed from a distance, thinking to himself with admiration. As expected of a lightning-type fierce beast, it jumped 5 whole levels in one go. Moreover, that thunderstorm skill is basically a weapon of mass destruction. The girl's fair legs touched the ground. She looked up with a beautiful, innocent face, her eyes as captivating as precious gems. She lowered her head gently. "Greetings, master." Lin Han's gaze was glued to her high-damage weapons, a cunning smile spreading across his face. "Excellent. A fierce beast in name and in nature. Even fiercer, in fact." Ajue, standing on his shoulder, watched the scene unfold, angrily clutching his shirt. Its crimson eyes blazing like flames of fury glared at the Thunderbird with hostility. It stepped closer, their eyes locking with the confrontational aura of two warriors about to clash. Ajue spoke its voice full of provocation. What stinky bird dares to steal my master? The thunderbird replied with a disdainful expression like a queen. A tiny little ant dares to claim the master as its own. I could swallow you in a single bite. Lin Han quickly stepped between them, holding up his hands to make peace. He spoke in a coaxing tone, like an older brother. All right. From now on, we're all family. No more fighting, okay? You were the first one to get a human form, so you're the big sister. You have to be patient with her. Hearing this, the thunderbird looked at him happily and asked in a gentle voice, Master, could you give me a name? Lin Han placed a hand on his chin, pondering. A name, huh? You're a lightning bird. I once heard a Vietnamese poem, At the dawn of time, when yin and yang collided, thunder was born. He smiled and declared, All right then, I'll call you Tien Kok. The thunderbird now. Tien Kok gently accepted her new name, her eyes sparkling like lightning. Tien Kok, I like this name very much. Thank you, Master. Lin Han looked at her, thinking to himself with great anticipation. Such a gentle and lovely girl, yet she possesses a skill as wild as thunderstorm. If only I could test her power just once. A brilliant idea flashed through his mind and he became lost in thought. His eyes lit up. Right now is the perfect opportunity for Tien Kok to show her full strength. Meanwhile, Nianwei was still sitting quietly in a corner waiting sadly for Lin Han to return in the sparse residential area of the barbarian camp. When she saw him appear, her expression immediately brightened. She asked excitedly, Lin Han, are you really going to help me complete my 4-star mission? But my target is to hunt the leader here. The difficulty is too high. Maybe we should just forget it. Lin Han turned back with a confident smile and said magnanimously, You helped me find the Thunderbird, so it's only right that I help you complete your second advancement mission. Besides, I want to take this opportunity to test the Thunderbird's strength. He pointed towards Tien Kok, the girl emitting sparkling lightning bolts around her, and commanded in a decisive voice, Go, Tien Kok, show me just how strong you really are. Tien Kok soared upwards with a powerful aura raining down lightning bolts like a downpour from the heavens. As she flew, she transformed back into her human form, piercing through the white mist and shouting, Thunder descend. The powerful lightning bolts struck the ground, creating a giant vortex of thunder and lightning. In the camp, some of the barbarians looked up, their eyes filled with both contemplation and anger. The system displayed Barbarian level 7, Barbarian Marauder level 8, Barbarian Chieftain level 9. Nianwei stood behind Lam Han, her expression urgent and filled with worry. Lam Han sighed softly to himself. The monsters here are too low level. If Tien Kok unleashes one thunderstorm, I'll probably have to beg them not to die. He spoke in a calm voice. Tien Kok, feel free to let loose. But just don't kill the barbarian chieftain. Nianwei looked up at the sky, her heart filled with doubt. There's so much lightning up there. Where is that bird? I can't see it clearly. From high above, Tien Kok descended, obeying the command. She unleashed a powerful bolt of lightning, blasting away all nearby enemies. The terrified chieftain grabbed his bow and aimed it at her, shouting in a trembling voice. Tien Kok lunged forward and gripped his neck tightly, her expression as calm as if she were handling a trivial matter. A bolt of lightning struck the chieftain, making him scream in pain and collapse to the ground. Nianwei and Lam Han were hiding in the bushes. She asked in a worried tone, Has the Thunderbird made its move? There are so many enemies. I don't know how long this will take. Maybe we should retreat. Suddenly, something heavy fell to the ground. Nianwei jumped and cried out in alarm. Tien Kok was standing over the scorched, motionless body of the chieftain. She exclaimed in astonishment, This is the barbarian chieftain. The Thunderbird already caught him and brought him here. Lam Han smiled and praised her. Good job, Tien Kok. He took a knife from his bag and handed it to Nianwei, saying decisively, Finish him off. Your mission will be complete. Nianwei tremblingly held the weapon, mumbling hesitantly. I know. A slash rang out and blood spurted from the chieftain's body. I, Nianwei, have killed the barbarian chieftain. Mission complete. She was too shy to look directly at Lam Han and said in a soft voice, Lam Han, thank you. I was only able to complete the mission thanks to you. She placed a hand on her chest, her eyes shining as she spoke excitedly. My home is in this area. Anyway, the main task is done. Would you like me to show you around Wuzhou City? Lam Han started walking away, looking back with a friendly smile. Don't be so formal. You helped me find the Thunderbird after all. If fate allows, we'll meet again. Nianwei smiled softly, thinking to herself with a longing gaze. Lam Han, I hope we can meet again someday. Lam Han walked ahead. The two girls, Tien Kok and Jack Ni, followed behind him, looking at him with innocent eyes. He thought to himself with deep satisfaction. I've already captured my second ferocious beast in just half a day. I'm so lucky. Next, I need to plan out my future leveling route. The ringing of his phone interrupted his thoughts. Lam Han looked at the screen. The words that appeared made him curious. Fatty Long. Why is Fatty Long calling me now? Could it be something important? Lam Han put the phone to his ear and spoke cheerfully. Fatty Long, what's up? If you're inviting me to eat, I'll head over right now. On the other end of the line, Lam Kiu laughed heartily, his voice full of excitement. No. Forget about food. I have something important to tell you. He began to speak excitedly about a girl facing off against a horde of giant monsters. Little lamb, have you ever heard of the illusory void realm? He described the image of a woman standing proudly before a pack of ferocious charging monsters. The illusory void realm. a fictional space created by the Imperial Army. It can replicate any battle scene. That woman confidently took down a monster without the slightest hesitation while the space continued to generate countless other ferocious beasts for the Awakened to practice with. She knelt on one knee, looking at the fallen monster with a gentle smile. Lam Hyo continued enthusiastically, although you can't gain experience points. It can be used to train moves and skills in a private room. Lam Han looked at the pile of food on his table, thinking about Lam Hyo's words. So many people fight tooth and nail for a slot like this. I had my dad get a spot for you. Lam Han thoughtfully assessed the abilities of his two tamed beasts. Tien Kok and Ah Yi possess outstanding individual strength, but their teamwork is severely lacking. He thought this was the perfect opportunity to train them both in the illusory void realm. An image of Jack Yi and Tien Kok hugging appeared in his mind. Their voices rang out in unison, full of determination. Sister, we must serve our master well. Sister, we must serve our master well? Lam Han showed a satisfied expression, thinking, if these two can coordinate perfectly, my power will skyrocket. Lam Hyo continued in a generous tone. Little lamb, I've already sent the address to your phone. Go check it out when you have time. Lam Han fiddled with his phone and replied sincerely, I've troubled your uncle again. Your family has helped me so much over the years. Lam Hyo laughed loudly. We're like brothers. Just don't forget your bro when you make it big. He nodded decisively. Deal. The scene changes to Lam Han's bedroom. He was resting on his comfortable bed when an alarm clock's ringing pulled him from his sleep. Jack Ni, in her human form, was lying on top of him. In a cheerful voice, she said, Good morning, master. Did you sleep well last night? Lam Han jumped in alarm and shouted, Holy crap, it's way too exciting this early in the morning. Tien Kok, standing beside the bed, took his face in her hands and pressed it against her ample chest, saying in a gentle voice, It's still early, master. Go back to sleep. Drowning in blissful sensations, Lam Han cried out, I'm going to suffocate. Is this supposed to be a sweet embrace? Jack Ni glared angrily at Tien Kok, her eyes burning as if ready for a fight. She scolded in a sharp voice, You stinking bird. Doing that will stop master from breathing. Tien Kok replied nonchalantly, her voice full of confidence. On the contrary, master will surely breathe much easier. After all, you're so tiny. The two argued even more fiercely. Jack Ni shouted, I'm not small, master. Already said I'm the older sister. Tien Kok retorted, her voice no less furious. You don't even understand something so simple. It seems your brain is just as ridiculously small. Lam Han put a hand to his face, thinking in exasperation. What a waste of their elegant appearances. They're both so childish, it seems I need to schedule some coordination training right away. He arrived at the illusory void where a staff member greeted him with a warm smile. Mr. Lam, your identity has been successfully confirmed. Step into the cryogenic pod to experience the illusory void. She continued explaining in a professional tone. You can select instances with different difficulty levels based on your personal rank. Clearing 6 instances will earn you a reward. Hearing this, Lam Han thought to himself with anticipation. It's a reward from the military, so it shouldn't be too stingy, right? The staff member enthusiastically invited him in with a cheerful voice. Enjoy your experience. The system on the screen lit up by a verifying user. Real name authentication successful. Name Lam Han. Profession second advancement. Beast Scholar. Level 15. Recommended instance. Tier Silver. The system continued to proceed to Silver tier instance. Or you may choose another. Without hesitation, Lam Han pressed confirm his voice, excited. Anna Tien Kok, let's go. The two tamed beasts cried out in unison, showing their readiness to accompany their master. The system displayed a message in a monotone voice. You have successfully selected the Silver tier instance. Commencing countdown. Instance loading. The bodies of the three were gradually pulled into another dimension. The screen showed the progress 30%, 50%, 80%, 99%, 100%. Instance loaded successfully. We wish you an enjoyable journey in the illusory void. The arena appeared a magnificent scene, like a palace built from light and technology. Lam Han's group landed facing a pack of ferocious wolves ahead. He stood there, his eyes cold, his voice steady. Old friends are we? Jack Ni, filled with anger, rushed forward with blazing spirit. You stinking bird, I'll show you who is truly worthy of being by master's side. Facing the fearsome wolf, she showed no fear, knocking it away with a single blow in a flash. She even provoked Tien Kok by pointing a thumb down at her. Hearing that, Tien Kok just gave a faint smile. Her voice was full of confidence. Is something so trivial really worth showing off? You little ant, you truly are naive. She raised her hand, creating a sparkling orb of light, and unleashed a technique that instantly sent the monsters behind her flying, displaying her superior power. Lam Han witnessed this. The two were about to argue again, but he quickly stepped in to stop them, his voice serious. We are all on the same team. You should love and get along with each other. Jack Ni pouted, her voice sulky. Master, I'm sorry, but I have no desire whatsoever to be close to this stinking bird. Tien Kok retorted with a firm voice. We are different species. There's no way I could love it either. Lam Han stood there, helpless against the two girls' impulsive personalities, thinking these two are quite a handful. Before he could dwell on it, a white wolf appeared above his head, looking furious. He knocked it away with one hand, growling, "Even you think you can bully me." Seeing this, the two girls rushed over, their voices anxious. "Master, are you hurt?" Jack Ni bowed her head, her voice full of remorse. "I'm sorry, Master. It's all because Tiankok failed to protect you properly." Lam Han looked at their worried faces and sighed gently. "It's all because we were fighting for your affection that your safety was compromised. From now on, we must face this battle seriously." The system suddenly displayed a warning notification. The third wave of beasts is approaching. Countless giant wolves appeared around them, their aura ferocious. The system continued, "This machine will not cause any real physical harm to the user, but it will provide a one-to-one pain sensation. If you feel you cannot continue, please abandon the training." Lam Han gave a faint, confident smile. "With this level of difficulty, I'm afraid even some rare combat-focused professions would struggle to handle this, but it suits me perfectly." A large wolf charged straight at him. He clenched his fists, his eyes burning with determination. "The greatest weakness of a Beastmaster is their limited personal combat ability, and my purpose for coming to the illusory void is to overcome that." He threw a powerful punch, sending the wolf flying in an instant. The two girls beside him witnessed this scene. They cheered, their voices full of admiration. "Master is so amazing." Lam Han smiled, satisfied. "Not bad, eh? It wasn't a waste to pour all my free attribute points into strength." The wolves began to howl, signaling the true start of the battle. The three of them formed a powerful team and charged straight at the enemy. Lam Han commanded decisively. "Anat, activate Berserk Tien. Kok, activate Swiftness." Although the two girls were displeased, they obeyed the order and charged forward to attack. Jack Ni grumbled, "I don't want to fight alongside that stinking bird, but it's Master's order." Tiankok retorted with equal harshness, "Same here. I will absolutely not hold Master back." Lam Han stood behind them, smiling with satisfaction, as he thought, "I'd like to see if these Gale Wolf Kings will strength can match A-Nuts, or if their speed can surpass Tiankok's." The two girls coordinated their attacks, one on offense and one on defense, fighting fiercely. Jack Ni shouted with a powerful voice, "Just lie down and die quietly, you mutts." At the Illusory Void Experience Center, a lavish and magnificent scene surrounded a group of people. Feng Dong stood there flirting and showing off, his voice boastful. "My Feng's great sword just vibrated." And just like that, the pack of beasts collapsed, all their fearsome might gone. Someone else chimed in. "Zhu Ting, it's a real shame you missed that." Zhu Ting stood right in front of him. Hearing that, she looked annoyed, her gaze turning cold. She replied firmly, "Sorry, I want to fight alone." This only seemed to make Feng Yong more interested, his eyes sparkling. "So this Ice Queen is really as cold as they say. Let's see just how I'll win her over." Suddenly the group realized something was wrong. Everyone was stunned. One person shouted in disbelief, "Holy crap. What's with the stats in this room? But at this rate, are they trying to break the record?" The final stage of the silver rank dungeon, but the clear time is only 8 minutes and 59 seconds. The player is Lin Han. The people watching were dumbfounded, their eyes filled with astonishment. He reached the final stage in under 9 minutes. Is he really about to break the record? Another person wondered doubtfully, who is this Lin Han anyway? Is he a disciple secretly trained by one of the major clans? A few people recognized the name, their eyes widening in surprise. Could it be Lin Han, the Beast-Tamer from our school, but a dirt poor guy like him? How could he possibly get a pass to the Phantom Illusion realm? It must be someone else with the same name. However, a clear mechanical announcement suddenly rang out from the silver level dungeon. A new record has been set. Time 9 minutes and 8 seconds. Record holder Lin Han. The crowd was stunned, unable to believe what they'd heard. They all gasped in unison. 9 minutes and 8 seconds. He actually broke the record. So Lin Han is actually that powerful. Inside the arena, Lin Han let out a weary sigh. But as he looked at the notification panel before him, a bright smile spread across his face. It's finally over. A monotone system voice announced, "You have received the reward. Poison thorns. Use poisonous thorn. Covered vines will erupt from the ground within a 100-meter radius around the user binding. While all targets identified as enemies, the 4 vines have a paralyzing poison. Skill duration 5 minutes. Cooldown 20 minutes. Automatically logging out. Returning consciousness. We hope to see you again." Lin Han held the skill book, a satisfied smile on his face. "I didn't expect the reward to be a skill book. This Phantom Illusion realm is actually pretty fun. Next time I'll give the gold rank dungeon a try." He quickly left the area, but a noisy crowd had already gathered outside, buzzing with discussion. One person shouted excitedly, "He actually did it. He broke the record. And he cut the old record time in half. This newcomer is insane." Another person chimed in, "Does anyone know this Master Lin Han? Please, could you introduce me?" Just as Lin Han stepped out, he saw the crowd surrounding him and panicked, wanting to escape. He thought, why did they even announce my full name this time? Isn't that a bit of an invasion of my privacy? Standing to the side, Xu Ting recognized him and cried out, "It really is him." Seeing this, the blonde guy behind her gritted his teeth, his eyes blazing with rage. "It's this punk again, stealing my spotlight. Damn it." Meanwhile, at the Military Command's Phantom Illusion Realm Control Center, a man noticed an anomaly and rushed to report it. "Commander, we have an abnormal data point from the Phantom Illusion Realm. A second advancement beast. Tamer broke the silver level dungeon record. His solo time is truly incredible. He cleared each wave of beasts in less than 3 minutes. That's a speed that even some third advancement classes can't achieve. The man called Commander stared straight ahead, his expression grave. Even if this person's tame beast is incredibly strong to achieve that as a second advancement, he's nothing short of a genius. We must recruit him for the army. He turned and gave a decisive order. Do a full background check on this person. I want his complete file on my desk by morning. The next day in the classroom, a crowd had gathered the air buzzing with lively chatter. A Tempest Wolf King faced Lin Han. Staring at the mountain of its brethren's bones at his feet, it was so terrified it began banging its head on the ground. A student exclaimed in amazement, Lin Han is seriously powerful. Feng Yong strode in from outside with a furious look on his face. He yelled arrogantly, Lin Han, you get out here now. His classmates watched the scene unfold. They immediately began to tease him. Feng Yong, what are you doing here? Not afraid little Lin's gonna beat you black and blue again. Feng Yong's eyes blazed as he snapped back. Shut your mouths and get Lin Han out here. The image of Shu Ting admiring Lin Han yesterday flashed in his mind, making his anger boil over. He thought grinding his teeth, breaking that record yesterday was just a fluke. Lately, my family spent a fortune on resources to get me to my second advancement. And that Lin Han dares to steal my spotlight. Just you wait, I'm going to beat you to a pulp. Lin Xiao was standing nearby. He waved his hand with a cheerful teasing tone. Make way, make way. Little Lin's already gone to the haunted mountain to level grind. He's preparing. Finding himself in a tough spot, he muttered in frustration. Damn it. This time they're even asking for materials. Son of a bitch, are they trying to push me to my death? The quest appeared before his eyes. Quest name, Whisper of the Ghost Ship, level 5-star. Quest objective 1, board the ghost ship and eliminate all the spirits. Quest objective 2, collect the materials, Fire Dragon's Flame, Grass Essence, and Ween's Core. Location Ghost Ship, Crimson Flame, Forest. That night at the ghost ship's dock, the deep sea stretched out into the darkness. Lam Han stood alone in the vast space, his gaze fixed and resolute, his heart filled with emotion. I was originally planning to go home, get some sleep, to recover my strength, and then do the quest. Now that's all ruined. 2 beautiful girls, Jack Nhi and Tien Kok, appeared beside him. Don't worry, master, one said cheerfully. Ainyat is here. These quests are a piece of cake. We'll solve it in a flash, Tien Kok added confidently. Tien Kok will protect you well, master. Lam Han sighed, a gentle smile on his face. Of course I trust you girls. We don't have much time. Let's get ready. The pitch-black sky ahead gradually began to change, signaling that the target was about to appear. A strange, hazy ship materialized in their line of sight. Ghost ship. Appearance time, 7 p.m. Lam Han observed with curiosity. I've heard Sister Bang tell the legend of the ghost ship before. It's a very famous dungeon that attracts many challengers, but most of them get scared out of their wits. No one really knows what horrors lie within. Suddenly a ghost lunged forward, trying to startle him. Lam Han calmly threw a punch, causing it to vanish in an instant. Whoa, it's a real ghost. But right after that, another monster appeared looking down at him with an arrogant smile. Lam Han gritted his teeth in anger. Son of a bitch. This bastard dares to laugh at me. He roared, his voice full of fury. You think I can't touch you, huh? He activated his thunder wings, soaring into the air, ready to fight. So what if you can fly? Today I'm going to show you the meaning of courting death. The ghost was smashed to pieces. The system announced successfully eliminated ghost. Experience points plus 0. Attention. You have reached the maximum limit that a Tier 2 class can withstand. You must accept the class change quest. Before completing the Tier 3 class change, you cannot gain any more experience. From above, Lam Han heard the announcement with excitement. Sister Bang was right. Lightning is truly the bane of all soul-type monsters. Ghosts belong to this category. Facing lightning is absolutely fatal, but as he looked down at the sea, he grew pensive. I can't even get a single point of experience now. What a waste. It's better to finish the quest quickly. The longer this drags on, the more anxious I'll get. Suddenly, a swarm of ghosts from above dove down to attack. As if he had anticipated it, Lam Han gave a swift command. Tien Kok, go purify them, she replied with a decisive tone. Understood, master. A powerful bolt of lightning struck down, wiping them all out. Thunderstorm descends. The system announced continuously, ghost eliminated. Experience points plus 0. Ghost eliminated. Experience points plus 0. Ghost eliminated. Experience points plus 0. Lam Han observed with a satisfied look, but a suspicion arose in his mind. These ghosts are no match for Tien Kok at all. A difficulty like this is at most on par with a 4-star quest. Why is it 5-star? Suddenly a mournful ear-piercing cry rang out. He saw the ghosts gradually merge, forming a colossal entity ready for battle. Ghost Captain level 25. On the opposite side, the captain was raising his gun, firing a shot toward the enemy. Witnessing this scene, Lam Han couldn't help but exclaim with newfound enthusiasm. Now that the ghost captain has joined the fray, this fight is finally getting interesting. He immediately ordered his pets, Ainyat attack Tien, Kok disrupt the enemy's vision. The rest of you provide support. As soon as he finished speaking, the group responded in unison. Roger. They immediately shot towards the enemy without a hint of hesitation, like arrows released from a taut bow. From behind, Tien Kok unleashed a brilliant lightning strike. It hit the opponent squarely. The creature's hand was momentarily paralyzed by the blinding flash. Without delay, Jiak Ni swung her fist directly into the enemy's stomach. It was as powerful as a boulder rolling down a mountain. On the other side, Thinkok offered praise. Hey, not bad. The other replied with a faint smile, but her eyes showed clear admiration. That lightning bolt of yours was pretty amazing, too. Lamhan watched this scene shaking his head with a bit of helplessness, sighing like an older brother trying to rein in his two mischievous little sisters. You two work together and take care of that guy first. Got it. Yes, master. Their excited voices rang out once more. The ghost captain became the target of the two girls. Jiak Ni unleashed a violent punch. As powerful as a tsunami crashing ashore, the creature could only grit its teeth and endure, helplessly sent flying onto the deck above the ship, rocking like a leaf in a storm. From the air, Thinkok once again gathered a massive bolt of lightning, like an electric mountain descending. Thunderstorm, a terrifying blast of energy, slammed directly into the ghost ship. Now safe on the shore, Lin Han exclaimed in amazement, "That was just showing off." Suddenly, the system panel appeared before his eyes with a notification. Successfully eliminated the ghost captain. Experience points added. Warning, you have reached the level cap for your second class advancement. You must accept a class advancement quest to break the limit. Until you achieve your third class advancement, you cannot accumulate any more experience. The two girls on the ship had also just completed their mission. They looked down at Lin Han, their smiles as radiant as two bright stars in the night sky. Master Ayi has taken care of the enemy. Ayi is incredibly powerful, Lin Han thought with a faint smile, analyzing the battle like a strategist. Even though it was the first time Ayi and Tiangu had teamed up, their effectiveness was anything but ordinary. The combined strength of ancient beasts truly isn't simple addition. Well, the ghost ship has been destroyed. The next mission is to find 3 types of materials. The quest panel appeared, The Ghost Ship's Whisper, a 5-star quest. Quest Objective 1, Hunt the Ghost, completed. Quest Objective 2, Collect Materials Fire, Dragon Flame, Grass, Spirit of the Grass, and Blade of the Wind. Location Ghost Ship, Crimson Flame Forest. The scene quickly shifted to the Crimson Flame Forest. Here the plants looked bizarre, like creatures from another world. Lin Han used his power to sense his surroundings, detecting countless lurking monsters. Their strength was unpredictable, like phantoms in the mist. Level 22, wind lizards, and level 22, grass lizards. They were guarding a flower that glowed with a faint blue light. It shimmered like jade in the moonlight. Having confirmed his target, Lin Han opened his eyes with a confident smile like a hunter who just spotted prized prey. I can't believe I found one of the materials this fast. Behind him, Tiangu immediately spoke up, her voice filled with excitement. Master, that flower must be the Blade of the Wind. Should I just use the usual trick and fly over to grab it? With the caution of a commander, Lin Han immediately replied, Don't. The branches there are too dense. It's not a good idea for you to fly through. Suddenly, Ayi raised her hand, her face as bright as the morning sun. Master Ayi can help. After all, Tiangu already brought back the first material. Just 10 minutes later, Tiangu was being chased by a horde of level 22 wind lizards. In her hand, she clutched a sparkling green orb that looked like a dewdrop. Standing before Lin Han, she reported proudly, Master, I've retrieved the spirit of the grass. Praise came instantly, a well-deserved reward. Tiangu, you did a great job. Not to be outdone, Ayi spoke up eagerly. Ayi wants to go too. Ayi wants to be praised by Master too. Lin Han laughed and replied, All right, Ayi, go right ahead. With an excited pose, Ayi immediately dove into the ground, drilling through the thick soil like a machine. Since her true form is an ant digging, it was as natural to her as flying is to a bird. She emerged at the base of the giant tree, looking invigorated, as if she'd just finished a fun game. Lin Han watched from a distance. He couldn't help but think in admiration. This little ant is pretty talented. Looks like the Blade of the Wind is about to be mine. The flower continued to radiate a brilliant light, shimmering like a star in the deep forest. But Lin Han gave a cautious reminder, Don't get complacent. We have to stay alert until the job is done. Ayi quickly reached out to pick the flower. Just then, something unexpected happened. Watching from a distance, Lin Han shouted in alarm, Look out, something's coming. A terrifying gust of wind swept in from out of nowhere. It swept Ayi and the flower into the air like leaves in a tornado. The wind lizards immediately took notice, their eyes locking on like hunters spotting their prey. When Ayi landed safely with the flower, she complained angrily, That stupid wind, it gave me away. Instantly, the area was surrounded by countless monsters forming an iron-tight circle with no escape. Ayi stood her ground defiantly. Ayi is not afraid of any of you. With the clear-headedness of a strategist, Lin Han gave his order. There are too many wind lizards. A direct fight would be bad for Ayi. Tiangu, get her back here now. Yes. Tiangu charged forward, confronting several wind lizards. With a single move, she knocked them away. Quick as lightning, she grabbed Ayi and launched into the air, ignoring the furious roars of the monster horde. You rotten bird, a monster roared. Tiangu retorted in a steely voice, Ayi Master ordered me to bring you back. Upon landing safely, Tiangu reported, Master, I've brought Ayi back. Good work. Lin Han smiled, but his eyes were serious. Now let's get out of here, fast. Behind them, countless wind lizards gave chase at terrifying speeds, like a sandstorm sweeping across the desert. The group fled in a hurry, their cries echoing through the vast crimson flame forest. It was a chaotic symphony of a life-or-death pursuit. Damn it, are they really still chasing us over a single flower? Lin Han muttered in frustration. At this rate, shaking these reptiles is going to be tough. Suddenly, the system panel appeared before his eyes. Character information: Beast-Tamer, Scholar, second class advancement level 20, strength 3,290, agility 2,570, spirit 2,470, constitution 2,000, free attribute points 700. He immediately began allocating his points. He decided to pour all of his free attribute points into agility. In an instant, his agility stat shot up to 3,270. Lin Han surged forward as fast as a bolt of lightning tearing through the darkness. Beside him, Yi cried out in shock, "Master, you're faster now." Lin Han smiled, his voice full of confidence. "That's right, Yi Tiangu, just hold on a little longer. We'll be safe once we reach what's up ahead." The two girls looked surprised. What's up ahead? What does Master mean by that? As they ventured deeper into the crimson flame forest, the scenery before them grew strange. Countless violent flames engulfed the area, creating a sea of fire that incinerated everything in its path. The monsters chasing them came to a sudden halt, daring not to go any further, as if they feared something even more terrifying. The group was astonished. "Master, those reptiles, they've given up the chase." "Master, did you come this way on purpose?" Lin Han nodded, his gaze as sharp as a general's. "That's right. Deep within the crimson flame forest lies the Overlord's territory. Even the alliance of wind lizards and grass lizards dares not confront them." A single burning leaf floated before his eyes, like a flame of destiny leading the way. "Besides our third target ingredient, the fire dragon flame, is the treasure of the fire lizard horde," he continued excitedly. "Let's head towards the high temperature zone. We're almost at the location of the fire lizard horde. Once we complete the mission, we'll head back and rest." The two girls replied enthusiastically. "All right." Ahead, countless level 22 fire lizards were resting by a scorching lava stream, like creatures from hell. Zhao Yi spoke up, her voice full of curiosity. "Master, look, those reptiles are bathing in lava." Lin Han narrowed his eyes, his gaze locking onto a deep blue light in the distance. "Found it. The fire dragon flame. The terrain here is wide open, perfect for Tiangu to let loose." Suddenly, the system panel appeared. "Congratulations, Master, you have activated a random mission. Mission name: Awakening. Objective: awaken the sleeping fire, lizard chieftain, and defeat it. Reward 1,000 Beast-Tamer points." Lin Han was surprised, quickly calculating his options like a chess player considering their next move. A fire lizard chieftain. So there's an even stronger one among them. 1,000 Beast-Tamer points is certainly tempting, but getting surrounded by the fire lizard horde would be extremely difficult to handle. He decided to complete the class change mission first. Then he'd figure out how to deal with the chieftain. He pointed forward and commanded, "Tiangu, go get the fire dragon flame." "Yes." With terrifying speed, Tiangu appeared by the plant like a whirlwind. Zhao Yi shouted smugly, "The stinky bird got it." "Master, we got it." Lin Han smiled. This mission wasn't difficult at all. Not bad. Now to figure out how to handle the fire lizard horde. Suddenly a flash of light shot towards them from behind, but they both easily dodged it. An arrogant voice rang out. "Well, you're a lucky one, kid." A group of people appeared. One of them pointed at Lin Han and shouted, "Hand over the fire dragon flame. I can make your death quick and much less painful." Lin Han remained as calm as a still lake. "And who might you people be?" "The moment you open your mouths, you demand my things. On what grounds?" The man laughed, his voice dripping with smugness. "Simply because I'm from the Magic Association, unlike some riffraff like you. My future is limitless." His information panel appeared: Leidong, level 18, Lightning Mage, member of the Magic Association. Lin Han quickly analyzed the information. The Magic Association. An organization that recruits people with awakened classes, but in reality it's just a toxic gang that extorts protection money from civilians. The man continued to growl. "If you know what's good for you, hand over the fire dragon flame now. I'll spare you." A man with a sly expression behind him chimed in, "Boss, wait. Look at the girls behind that brat." His gaze swept over Tiangu and Zhao Yi. Two beautiful young women with full chests. They're both absolute knockouts. Leidong smirked smugly, pointing at the two girls behind Lin Han. "On second thought, hand your girls over to me. Let us guys have a good time with them." Lin Han's brow furrowed. He replied with utter contempt, "So you're just worthless trash after all. How does scum like you deserve to show your face in public? You need to be completely eliminated to protect the environment." Leidong roared, pointing straight at him with a domineering voice. "What the hell are you babbling about, you little punk?" He declared arrogantly, "If you don't learn your place, I'll chop off all your limbs and throw you into the lizard's sea of fire." His lackeys cheered in unison. "Yeah." Tianhua waved his hand. A fireball erupted, aimed straight at Lin Han. "Kid Boss Lei, taking an interest in your women is him doing you a favor. You dare to resist, then it won't be as simple as just chopping off your limbs." Tianze chimed in from the back. "That's right." Lin Han heard their words. He remained completely unfazed. He simply let his two subordinates handle it. Yi rushed forward, delivering a flurry of kicks, each one landing a painful blow. "How dare you try to harm our master?" Tiangu added in a cold voice. "You're courting death." In the blink of an eye, all of Leidong's lackeys were sprawled on the ground. Lei Dong's eyes widened in disbelief. How are these two so strong? After the impressive display, Lin Han stepped forward, calmly, threatening them. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a level 20 beast scholar. And these two girls are my tamed beasts, he added with a slight smirk. They happen to be ancient fierce beasts. Tearing you to shreds would be child's play for them. Lei Dong gritted his teeth, trembling in fear as he thought humanoid tamed beasts. Is that even possible? But behind his back, he secretly prepared a ball of lightning, thinking, tamed beasts can't go far from their master. If I can just seriously injure this brat, I can use that opening to escape. Putting his plan into action, Lei Dong quickly threw the lightning ball at Lin Han from close range. But Tiangu was faster. She raised her hand, blocking it with her annihilation blast. As long as I'm here, you won't lay a finger on our master. Before the stunned Lei Dong could even react, Yi charged forward and landed a powerful kick to his stomach. You dare try to touch our master, Yi will beat you to death. She continued to kick him relentlessly, each blow filled with fury. I'll kill you. Seeing the situation getting out of hand, Lin Han quickly intervened. Yi, don't kill him. I still have a use for them. Obeying his command, Yi stopped and tied Lei Dong and his men up in a circle. Lei Dong asked in a panic, what are you going to do? He continued trembling. I advise you to let me go. If you dare to harm me, the Magic Association will hunt you down. Lin Han approached him with a cold smile, his gaze as sharp as a knife. There's no enmity between us. Why would I ever want to harm you? He grabbed Lei Dong by the head, making the man tremble uncontrollably. Besides, I have a little mission that I need you all to help me with. Lei Dong stammered in a trembling voice. What do you want? What do I want? I'm not sure yet, but first, let's just see how loud you can all scream. Their screams echoed throughout the entire mountain forest, but no one answered. At that moment, the entire group had been tied up by Lam Han with ropes dangling from high above. Loi Dong and his cronies screamed in terror, crying for help. Tien Kok, holding the rope and hovering in the air, shouted coldly, Haven't you eaten? Scream louder. Looking down at the mouth of the blazing volcano, Loi Dong wailed in panic, begging, Please have mercy. Whatever you do, don't let go. We were wrong. We were truly wrong. Please spare our lives. All around them, not only was the molten lava churning, but a pack of ferocious fire lizards was also lurking, their eyes gleaming as they waited to pounce on their prey. Lam Han observed the scene, his eyes sparkling with interest. Tien Kok is keeping them at this height okay? He asked, his voice full of meaning. Anat curiously chimed in, Master, what are you planning to do? Lam Han smirked and replied, Aren't we supposed to be dealing with the fire lizards? If you want to go fishing, you have to have bait. Loi Dong vaguely overheard him and asked with a trembling voice, Bait? Did you say bait? Just then, the rope binding him suddenly snapped. Lam Han continued coldly, Next, we need to make them cause an even bigger commotion. He ordered Tien Kok to drop Loi Dong's group onto a rock ledge in the middle of the lava stream. Below the fire, lizards immediately slithered towards them. Terrified Loi Dong frantically shot out bolts of lightning. Don't come here, don't come here. But these lizards seemed to be forged from steel, completely ignoring his lightning bolts. His terrified henchmen screamed, Brother Loi, your attacks have no effect on them. Help me. I don't want to die. The fierce fire lizards lunged forward. Their desperate cries for help echoed, help. Lam Han looked at the scene with contempt and snorted coldly, Useless trash. Tien Kok, protect them a little. Don't let them die just yet. Tien Kok smiled and nodded in acknowledgement. Understood, Master. She immediately unleashed her thunderstorm skill, raining it down. Bolts of lightning struck down from the sky, hitting the horde of fire lizards. Lam Han praised her with satisfaction. Very good, keep it up. Make it even more chaotic. Suddenly, the surface of the lava began to tremble. A massive pillar of fire erupted. A level 28 fire lizard king appeared majestically before everyone. Lam Han exclaimed with excitement, We've hooked a big one. He immediately gave the order, Tien Kok, make your move. Then he continued to command, his voice sharp. Excellent, you've drawn its aggro. Now pull the target over here. Tien Kok nodded and complied. Understood, Master. Standing by, Anat, her blood pumping with excitement, turned and asked, Master, what should we do with those 4 villains? Lam Han replied coldly, Forget them. With what little strength they have, they'll be dead in that swarm of fire lizards soon enough. He curled his lip and continued. Those guys were so skilled at robbing and killing, you can tell at a glance they're seasoned criminals. If this swarm of fire lizards doesn't kill a menace like that, I'll deal with them myself. Anat nodded, her eyes showing agreement as she smiled in approval. After giving the order, Lam Han focused on the task at hand, putting all other calculations aside for the moment. Seeing Tien Kok skillfully luring the fire lizard king toward them, Anat immediately rushed forward to attack. Understood, Master, with a deafening boom like a collapsing boulder. With her small frame, Anat threw a powerful punch that distorted the dragon's face. With a furious strike, she continuously landed mighty blows, causing its tough hide to crack open. Excellent, Anyat! She maintained her advantage first, testing her opponent's strength. Then with her long, model-like legs, she kicked the beast, sending it flying. Tien Kok immediately coordinated, not giving it a chance to breathe. As you command, Master. She acted decisively, not wasting a single moment. Lam Han watched with satisfaction. Even though the Fire Lizard King has a much higher level with Anyat and Tiankok's seamless coordination, we can definitely wear it down slowly. Just as he finished speaking, a piercing screech rang out, causing Lamhan to clutch his head in pain. What's wrong? The Fire Lizard King roared, creating a whirlwind that swept both girls into the air. It then launched a giant fireball, causing Lamhan to panic. This is bad, Anyat. Tiankok, get out of the way. Tiankok quickly used her own body to shield Anyat. The fireball slammed into a nearby mountain. It caused a terrifying explosion. Tiankok, though in pain, managed to land gently. Seeing her pained expression, Lamhan and Anyat couldn't help but worry. Tiankok, are you alright? He quickly checked her injuries. At level 20, it was difficult for the two of them to close the 8-level gap with the beast. The mission was important, but if Tiankok or Anyat were in danger, it would be an unacceptable loss. Master, I can still keep going. Tiankok gritted her teeth, surprising Lamhan with her resilience. Tiankok slowly flew back up. Master is doing something very important. We can't give up so easily. Besides, even if we retreat, the Fire Lizard King will pursue us. Anyat's eyes burned with determination. The great bird is right. The master's business is also Anyat's business. Anyat must help the master fulfill his wish. The two girls charged straight towards the beast. Master, rest assured, we will definitely help you complete the mission. That's right. Anyat and the great bird will do our best. Lamhan was moved. He hadn't expected the two girls to treasure and think of him so much. Watching them fight with all their might, he told himself he had to plan carefully to not let them suffer any more injuries. The Fire Lizard King's 3 massive bodies possessed a solid layer of defense. It made it difficult for Anyat and Tiankok to deal effective damage. Lamhan realized with a headache that a direct assault wasn't feasible. They needed to change tactics. Suddenly his face lit up as if he'd just had an idea. He spotted the wound on the beast's neck that Anhat had caused and immediately signaled to them both. Anhat, Tiankok, hold your ground. Find a way to widen the wound on the fire. Lizard King's neck. The two girls obeyed without question. Although they didn't know their master's intention, they trusted him completely. Anyat charged in attacking fiercely, aiming straight for the wound. Precisely. She persistently accumulated damage, bit by bit, widening the crack. As Anyat fell back, Lamhan immediately ordered Tiankok quick follow-up with an attack, receiving the signal. Yitrapa, though she directed lightning to strike the wound repeatedly. Understood, master. After a period of being tortured, the beast finally collapsed. But before they could celebrate, a familiar shadow rose again, stunning them both. Seeing the Fire Lizard King still full of life, they were disappointed. We fought for so long, and it was still no use. Lamhan's voice rang out deep yet sharp. It's still not enough. Anyat and Tiankok had only managed to inflict superficial wounds on the Fire Lizard King. He gathered his strength and shot into the sky at an incredible speed. The system displayed lightning wings activated. The copied lightning skill allowed him to accelerate, and in a flash, Lamhan surpassed both girls. But this was only effective for a solo attack. He rushed forward, fist held high, aiming straight for the bleeding wound on the beast's neck. I can copy and use their skills. That way, the damage will be much greater. The punch landed true like salt poured on a cut, a pain that went straight to the bone. A hint of a smirk touched Lamhan's face even as he focused all his strength. He channeled the lightning and suddenly thrust his hand into the open wound. You stinking lizard! This is 1 billion volts. The Fire Lizard King's massive body convulsed, shaking violently. This time you'll be nothing but a pile of burnt charcoal. After he took down the beast, the system announced, Mission Awaken and defeat the fire. Lizard King, complete, reward 1,000. Beast-Tamer, points received. Anyat and Tiankok cried out in joy. Thanks to you, Master, our levels went up too. That's great. Anyat is so much stronger now. Suddenly a pair of radiant wings appeared on Lamhan's back. He looked down at his bloodstained hand and let out a soft sigh. It's finally over. The shimmering wings slowly vanished. Lamhan swayed, exhausted, causing Anyat and Tiankok to rush over and support him. Master, are you okay? I just overexerted myself using that skill. I'm just a little tired. The 3 of them left the battlefield. That trash from the Magic Association is probably still trying to hold out. The Fire Lizard Horde will be here soon. Let's get out of here fast. We'll rest for a night, then head to the class advancement hall. The next morning, sunlight filled the air as beautiful as a painting. Well, it's supposed to be, Lamhan thought with a smile, even if I know this is just a comic. Then the system announced that the class advancement mission was complete. You have achieved the 3rd class advancement elite Beast-Tamer. He was satisfied. The 3rd advancement wasn't easy, and I even awakened 2 new skills. This mission was definitely worth it. The people around the announcement board murmured in awe. I'm pretty sure that mission was only posted the day before yesterday, and someone already finished it that fast. Incredible. Is that leveling speed even humanly possible? The receptionist burst out laughing, her eyes twinkling with amusement. Ha ha, look at all of you. It's like you've never seen the world before. Ever since I witnessed Mr. Lamb's freakish leveling speed, I don't think I'd be surprised to see the sun rise in the west. Lamhan slowly turned his head, his gaze resting on the 2 girls. Anyat Tiankok, how much stronger have you 2 gotten? Anyat looked up, unable to hide her pride. Master, she said excitedly, her voice bursting with energy. I feel so much stronger. I'm just overflowing with power. Lam Han hadn't expected such incredible results in such a short time. But Tiankok was just as impressive, radiating an indescribable confidence after her level up. The result left Lam Han stunned, his jaw hanging open. Looking at the two girls, he suddenly felt a pang of self-pity. This level up also unlocked a new combat form for me. They've been power leveled. Anat and Tiankok, these two, were definitely power leveled, to a perfect degree. But he quickly regained his composure. Even though we're only one level apart, the difference in our stats is already this big. He thought to himself, but then smiled. Well, they're my beasts, so the stronger they are, the better. He stared intently at the system panel, muttering, there are so many rewards for this third advancement. I haven't had a chance to look through everything yet. These skills all look amazing. I have no idea which one to pick. Without hesitation, Lam Han commanded the system to use all of his Beast-Tamer points to upgrade skills for Anat and Tiankok. The two girls' eyes lit up with curiosity. Master, what's this? Anat asked, her voice full of excitement. It's Host Fusion. Choose Fusion. This is so cool, to merge and become one with the host. That must be an incredible experience. Lam Han felt a bit flustered, his heart starting to race. If I combine Tiankok's power with Anat's agility, it would be far more powerful than just copying their skills, he mused. If I choose Fusion, then the next time I face a monster, like the Fire Lizard King, I won't be at a disadvantage again. But then a doubt crossed his mind. Are these two actually serious about this? Besides, other skills will unlock at the fourth advancement anyway. The two girls cheered, their eyes sparkling. Master is the best. Just pick a simple, strong skill this time. Thank you for picking our skills, Master. We have to find a chance to test them out right away. Just as Lam Han finished speaking, something unexpected caught his eye. The three of them stared at the system screen where a new mission had just appeared. Master. They were quite surprised, and yet exclaimed, whoa, that was fast. It seems that by completing the third advancement to Elite Beast-Tamer, the host has activated the mission, Contract a Third Beast. Mission reward, 1,500 Beast-Tamer points. Lam Han raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Contract a third beast and a reward of 1,500 Beast-Tamer points. That sounds pretty good. But unexpectedly, Anat burst into tears beside him. A mission like that is a sure thing, all profit and no risk. Tiankok quickly moved to comfort her. Even if Master contracts a new beast, he wouldn't abandon us, right, Master? Her voice was sweet, but her aura was anything but. Lam Han forced a smile and shook his head. Of course not. Our main priority right now is to keep leveling up. Besides, there's another task we need to handle next. Both girls looked impressed. Ooh, something important. At that moment, an announcement rang out. In 3 days, the major advancement exam for Fuchao No. 1 High School will begin. The principal of No. 1 High stood up, his dignified voice echoing, students. Today is the day the major academies are here at our school for recruitment. Lin Han clapped enthusiastically. He'd been so busy leveling up these past few days, he almost forgot about the promotion exam. Good thing I remembered in time. Suddenly, a familiar voice startled him. Master Ayi doesn't want to stay in here anymore. Turns out both girls had been locked inside the beast taming space. Ayi whimpered, Master, where are you? Tiangu gently comforted her, her voice as soft as if soothing a child. There. Don't cry anymore. Lin Han looked at them, his expression clearly troubled. Today's event is a formal occasion. It probably wouldn't be appropriate for Ayi and Tiangu to appear. He sighed. But to lock them in the beast taming space, a place previously used just to store miscellaneous junk, is truly a great challenge for both of them. The principal of First High stepped forward, his deep, warm voice echoing. Let's give a warm round of applause to welcome the leaders and representatives from the prestigious academies joining us today. He turned, gesturing formally as he introduced them one by one. It is my great honor to introduce Director Li Dujie from Northski Academy, along with Director Liu Tianyi from Azure Sky Academy. Tianjiao, standing beside him, had his eyes light up, unable to hide his excitement. Whoa! The directors of the two top academies in the Dragon Empire are both here. They recruit so few students each year, let alone coming to a small place like ours. He turned to Lin Han, his voice brimming with excitement. Little Lin, do you want to join Azure Sky or Northski? Lin Han smirked slightly, his gaze sweeping over the crowd before stopping on a man who exuded an imposing aura. Compared to those two academies, I'm more curious about that representative. Which academy is he from? He pointed towards the man with the powerful demeanor. It turned out to be Ye Tai-shan, the head of the military academy. The principal continued, his voice booming. Let's give another warm round of applause to welcome the representative from the military academy. Ye Tai-shan stepped forward with his arms crossed and a dignified air. Hello, students. Tianjiao whispered in Lin Han's ear, his voice full of admiration. The military academy, its status is even higher than Azure Sky and Northski. That's the real gathering place for masters. He nudged Lin Han with his shoulder and grinned from ear to ear. Little Lin, what level are you now? Have you signed a contract with a tamed beast yet? I'm already level 15. If we get a chance later, let's go all out in a battle. Sound good? Lin Han smirked, replying with a challenge. You're on, Fatty Long. You seem to have gotten quite a bit stronger lately, huh? Tianjiao laughed sheepishly and waved his hand modestly. How could I compare to you? Didn't you say a few days ago you were about to reach your third advancement? Suddenly, a sharp, cold voice cut in, dripping with sarcasm. You've got some nerve spouting nonsense. It was Feng Yong. He glanced at Lin Han, not forgetting to add a taunt. Third advancement, only a simple-minded idiot like Long Tianjiao would believe your made-up stories. If you're not strong enough, just admit it. What's the need to brag like that? An enraged Tianjiao stepped forward, ready to teach Feng Yong a lesson. Feng Yong, why do I have to run into you everywhere? If you want to fight, I'm not afraid of you. Lin Han quickly raised a hand to stop him, a faint smile on his face. Oh, if it isn't young Master Feng Yong, I didn't expect to see you here. He narrowed his eyes, his voice calm but sharp. About that bet you lost to me for 100,000 Tianlong currency. You still haven't paid it all back yet, you know. Running into you by chance is better than arranging a meeting. Why don't we settle the bill right now? Feng Yong was momentarily startled and quickly avoided Lin Han's gaze. Lin Han, don't get cocky. Today you are absolutely no match for me. Lin Han gave a mischievous smile. A sharp glint flashed in his eyes. Is that so? He glanced at his rival, thinking to himself, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you. Just then, an announcement rang out signaling the official start of the promotion exam. This competition will be divided into two parts, a level check and a practical combat drill. Although the level check round won't determine the final result, it will help students recognize their own strength and that of their peers, while also assisting with team formation. Before entering the second round, the practical combat drill. The combat drill focuses on assessing the candidate's ability to adapt on the battlefield and their teamwork. The top 3 teams will receive a special resource package from the academy, along with priority selection rights. However, to prevent freeloading or cheating, the academy will evaluate based on 2 criteria, individual combat performance and a composite score. A solemn voice rang out. I now declare the promotion exam officially open. I hope you all will perform at your best and successfully join the academy of your dreams. The level check will begin immediately. Students, please line up in class order. The testing orb will detect levels 10 through 20, ensuring there is absolutely no cheating. Class 1 Dian Kun, Profession Chicken Farmer, Level 10. Class 1 Taida, Profession Blacksmith, Level 11. On the other side, by being stood in deep thought, her heart filled with worry. I wonder how far little Han has gotten with preparing his tamed beasts. This exam is tied to his entire future. Lost in thought, she suddenly burst out in an angry voice, startling the students around her. Who cares about him anyway? She muttered, still furious that Lin Han had once refused the void beast she had worked so hard to capture. Just then, a sarcastic voice rang out, piercing her ears like a sharp thorn. Feng Yong sneered, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Teacher Bai, if you're going to play favorites with a student, you should at least pick someone worthy. Every other word out of your mouth is Lin Han. I really don't get what's so special about that piece of trash that he deserves so much of your special attention. Bai Bing clenched her fists, her brows furrowed as she snapped back in a strained voice. If you're here to be tested, then hurry up and get it over with. Dare to say one more word about my student and don't blame me for turning nasty. Feng Dong sneered smugly and replied, even if I don't say it, I'm still many times stronger than Lin Han. Today, I'll open your eyes to what real innate talent is. 4 orbs of light flashed, displaying the number 16. Bach Bang was momentarily stunned. Class 4, Feng Dong Giant Star. Elite level 16. The surrounding students began to whisper and murmur. The young master achieved the highest level so far with his first try. I doubt anyone can beat a score like that. The deans from prestigious academies will definitely be fighting to recruit him. Feng Dong didn't miss the chance to take a jab at Lin Han. See the difference between you and me clearly now. Right now, I'm the strongest one in all of Natrung. Lin Han just smirked and calmly replied, the strongest in Natrung, I wouldn't be so sure. After all, your record has already been easily broken. A stunned Feng Dong turned around just as the sound of a finger snap came from Lin Han. The crowd gasped in amazement. Class 5, Lang Lang Tweet Storm Grandmaster, level 17. Holy crap, there's always a higher mountain. No wonder she's one of Nat Trung's twin prodigies. The principal of Nat Trung immediately spoke up, his voice full of pride. Dean's fellow students, Lang Lang Tweet is the pride of our Nat Trung Academy. Not only are her achievements excellent, but her innate talent is also truly outstanding. The invited guests buzzed with excitement. Her level and class are both exceptional. If her combat sense keeps up, joining our Bakhtian Academy will be no problem at all. The representative from Tantan Academy also nodded. Student Lang is indeed an outstanding prospect. Our Tantan Academy is in great need of talent like her. The commander of the Huyan Hu Control Center suddenly spoke up. Principal Tu Kong, I heard your esteemed school has a Beast-Tamer named Lin Han, who along with student Lang is known as one of Nhat Trung's twin prodigies. Is he here today? The principal hummed noncommittally. Before he could answer, the announcer's voice rang out. Next up, Class 6, Lin Han. Hearing the name, the commander smiled knowingly. Lin Han, the kid who broke the Huyan Hu realm's record. What kind of surprise will you pull this time? Feng Dong taunted again. In front of this testing device, all fakers are exposed. Lin Han, I'm waiting to see how you'll make a fool of yourself. Bak Bang snapped angrily. This little brat? He really needs a good thrashing. Lin Han quickly stepped forward and gently placed a hand on Bang's shoulder to calm her. The only way to deal with a disruptive clown like him is to hit him with a slap so hard it stings. He then added confidently, I'm eager to get started. Seeing his determined expression, a spark of faith ignited in Bang. Go on. But as the principal had mentioned before, the crystal orb could only measure power up to level 20. Lin Han, who had already reached his third advancement, stepped forward, filled with curiosity about the upcoming result. He gently placed his hand on the orb, but immediately a sense of unease washed over him. Is this shaking normal? Standing beside him, Bang couldn't hide her worry. I've never seen this happen before. Suddenly, the crystal orb couldn't withstand the pressure. It cracked and then shattered before the stunned eyes of the teacher and student. Damn, why did it explode? Long Tian Q exclaimed in shock. Holy hell, what just happened? Bang rushed over, asking worriedly, Lin Han, are you hurt? Lin Han sighed in relief and answered gently, Phew, I'm fine. But Bang was still puzzled, muttering, why would the testing device suddenly break like that? Don't tell me it expired. But it must have been thoroughly inspected before a major exam like this. Lin Han broke into a cold sweat, thinking to himself, it couldn't be because my level is too high, right? No way. Standing not far away, Feng Dong burst out laughing gleefully. Ha ha ha! This must be because your power is so pathetic that even the testing device couldn't handle it. Lin Han, if I were you, I'd definitely just withdraw from the exam. Just then, Tao Tong appeared chiming in with a sarcastic tone. That's right. Not only can he not take the test yet, but he also broke the only testing device. Truly lawless. Lin Han glanced at Tao Tuong, thinking to himself, the principal said he would punish Tao Sung. So why is this guy still here? His backing must be powerful. Bang quietly reminded him, that's Tao Tuong Tao Sung's twin brother. He's also the proctor for this exam. He's always held a grudge about you reporting Tao Sung. Be careful. Tao Tuong stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Honorable superiors, principal deans, Lin Han has damaged public property and is unable to complete the level assessment test. I propose that his qualification to participate in the practical combat test be revoked. Startled, Lin Han strode forward to warn him. A proctor shouldn't bring personal grudges into the examination hall. He then snatched Tao Tuong's name tag. But Tao Tuong just let him do it unfazed. A proctor shouldn't bring personal grudges into the examination hall, Tao Tuong replied in a cold voice. Lin Han, don't even try to save this. The other deans agreed. His level is so weak, it can't even be tested, and on top of that, he's a Beast-Tamer. There's no point in him participating in the combat test. It's just too difficult to nurture a Beast-Tamer without massive resources. Just then, the principal appeared, his face tense. Lin Han, you heard what the dean said, didn't you? Lin Han cried out in surprise. Feng Dong chuckled smugly. Tao Tuong also thought to himself, unable to advance, Lin Han's career probably ends here. But then Principal Tu Kong spoke up unexpectedly. Shouldn't a person's strength be judged by their actual combat performance? The commander of the Mystic Illusion Control Center nodded and continued. The ranking test is just for gathering data. The practical combat round is what's truly decisive. Your current method has everything backward. Will you really be able to select outstanding talent this way? Hearing this, the two directors froze and coughed lightly. Ahem, ahem. Supervisor Ye's words have jolted us awake. We should consider the performance out of this student in the second round. Who knows, there might be a surprise. Commander Ye said with a smile, then asked, Headmaster, is there any problem with this arrangement? Barton gave a slight smile and replied, no problem at all. Thank you for being willing to give Lin Han a chance. Lin Han smiled confidently, his eyes sparkling. Supervisor Ye from the military academy. He truly lives up to his reputation, noble, fair, and strict. Bai Bing leaned in and whispered to him, I heard he's always strict and fair. I never expected he'd speak up for you. Little Han, this opportunity wasn't easy to get. Bai Bing joyfully shook Lin Han's shoulders, her voice full of excitement. You have to perform really well later. Make those who look down on you hang their heads in shame. Lin Han nodded curtly. Yeah, I know. Feng Yong, standing nearby, laughed gleefully, his eyes filled with contempt. Lin Han, you sure are lucky. But so what if you get to join the practical combat round? Trash is still trash, no matter where you put it. In the end, it's still just trash. He laughed boisterously, as pleased as if he'd hit the jackpot. Lin Han remained calm, completely unfazed by the provocation. He raised an eyebrow, his sharp gaze fixed directly on Feng Yong. And who do you think you are? You get a little bit of favor and suddenly you think you're a big shot. Keep running your mouth and I won't hesitate to deal with you myself during the battle. Lin Han's voice seethed with killing intent, making Feng Yong tremble uncontrollably, unflinching. He continued to provoke him. If you've got the guts, then let's meet in the practical combat match. Feng Yong nodded, accepting the challenge. Fine. When the time comes, you'll see just how I'm going to crush you. The four headmasters held up a megaphone, their voices echoing across the field. Next up is the second practical combat round. Students are free to form teams with a maximum of 3 members per team. This test will be broadcast live. All the school's department heads will be watching your every move. Hearing the announcement to form teams, Long Tianjiao immediately puffed out his chest with excitement. Little Lin, let's team up. This big bro will carry you. I'll plow a path and get you out of this mess. Lin Han smiled, warmly touched. Then I'll be counting on you, fatty. Hearing this, Tianjiao's face lit up with pride. Easy, easy. Just then, Shu Ting timidly approached her, gaze shy. Student Lin Han, I'm shooting from class 3. Excuse me, may I join your team? Lin Han paused and turned to Tianzhao. The chubby guy grinned slyly and whispered, Little Lin, your love life is really blossoming, huh? Even the belle of class 3 is actively seeking you out. Lin Han frowned and shook his head. I don't recall this shooting at all. Seeing her worried expression, he hesitated. Teaming up randomly could be risky from exposing his identity to the danger of failing in the Celestial Valley. After a moment of consideration, Lin Han gently refused. Sorry, Student Shu, our team is already full. You'd be better off finding another team, Tianzhao whispered teasingly in his ear. Little Lin isn't a team of 3 the perfect size. Team battles are so boring without a girl. Lin Han scowled and snapped, When are you going to get over that bad habit of judging people by their looks? Xu Ting shook her head, her eyes determined. No. Right now, there's definitely no team stronger than yours here. Lin Han, I know it was you who broke the 6th record of the Mystic Illusion realm a few days ago. By following you, I'll have a chance to win the championship. She continued to plead with a sincere voice. Please give me a chance. Even though I'm only a level 15 elite knight, I promise I absolutely will not drag you down. Assessing the situation, Lin Han noticed Xu Ting's sincerity. This girl seemed genuine, not the type to pull tricks in a fight. Tianzhao also chimed in with his support. Little Lin, she's practically begging. Just let her join. He kept repeating, Little Lin, Little Lin, Little Lin, until Lin Han sighed in exasperation. Fine, I agree, okay? Xu Ting's eyes lit up as she cheered. That's great. Lin Han showed the registration form to Bai Bing. She took it, glanced over it, and asked in surprise, This is Xu Ting from class 3. Lin Han nodded. Yeah, her profession fits our team structure pretty well. So we let her join. Bai Bing glanced over at Lengling Shui and sighed. I was originally going to recommend Lengling Shui for your team. Your chances of winning the championship would have been a bit higher. But that jerk Feng Yong snatched her up first. I have no idea what empty promises he made to lure Ling Shui over. Lin Han reassured her confidently. Sister Bing, don't worry. This championship, we're definitely going to win it. Bai Bing blushed and stepped back, mumbling, Who's worried about you? I was just afraid you wouldn't find any teammates and would end up embarrassing our class 6. Lin Han chuckled and nodded. Right. No matter what happens, I can't let Teacher Bai lose face. With a serious voice, Bai Bing reminded him that he must be careful. If anything unexpected happened, then she clutched the paper, gathered all her courage, and stepped forward to hug Lin Han tightly. Her warm, deep voice instructed, Contact me immediately. Don't try to force yourself. Lin Han blushed and replied softly, Yes. At the transfer gate, Tianzhao and Xu Ting were already waiting. Tianzhao called out excitedly, Linzi, let's go. Hearing his voice, Lin Han quickly walked over, thinking to himself, with the support from Sister Bing Fatty Long and Xu Ting for this combat drill, I can't hide my strength anymore. The scene changed to the Huayuan Forbidden Land. An announcement echoed everywhere. The students participating in this combat drill have been divided into 3 zones. Bronze, silver, and gold. The higher the zone's level, the more points you get for defeating beasts. Lin Han narrowed his eyes and muttered, So this is the location for the combat drill. The announcement continued, Please take good care of the scoring bracelets issued by the school. This device can open announcement channels, chat track the team rankings, and call for help in case of danger. We invite everyone to choose a zone that matches your strength and try your best to accumulate points. Over here, Feng Yong charged forward aggressively with an arrogant laugh. Ha 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 ha! They're all just small fry. This is no challenge at all. An announcement rang out. Team Feng Yong has defeated 2 level 8 fire lizards, receiving 80 points. Lengling Shui attacked gracefully with just a flick of her fingers. The fire lizards instantly turned into sparkling crystals. The announcement continued. Team Feng Yong has defeated 4 level 8 fire lizards, receiving an additional 160 points. The combat drill was being broadcast live. It left everyone in awe. Looking at the rankings, they commented, Lengling Shui is truly impressive. It's only been 10 minutes and she's already at the top of the board. This kid has high talent and strong teammates. I'm afraid their team will win the championship soon. But while other teams were constantly scoring, Lin Han's team remained at a perfect 0. Cao Xiang sneered contemptuously. All the other teams are scoring points, yet Lin Han's team has got nothing. What an absolute embarrassment. The other teachers also began to whisper, Isn't Lin Han a Beast-Tamer? This team really isn't worth having any expectations for. But Bai Bing still had faith in her student. Her gaze was resolute. These short-sighted people, Little Han's potential will leave them all in shock. Suddenly the announcement board flashed bright red with an urgent warning. Warning, your team has entered the white-silver leveling zone. This area contains beasts from level 10 to 20. Long Tianzhao panicked, his voice trembling. Holy crap, little Linzi, you actually brought us to the white-silver zone. Lin Han thought smugly to himself. If this fatty knew I used to train in the white-silver zone, his eyes would probably pop out of his head. From the scoring bracelet, Feng Yong's taunting voice echoed. Feng Yong Lin Han, yours truly is the best in this school right now. You'll never be able to catch up. I've already killed all the beasts in the bronze zone. If you want to earn points, go to the white-silver zone and die. Ha ha. Lin Han smirked and cursed internally. So childish. Tianzhao muttered in frustration. That bastard. That's leeching off women and still showing off. Xu Ting added with a look of disgust. He harassed me before, so I know exactly what kind of person he is. A system notification suddenly flashed brightly before his eyes. Congratulations, host, for activating the hunting mission. The mission details appeared: defeat 10 golden level beasts. Current progress 0%. Mission reward 1,000 beast taming points. After reading it, Lin Han smirked, thinking to himself, this mission is practically tailor-made for me. It was the perfect time to test the new third-tier skill he had just obtained on some golden level beasts. He turned to reassure Tianzhao and Shuting with a calm voice. Don't worry. Even if they manage to clear out the entire bronze zone, they're no threat to us. After all, their points are only worth about 1/3 of the beasts in the white-silver zone. Tianzhao frowned worry clear on his face. But with our strength, can we even take down a white-silver level beast? What if we get overwhelmed and killed by them instead? Shuting also spoke up, her voice full of caution. Furthermore, the white-silver level beasts have started to consciously form packs, most of them move in groups. Once we face them, the pressure will be immense. Lin Han smiled, completely unfazed, and began to assign tasks. You guys just need to run when you see a beast. Leave clearing them out to me. Once we've accumulated enough points, we'll head straight for the golden leveling zone. Hearing this, Tianzhao and Shuting couldn't help but be startled, their hearts pounding. Go to the golden zone. Lin Han nodded, his eyes sharp. That's right. The beasts in the golden zone give the most points. If we want to win the championship, how could we not know that? The scene changed to the golden zone. A level 18 stinking hyena, a white, silver-ranked beast, suddenly appeared, radiating a terrifying aura. Tianzhao trembled slightly but still managed to say, theoretically, you're right. But it's not that I'm afraid of this. Before he could finish, Lin Han had already clenched his fist. He charged forward, unleashing a powerful punch that sent the hyena flying before Tianzhao's astonished eyes. Yelp, yelp. From behind, a pack of other hyenas snarled as they approached. Tianzhao quickly shouted, Lindsay, be careful. Without hesitation, Lin Han unleashed a sweeping attack, clearing out the enemies. The system immediately announced, Team Lin Han has successfully defeated 5 level 18 stinking hyenas. Points plus 450. Tianzhao's eyes went wide, unable to hide his admiration. A level 18 beast. Lindsay took it down just like that. Xu Ting was no less surprised, muttering, Did I really latch onto such a powerhouse? Lin Han glanced at them, his voice firm. What are you thinking about? Do you want to follow me to the golden zone or not? But while the two were still pondering, Lin Han continued to attack. The system repeatedly announced, successfully defeated level 18 stinking hyena, experience points plus 900. Successfully defeated level 18 stinking hyena, experience points plus 900. Successfully defeated level 18 stinking hyena, experience points plus 900. Tianzhao and Shuting were now completely convinced. Without any more hesitation, they shouted in unison, Let's go! Of course we're going! At that moment on the live broadcast screen, a dazzling red warning appeared. Team Lin Han Long Tianzhao Shuting has entered the white-silver leveling zone. Outside, a teacher angrily criticized Bai Bing. Miss Bai, is that student of yours Lin Han out of his mind? Why would he take Shuting to the silver zone? If anything happens to my student, I won't forgive him, Bai Bing calmly replied in a firm voice. Ms. Li, please calm down. Lin Han wouldn't do something he's not confident about. Meanwhile, Cao Xiang, standing behind them, sneered with a voice full of sarcasm. Ha ha ha, I think he knows he can't win first place, so he's pushing his teammates to their deaths. I can't believe Lin Han's character is so shameless. Bai Bing shot back coldly. Her eyes as sharp as blades. Instructor Chao, why do you keep belittling our school students? Where are your professional ethics? Cao Xiang snorted, his voice filled with dissatisfaction. I'm just worried these incompetent brats will tarnish the school's reputation, that's all. The Silver Zone isn't a place for rookies like them to run wild. If something happens, the consequences will be severe. The other teachers didn't bother to hide their contempt for Lin Han. They shook their heads, expressing pity for his two teammates. It was obvious that Tian Chao and Xu Ting both possessed high-tier classes. And yet, they were dragged into danger by Lin Han. But just then, something unexpected happened. Lin Han's team score suddenly shot up like a storm. The system announcement echoed. Lin Han's team has successfully eliminated 5 level 18 silver-ranked stinking hyenas. Team score increased by 450. The entire crowd gasped in astonishment, their eyes wide as they stared at the leaderboard. What's going on? Commander Ye couldn't hide his surprise either, exclaiming, Oh, is that Lin Han? The scoreboard continued to jump, increasing by another 120 points. Miss Li, who had just been criticizing Bai Bing, was dumbfounded. My God, the score is going up again. Bai Bing immediately signaled to the technical team, her voice decisive. Please switch the surveillance camera to Lin Han's team now. The technician responded quickly, right away. On the screen, Yi was rampaging, tearing apart the stinking hyenas. Above, Tianqiong was calling down brilliant bolts of lightning on the vicious beasts. The flashes of electricity lit up a corner of the sky. Oh, Ms. Li marveled, her eyes lighting up. So beautiful. Could they really be Lin Han's tamed beasts? The head teachers standing behind were speechless, their mouths agape. These two tamed beasts are far from ordinary, one teacher remarked, his voice full of admiration. They're definitely Lin Han's trump card. It seems it's not like Instructor Chao said at all. Cao Xiang furrowed his brow, still stubbornly unconvinced. So what if he has rare tamed beasts? That doesn't prove anything. Lin Han is strong enough to rampage through the Silver Zone, he emphasized, his voice sharp. There are so many silver rank beasts. What can just 2 tamed beasts possibly do? Just then the system announcements rang out again and again, as if rubbing salt in the wound of Chao Xiang's doubt. Lin Han's team has successfully eliminated 3 level 15 Snow Howler beasts. Team score increased by 225. Lin Han's team has successfully eliminated 6 level 12 Swift Wind Wolves. Team score increased by 360. Lin Han's team has successfully eliminated 4 level 17 Snow Ridge Leopards. Team score increased by 340. Ms. Li cheered, unable to hide her joy. Lin Han's 2 tamed beasts are like mobile point earning machines. They're cleaning out the entire silver zone. In contrast, Chao Xiang remained stubborn, refusing to admit it. At this rate, Lin Han's team could very well take first place. Bai Bing smiled triumphantly and turned to Ms. Li, her voice filled with pride. So do you still think Lin Han is dragging your class's shooting to her death? Ms. Li quickly waved her hands, forcing a laugh. No, I was just joking with you earlier, Ms. Bai. Don't take it seriously. At that moment, Bai Bing looked up at the screen, her heart filled with excitement. No wonder he refused the Void Beast. Turns out Lin Han already had a much stronger option. Outside, the cheers were deafening and incessant. They're in 10th place. Wait, they've already climbed to 7th. The crowd was in an uproar, their eyes glued to the screen, witnessing Lin Han's team perform a miracle, step by step. On the dazzling, energy-filled battlefield, Lin Han and his teammates fought with all their might to rack up points. 2 hours later, their score continued to climb. Lin Han's team had just taken down a level 19 Thunder Howler Beast, earning them 95 points and boosting their team's ranking to 5th place. But just a moment later, they had already risen to 3rd, leaving Tian Chao and Xu Ting to do nothing but stand aside and clap and cheer. After clearing out the beasts in the area, Lin Han turned back his voice firm. The beasts here have been cleared out. Let's find another spot and keep going. Tian Chao's eyes widened in shock, unable to hold back his praise. Little Lin, are you really one of the people who awakened with us? Leng Lingxue's leveling up was already insane, but you're even more terrifying than she is. Xu Ting immediately chimed in full of admiration. To be at the 2nd advancement and achieve this kind of combat power, I'm afraid there's no one else in the world who can do it. Hearing this, Lin Han just chuckled. Who told you guys? I'm at the 2nd advancement. The 2 of them were stunned, their mouths and eyes wide open. They exclaimed in unison, not 2nd advancement. Don't tell me you're already at the 3rd advancement. Tian Xiao reached out to ruffle Lin Han's hair, his voice teasing. Little Lin, how long has it been? You're already at the 3rd advancement. Are you using cheats or something? Lin Han quickly pushed his hand away, frowning. Hey, talk is fine, but keep your hands to yourself. After that, the group followed Lin Han forward. The silver zone can no longer keep up with us. Let's go. I'll clear the way. Let's head to the gold zone, everyone. He announced, his voice full of confidence. Tian Chao laughed from behind. Whatever Boss Lin says goes. We're latching onto this powerhouse for the ride. Outside the battlefield, Ms. Li couldn't hide her astonishment. What he actually wants to go to the gold zone to level up. Standing nearby, Teacher Bai thought worriedly, this is too dangerous. Can Lin Han handle this? Meanwhile, Chao Xiangde sneered sarcastically. What an overconfident fool. Does he really think that just because he can fight a beast in the silver zone, he's invincible? Bai Bing immediately shot back in a sharp tone. Teacher Cao, how can you be so ignorant? Can't you see that the strength of Lin Han's 2 spirit beasts could crush even a regular gold level beast? She continued bluntly, instead of standing here being cynical, you should have a little faith in your students. That's what a proper teacher should do. Chao Xiang was speechless, only managing an oh. Inwardly, he gritted his teeth and thought, if it weren't for that Lin Han, my brother Chao Xiang wouldn't have gone to prison. A venomous look flashed in his eyes as he secretly pulled something out, telling himself, this time, no matter what, I have to take him down. It's time to team up with Feng Yong. At the border of the bronze and silver training zones, Feng Yong and Leng Langxue were busy wiping out ferocious beasts. At this rate, our score will shoot up like a rocket. Feng Yong laughed smugly. That useless trash Lin Han. Titu will never be able to catch up. Just then his phone pinged. He quickly opened it to see a message from Chao Chong. Lin Han has climbed to 2nd place in the rankings. He's even about to enter the gold zone. The message urged him, hurry up and farm more points if you have to go into the silver zone. The beasts are more densely packed there. Leng Langxue turned back her voice cautious. Let's just stick to killing the monsters here. Let's not go any deeper. It'll be a pain if we provoke any silver level beasts. But when she looked up, she couldn't find Feng Yong. Where did he go? Did a beast come through here? Suddenly his voice echoed from a distance. Leng Langxue, hurry up. Let's team up and kill this thing. She looked over stunned to see Feng Yong facing off against a level 20 gibbon demon ape. A look of triumph flashed in his eyes as he thought, good thing Chao Chong told me where this beast was. If I can just take this thing down, victory is mine. But the gibbon demon ape was no easy foe. He yelled in a panic, damn it, how is it so fast? Nearby, Leng Langxue quickly summoned ice from the sand, unleashing her ice flower water technique. A sharp stream of ice hit the beast's chest, causing it to roar in fury. Roar, roar, roar. But she immediately frowned, her voice full of irritation. Didn't I tell you not to provoke the silver level beasts? Stop complaining for now. Hurry up and help me kill it. Feng Yong quickly replied, full of confidence. Just work with me and that Stormmaster weapon the Chao and Feng families promised you will be as good as yours. But Leng Langshui suddenly realized that Feng Yong had dragged her into deep trouble this time. If I'd known, I would have joined Lin Han's team from the start, she thought with regret. The layer of ice on the Gibbon Demon Ape's chest shattered. It charged straight at Leng Langshui with fierce momentum. She quickly used her Ice Flower Water attack again, but a level 20 beast isn't so easily defeated by the same old trick. It roared, leaping high into the air, completely ignoring her attack. It didn't even pay attention to my attack. Panicked, Leng Langshui raised both hands to block the blow, sweat pouring down her face in fear. Just then, a figure shot forward. The divine beast appeared just in time, ramming into the Gibbon Demon Ape. It saved Leng Langshui from the Grim Reaper's scythe. Her eyes widened in astonishment as she exclaimed, Lin Han. He walked over calmly and asked, Why is it you two? In its heavenly horned ant form, Bai Bing roared its sharp claws, tearing the opponent apart. Blood splattered everywhere, mixed with the beast's painful shrieks. At the same time, Tiangu, its eyes blazing with killing intent, and flapped its wings and dove through the wind. Bai Ling nimbly shot out silk to dodge the enemy's deadly blow, while simultaneously landing a fatal strike, causing the beast to scream in agony. Once it was over, all three returned to their human forms. Target eliminated, leaving behind a bloody battlefield, the tense atmosphere began to fade. Suddenly, Bai Ling stared intently at the beast, her eyes flashing as if she'd noticed something unusual. She thought to herself, how could a level 20 Gibbon Demon Ape fall so easily? Are Lin Han's spirit beasts really this powerful? Suddenly, a friendly voice came from behind them. It was Lin Han. He walked over leisurely, a look of concern on his face. He asked, What's wrong with you two, with this little strength? You actually dared to provoke a level 20 beast who gave you that kind of courage, huh? Leng Langshui instinctively turned to look at Lin Han. Just then, he glanced over at Feng Yong and was slightly startled. Lin Han narrowed his eyes, observing Feng Yong from behind. His expression was pensive, as he quietly thought. A moment ago, the fluctuation of killing intent indicated a beast was attacking a student. I thought it was just some unlucky person. If I had known Feng Yong was here, I would have intervened sooner. At that moment, Feng Yong was carefully touching the pool of blood from the defeated beast, examining it closely. Suddenly, he felt Lin Han's gaze. Feng Yong turned around his face, showing clear annoyance. Without hesitation, he lunged forward and grabbed Lin Han's shirt, his eyes blazing with fury. He roared, Lin Han, who told you to interfere? How dare you steal my kill? There's not enough room under the sky for both of us. His bloody hands tightened their grip, wrinkling Lin Han's shirt. Seeing the tense situation, Leng Langshui quickly stepped in. She grabbed Feng Yong's wrist and said with a frown, Feng Yong, did that Gibbon Demon Ape knock your brain loose? If Lin Han hadn't just saved us, you would have been smashed into a pile of minced meat by now. But Feng Yong was unfazed. He violently pushed her away and roared indignantly, Save us bullshit. I think he just wanted to steal our points, as if two geniuses like us couldn't take down a single Gibbon Demon Ape. Without holding back, Leng Langshui immediately slapped Feng Yong hard across the face. He didn't have time to react and took the full stinging blow. Rubbing his cheek, he frowned but still spoke with rage. Leng Langshui, you dare to hit me, she replied calmly. Why wouldn't I dare? Then Leng Langshui's expression darkened and her voice turned stern as she warned, Let me make this perfectly clear. Our deal was, if I helped you get first place, your family would give me an exclusive level 20 piece of equipment, wasn't it? This is just business between us. You're not worthy of being my ally. Feng Yong remained aggressive, pointing straight at her face and threatening loudly, If you don't know when to back off, you'll be the one to lose out. Suddenly he trembled, his voice stuttering. As the two tensed up, Lin Han couldn't care less. He turned and walked away, a faint smirk on his lips as he muttered, Quite the drama. But I have no time to waste on you guys. My team is waiting. Suddenly a sinister smile appeared on Feng Yong's face. He thought smugly, Oh, Lin Han, go on and act so high and mighty. Just then, Lin Han stepped out, his shirt still splattered with fresh blood. But strangely enough, he wore a radiant smile, lost in thought. He thought to himself, Just wait until I get to the Golden Zone. You'll get to slowly experience the grand reception I've prepared for you. In another corner of the Golden Leveling Zone, at the edge of the vast forest, Shu Ting and Long Tianjiao held their breath. Hiding behind an ancient tree, Shu Ting whispered softly, her voice filled with anxiety. Lindsay has been gone for so long. He should have been back by now, shouldn't he? Suddenly, a sound made both of them turn their heads in delight. Fatty, Long Shu Ting, are you all okay? It was the familiar voice of Lin Han. Seeing his teammate return safe and sound, Long Tianjiao rushed out with tears in his eyes, hugging Lin Han tightly. Lindsay, oh my god, where on earth did you just run off to? He hugged Lin Han's leg tightly, crying out emotionally. This is the Golden Leveling Zone. A man-eating beast could have shown up at any moment. Suddenly, a series of quick rustling sounds from a wild beast echoed from behind them, while the three were still embracing. Lin Han gently reassured them. It's all right, I'm back now, aren't I? But at that very moment, a level 28 Netherworld wolf silently charged only a few steps away. With his sharp reflexes, Lin Han's eyes darted over, instantly recognizing the danger. Just as the wolf lunged, without the slightest hesitation, Lin Han unleashed a lightning-fast palm strike that hit it square in the stomach, With no time to react, the beast was thrown back, slamming hard against a tree trunk and collapsing from a single blow. Immediately, a system notification rang out. Successfully eliminated Netherworld Wolf. Received 2,136 experience points. New quest activated. Shuting and Long Tianjiao were stunned. Their eyes wide with astonishment, Shuting stammered with a shaky voice. I remember. Netherworld Wolves? They're pack hunters, which means... Long Tianjiao continued, his voice also trembling. That was a level 28 ferocious beast. Lin Han stood there intently observing the fallen beast. He warned in a grim voice, exactly, we're surrounded by the pack. Hearing that, Long Tianjiao panicked. A whole pack of level 28 beasts. We're done for this time. But Lin Han remained perfectly calm, the corners of his lips curling into a confident smirk. He thought to himself, it's a good thing I just took down all those beasts. Tianxia has leveled up too. This pack of wolves will just be a warm-up for it. Just as the thought finished, the system displayed images and the roars of the wolf pack. Lin Han kept his smile, his eyes glittering with confidence. He then gave an order to his two companions, his gaze cold and sharp, without a hint of hesitation. Ayi Tianxia, no need to hold back. In 10 minutes, turn every last one of those monsters into experience points for me. Suddenly, Bai Ling's excited voice echoed through the area. Ayi, activate. Let's transform together and crush them. Ayi replied, its voice full of energy. Yes, ma'am. Ayi will help Master beat up the big doggies. Immediately, a crystal-clear image of the last battle appeared along with a stream of notifications for experience points. The system provided a detailed introduction to the heavenly horned ant and its skills. Berserk, immense power, bone crushing. Then it switched to analyzing the second target, the Thunder Emperor, along with its skills, Lightning Storm and Swift Dash, as notifications for experience points continued to pop up. After a tense battle, the three of them had wiped out the pack of Netherworld Wolves. But before they could even rest, two new notifications appeared displaying the quest details and completion rewards. After reading it, Lam Han fell into deep thought. Killing this many beasts and leveling up so fast is a good thing, but I just stepped into the gold rank leveling zone. Why did I run into the Netherworld Wolves so soon? Something's not right. He quietly touched the system interface, completely on guard. There's no telling what I'll phase up ahead, just in case. I should boost my power a little. The moment he pressed the button, a heavenly horned ant suddenly leaped out from the bushes, charging straight for Lam Han. Quick as a flash, it pounced on top of him. Lam Han spread his arms to catch it, a bright smile on his face. The ant called out, Master! Ayi settled snugly into Lam Han's arms, its voice smug. Master, I killed that big dog over there. Lam Han chuckled and patted it gently. Good job, Ayi. Now how about you get off me first? Standing nearby, Bach Lang giggled gleefully and moved closer to him, sniffing his scent. She thought to herself, you smell so good. I really want to pounce on you, Master. But then she noticed the bloodstains and couldn't help but cry out, Master. Tiankok wasn't far behind. She pouted, her voice laced with jealousy. You little ant. I already told you not to keep Master all to yourself. Lam Han quickly tried to calm them both down. All right. Both of you just calm down a little. We still have more monsters to hunt. Standing to the side, Hua Din was trembling all over while Long Tianqiu exclaimed in amazement. Your combat power isn't just off the charts. You've also tamed fierce beasts as pets. This is completely different from what I imagined a Beast-Tamer to be. Tianqiu nodded, trying to compose himself. Oh well, I guess I'll get used to it. Lam Han turned to them, his tone generous. That's right, you two followed me all this way. I can't let you leave empty-handed. I'll let you two finish off these last two Netherworld Wolves. Get some experience points for yourselves. Hua Din and Tianqiu's faces lit up, their eyes flashing with killing intent. All right, thanks, Boss Lam. Lam Han chuckled and waved his hand dismissively. Yeah. Hurry up and finish them off. We've got more monsters to grind. A moment later, Tianqiu looked at his bracelet and stared in disbelief at the data. Oh my god, when did we get to first place? On the leaderboard, the names Lam Han, Long Tianqiu, and Hua Din were at the very top with 7,200 points, far surpassing the second place team of Lang Lang Tuyet and Feng Dong, who only had 4,150 points. Lam Han answered nonchalantly, probably about half an hour ago. Outside, the crowd watching the live stream was buzzing with amazement. Tianqiu was still stunned. This score is insane. I wonder what the teachers will think when they see it. Hua Din added, her voice filled with pride. We owe this score all to Lam Han. The dean from Tantan jumped to his feet, his voice firm. This Lam Han, we at Tantan claim him. The representative from Baktien refused to back down, immediately retorting, have you no shame? What experience does Tantan even have in teaching Beast-Tamers? He should obviously come to Baktien. The person from Tantan yelled back, so what if Baktien had one powerful Beast-Tamer in the past? Does that make you guys so special? You think you have more resources than us? I doubt it. The one from Baktien roared back just as fiercely. Baktien is stronger than Tantan, period. If you've got a problem with that, let's settle it with a duel. Principal Tu Hong beamed and chimed in, well, to think Tantan and Baktien are fighting over a student, and one from our own school at that. Standing beside him, Teacher Bang's eyes lit up. I never knew my little Han had such a promising future. The two sides continued to bicker endlessly. Let's fight it out. The winner gets to take Lam Han. Fine by me. And don't go crying when you lose, kid. Suddenly, both of them flinched and turned as Commander Dieppe spoke. The way you two are talking, it seems you've forgotten about the most important person in all this. The representatives from Tantan and Baktien hesitated. Commander Dieppe, you're also interested in Lamhan. They thought anxiously. Tantan and Baktien might be top academies in the Empire, but they're no match for the military academy. Commander Dieppe replied calmly, I do indeed appreciate Lamhan's talent. However, everyone has their own path. I believe that whichever academy Lamhan wants to attend should be up to him. For now, both of you will sit down quietly for me. We can talk about this after Lamhan is out. The two of them fell silent and answered in unison, yes, sir. Principal Tu Khong beamed, his eyes twinkling with pride. Not only Tantan and Baktien, but even the military academy has its eye on one of our students. Today is truly our school's day to shine. Teacher Bang gently placed a hand on his shoulder, her voice soft but firm. Let's calm down first, Principal Tu Khong. Little Han is truly exceptional, and he deserves all of this recognition. But in the crowd, Chao Tuang was grinding his teeth, his expression dark. Why? How did Lam Han suddenly get so strong? Wasn't he supposed to be a good-for-nothing piece of trash? He roared at Feng Dong, his voice filled with fury. Feng Dong, show some damn spirit. Kill Lam Han for me. In the Baksat leveling zone on the outskirts, Feng Dong stared at the leaderboard as fury blazed within him. Lam Han's team, in first place. How did that waste of space get ahead of me? He turned to his teammate, his voice urgent. Let's go. We still have a chance. We need to make up the points and snatch first place back from Lam Han. Lang Lang Tuet replied coldly. Snatch back first place. Are you daydreaming or something? Feng Dong pointed right in her face, his eyes blazing. Lang Lang Tuet. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Don't you want the level 20 weapon? She frowned, her voice weary. I'm almost completely out of stamina. I'm out of strength to keep fighting. If you've got the guts, go get the points yourself. Feng Yong frowned and grumbled, how annoying. But inwardly, he thought, whatever, let it go. Anyway, Lin Han will be in danger sooner or later. Just let him be smug for a little while longer. The trial will be over soon. A voice echoed, welcome back, everyone. Glad you're all safe. Feng Yong and Leng Lingshue's team took second place. Headmaster Si Kong stepped forward, his voice booming. Feng Yong and Leng Lingshue coordinated very well throughout the entire journey. Especially Leng Lingshue, who demonstrated masterful techniques and knew how to seize opportunities to take down strong enemies. He paused for a moment, then continued. Feng Yong's overall performance was not bad. It's just that he was a bit too reckless, too eager for results, which led to him angering the Phantom Ape and nearly causing a catastrophe. He concluded, both are outstanding talents that our school has poured its heart into nurturing. But the representatives from Qingsheng and Beitian just nodded perfunctorily. Not bad. Then they looked around eagerly asking, where is student Lin Han? Why haven't we seen him yet? At that moment, Feng Yong stood there. A smug smirk crept across his lips. He thought to himself, Lin Han, I deliberately smeared the blood of the Phantom Ape on him. That blood will attract a whole pack of ferocious beasts. He must have been torn to shreds by now. But just then the crowd suddenly erupted in cheers. Feng Yong was stunned, his face frozen as if glued in place. Lin Han's group is here. Lin Han's team, Long Tianjiao, Xu Ting. Current score. First place, Tianjiao stepped out, a satisfied smile blooming on his face. I can't believe it. We actually managed to get first place. Feng Yong's face went pale, his eyes staring daggers at Lin Han, unable to believe it. You're still alive. How is that possible? Weren't they in the gold level training zone? Why isn't Lin Han dead? Could it be that my plan failed? Beitian rushed forward, warmly welcoming Lin Han. Jingsheng was right beside him. Beitian spoke up, his voice full of enthusiasm. Student Lin Han on behalf of Qingsheng Academy. We sincerely invite you to join us. I can apply for the highest level scholarship and resources for you. Qingsheng not to be outdone. Cut in. Student Lin Han, as long as you choose Beitian Academy. We will handle the entire process of contracting a summoned beast for you. I hope you'll consider it carefully. Lin Han responded awkwardly. Hey, these two department heads are a bit too enthusiastic, aren't they? Beitian and Qingsheng continued to fight over him, their tones heated. Student Lin Han, choose our Qingsheng Academy. No. Our Beitian is the best choice for you. Lin Han Tianjiao and Xu Ting could only stand by, helplessly thinking to themselves, these are the teachers from two prestigious academies. Hey, Beitian and Qingsheng. They look no different from a couple of old swindlers who, unable to rob you, resort to desperate persuasion. Commander Ye calmly stepped forward, his voice steady. You two, let's put aside the matter of which academy Lin Han will choose for now. Could you let me have a few words with him? He turned to Lin Han, his gaze sharp. Student Lin Han, while you're at it, would you mind revealing your rank? If I'm not mistaken, you've already reached the third promotion. Am I right? Hearing the words third promotion, everyone around them seemed to turn to stone. They all exclaimed in unison, their voices filled with astonishment, unable to believe their own ears. The third promotion, if that's true, isn't that like digging up a treasure? Teacher Li was overjoyed, gripping Bai Bing's hand tightly, her voice full of excitement. Teacher Bai, you knew all along that Lin Han had reached the third promotion, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me sooner if I had known his true strength before? I wouldn't have been so worried. Bai being forced to laugh. Ha ha ha. Would you believe me if I said I didn't know either? But inside she was seething. That little brat, daring to hide it even from me. We'll see how I deal with you later. Feng Yong was stunned, unable to accept the truth. Third promotion. How could Lin Han possibly reach the third promotion? He was clearly far behind me. He pointed straight at Lin Han and screamed. He cheated. Lin Han definitely cheated. He only awakened a few days ago. How could he possibly reach the third promotion? Teachers don't let him fool you. Just then, Commander Ye and Lin Han turned to look at Feng Yong at the same time, saying in unison, I almost forgot about you. The two of them looked at each other stunned. Commander Ye gently raised his hand, gesturing for Lin Han to proceed. Seeing that look, Lin Han understood. Commander Ye seemed to have discovered Feng Yong's malicious plot and was giving him the chance to expose it. Since that was the case, Lin Han decided not to miss the opportunity. He turned to Feng Yong, his eyes ice cold. Taking my chance, Feng Yong, I haven't even come to settle the score with you yet, and you're the one jumping out first. Take a good look at my rank. Lin Han's public status. Lin Han, level 27. Elite Beast-Tamer. Feng Yong was speechless. Level 27. Am I seeing things? Level 27, Elite Beast-Tamer, was clearly displayed on the results bar. He couldn't believe it. Lin Han, the one who was once considered trash, had now reached such a terrifying rank. How long has it been since he awakened? Even Leng Ling Shui hadn't reached level 20 yet, but Lin Han was already at level 27. Lin Han pointed to his own clothes, his voice sharp and firm. You were so sure I would die, weren't you? Why? Was it because of the demon ape blood that you deliberately smeared on me? Feng Yong broke out in a cold sweat, stammering, What are you talking about? I don't understand. But his face couldn't hide the panic. At that moment, Teacher Bing stepped forward, her voice icy. It's useless to deny it. Every move you made during the combat drill was recorded by the camera. We just need to review it and the truth will be clear. As he finished, Feng Dang flashed a smug smile. A cunning glint flashed in his eyes. Lin Han immediately sensed something was wrong, a suspicion rising in his heart. No, something's off. Feng Dang calmly spoke up. Examiner Tao, could you please bring out my surveillance device for everyone to see? Lin Han was stunned, thinking to himself, when did Feng Dong give his surveillance device to Tao Xiang? It's over. I'm in real trouble this time. Tao Xiang slowly produced a broken camera, his voice flat. When Feng Dong entered the field earlier, he handed me his surveillance device. Unfortunately, it was damaged during the fight. It can no longer play back the test footage. Bai Bing furiously snatched the camera and yelled, impossible. Let me see it. Tao Xiang was secretly pleased, the corner of his mouth twitching slightly. How could these people ever suspect that he had tampered with it? The surveillance device was destroyed the moment they left the combat zone. Even though everyone suspected Feng Dong had framed Lin Han, they had no proof and had to give up. Suddenly, Commander Ye spoke up his calm, steady voice like a savior. So that surveillance device is broken. No problem. I have another camera here. Maybe we should take a look. Tao Xiang was stunned, not having anticipated this move. What? He blurted out. Commander Ye took out his phone and explained clearly, to ensure an accurate assessment of the student's performance, the military installed cameras in the areas beforehand. Originally, it was just to avoid errors in evaluation. I never thought it would become such useful evidence. On the screen, the image clearly showed Feng Dong bending down and secretly touching a pool of blood. Everyone gasped, oh my god, it really was him. He smeared the demonic ape's blood on Lin Han, Commander. Ye's voice was stern, as if delivering a verdict. The demonic ape is only a silver rank beast, but its blood can agitate higher ranking beasts. Your actions were clearly intended to attract a gold rank beast, pushing Lin Han's group of 3 to their deaths. You should consider yourself lucky you're not a soldier under my command, and that no serious harm was done. Otherwise, for someone like you who harms their own comrades, I would make you wish you were dead, filled with endless regret. Feng Dong was speechless, only managing to stammer, Another teacher walked in, his voice full of rage. Feng Dong, I can't believe you would do something so despicable. You've brought shame to our school. You're not worthy of being our student. Just wait to be expelled. Lin Han looked calmly into Tao Xiang's eyes, his voice as sharp as a blade. Examiner Feng Dong is just a pawn. For a student like him to know about the effects of demonic ape blood, and for the camera to break just at the right time. He paused, a suspicious glint in his eye. Examiner Tao, your older brother Tao Song, he came after me time and time again before, and now the camera in your hands breaks. Isn't that too much of a coincidence? I think in this game of chess, you're the real player, aren't you? Tao Xiang frantically waved his hands, a panicked look on his face as he tried to deny any involvement. It has nothing to do with me, I'm an examiner. Why would I do something like that? He then said something that left Feng Dong stunned in disbelief. Besides, for a despicable person like Feng Dong, I'm ashamed to even be associated with him. Feng Dong shot up in anger, roaring, Uncle Xiang, you can't do this to me. At first, I just wanted the accumulation points from the demonic ape. He didn't hesitate to expose Tao Xiang, his voice filled with resentment. It was you texted me and told me about the effect of the demonic ape's blood, telling me to smear it on Lin Han. To cover up his crime, Tao Xiang strode forward angrily and kicked Feng Dong hard. Shut up! When did I ever do that? Feng Dong tumbled to the ground. The phone in his pocket flew out. Someone quickly picked it up. their eyes lighting up when they saw it was unlocked. Bai Bing easily swiped through the screen. Finding the message log between the two, she frowned, letting out a soft, meaningful, "Oh." Then she turned the screen towards Tao Xiang, leaving him no room to deny it. Feng Dong wasn't lying. His phone still has the messages from Tao Xiang. Enraged, Tao Xiang lunged forward, trying to snatch the phone from Bai Bing. "You're slandering me. Give me the phone." But Dean Sikong was faster. He restrained Tao Xiang from behind with overwhelming force. "I can't believe you're as vile as your brother. People like you must be punished." Commander Ye, his face as cold as ice, spoke. "Hand Tao Xiang over to the military department for processing." His low voice held an unshakable severity. "You abused your authority for personal gain and harmed a student. You have no professional ethics. I will ensure you face a punishment that you can't even imagine in your entire life." A teacher from Qingsheng Academy snorted coldly, his voice full of contempt. "Serves him right. As for Feng Dong, someone so morally corrupt, our Qingsheng Academy will never accept him." Another teacher from Beitian Academy also spoke up. "Our Beitian Academy also refuses to accept Feng Dong and any member of his clan." The people around them pointed and laughed at the downfall of both Feng Dong and Tao Xiang. To think they'd team up to play such dirty, vicious tricks. Now, not only have they been utterly humiliated, but their futures are ruined too. Serves them right. Feng Dong sat slumped on the ground, clenching his teeth and roaring in despair. "It's over. It's really over." On the side, Lin Han smiled faintly, a mysterious glint in his eyes. If Ai hadn't been affected by the demonic ape blood, he probably wouldn't have discovered Feng Dong's little trick so quickly. He looked at the imposing Commander Ye in front of him, filled with admiration. As expected of a high-ranking officer from the military academy, his observational skills are astonishingly sharp. He thought to himself, maybe joining the military academy wouldn't be so bad. Suddenly, Commander Ye turned around and called out, "Student Lin Han." He immediately stood straight and answered crisply, "Yes, sir." Ye Weifeng walked over, extending a hand with a rare smile. "Your performance in the combat drill was outstanding. The military academy is ready to welcome you. You can join any time. But I should tell you up front, the military academy can't offer you glamorous conditions, and after joining, you will face extremely harsh training, whether you join or not. It's entirely your decision. Take your time and think it over." A teacher from Qingcheng Academy walked over, a friendly smile on his face. "Student Lin Han, don't be so quick to decide. Please consider it a little more. Not to be outdone." The teacher from Beitian Academy quickly interjected, his voice full of pride. "That's right. The faculty at our Beitian Academy is undoubtedly the strongest in the Tian Empire." Receiving invitations from all three major academies at the same time, Lam Han remained calm and tactfully replied, "I will consider them." Headmaster Tu Hong stood by, observing thoughtfully. For years, he had rarely seen a spectacle where two major academies and the military academy vied for a single student like this. In any case, Lam Han was a student of First High. He thought to himself that he should support the boy a little. After Tao Tuong was taken away and the scandal gradually died down, Headmaster Tu Hong stepped up. On the stage, his majestic voice echoed with authority. "Dear students, the examination hereby officially concludes. Now let the award ceremony begin." He started announcing the rankings. Third place goes to Do Hao Nam Dien and Hon Nguyen. In second place are Feng Dong and Lan Lang Tuit. And finally, first place is awarded to Lam Han. Long Tian Kiu and Hua Din. Ba Tu Hong, beaming with a radiant smile, announced, "The reward for the most outstanding individual based on your performance. This is your prize. A villa in the city center, a high-grade skill book, heaven-piercing fist, and a gold-grade buffing necklace that can increase all of the user's attributes by 20% for 3 minutes. But it can only be used 3 times. Lam Han walked onto the stage, his eyes sparkling with pride and gratitude as he accepted the generous reward. To receive such a grand prize today, I must first thank the principal for his guidance, thank the school for its nurturing, and especially thank Wu Chao City. Joy threatened to burst from his heart. First place gets a whole villa. That was truly magnificent. He secretly imagined, doesn't this mean I can hug Anat and Tien Kok to sleep every day from now on? Headmaster Tu Kong, completely unaware of the boy's naive thoughts, just smiled kindly. Save your thanks. It won't be too late to say them when you've become successful and returned to the school. For now, let Bag Bang take you to see the villa first. A short while later, in a high-end villa district within the city, a sleek black car glided silently into a private compound. Inside the car, Bag Bang tilted her head slightly. A gentle smile lit up her eyes. Which academy have you decided on for your journey ahead? Lam Han gently handed something to her. I'm not sure yet. I was actually hoping to ask for your opinion. Bag Bang replied leisurely, her voice calm and clear. If you want a stable place to develop Tantan and Bak Tien are both top choices. But the military academy is a forge that tempers people through extreme hardship. If you're aiming for greater goals in the future, it's not a bad idea either. He pictured Anat and Tien Kok. Without his system, going to Tantan or Bak Tien to gather resources would indeed be the optimal choice. Lam Han stroked his chin deep in thought. But now with the system in hand, especially with the ancestral regression ability, he realized he needed timer points more than resources. And timer points had to be forged through fierce battles. Finally, he decisively cast aside all hesitation. I choose the military academy. A faint smile appeared on Bakbang's lips, her eyes twinkling with approval. You really are full of surprises. Later on at the military academy if you need help. Hey, remember to find me. Lamhan nodded, his smile filled with gratitude. Although the Bak family was incredibly powerful, extending a hand into the military academy was no easy feat. Miss Bang probably didn't want him to feel too much pressure. A cheerful smile touched his lips. Pressure. He didn't feel any at all. With Anihat in his left arm and Thiankok in his right, where would the pressure come from? But then he suddenly remembered the somewhat excessive enthusiasm of Anat and Thiankok. Sister, we absolutely must serve Master well. Lamhan froze, a slight shiver running down his spine. Wait, this pressure seems a little immense, actually. Suddenly, the car lurched as the driver took a sharp turn. Inertia caused Lamhan to lose his balance, and he tumbled over his head, landing right on Bakbang's slender thighs. She didn't move an inch, only looking down, her gentle eyes tinged with a bit of concern. You're still missing one tamed beast. Do you have a target yet? I can help you catch one. Lying on the beautiful woman's lap and looking up to see the majestic peaks, Lamhan's face flushed slightly. In a tiny voice, he said, I have a target already. Miss Bang, do you know of any place with powerful fire attribute beasts? Bakbang pondered, her fingers gently stroking her hair. Let me think. Sonkai City, nearby, has a flame forest. Inside, there's a platinum-grade blazing firebird that's quite suitable for your current level. He could also become a powerful ally when you join the military academy. Lamhan mumbled, his eyes lighting up. A blazing firebird. Huh. Bakbang watched him, noticing that he had already started planning. At your current level, you're about to reach the 4th advancement, aren't you? That forest will be an excellent opportunity for you to break through. But seeing Lamhan still lying motionless on her lap even after the car had steadied, she spoke in a stern voice, half joking, half serious. Hey kiddo, have you enjoyed yourself enough yet? He shot up, scratching his head with an embarrassed laugh. Yes, that's enough. Definitely enough. Bakbang tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and made a firm decision. All right, let's head to the flame forest now. The flame forest was just as its name suggested, a land ablaze with fiery light and strange trees. Adapted to the extreme heat they created, a perpetually burning forest. Bakbang led the way with confident strides. I hope the intelligence isn't wrong. If there's no blazing firebird here, I'll help you catch a similar one. For now, focus on leveling up and preparing for your 4th advancement. She said in an encouraging tone. Lamhan summoned Anat and Thiankok, nodding his thanks. Suddenly, a ferocious roar echoed by their ears. A pack of fire lions with glowing eyes, which had been silently stalking their prey, advanced toward them. Bakbang's lips curled into a slight teasing smile. If you're scared, feel free to hide behind me. But the fire lions gave them no time for jokes. After a moment of observing their prey, they lunged forward like living flames. Bakbang didn't flinch in the slightest, not even summoning her tamed beast. She leisurely raised her hand. Sharp blades of eyes glinted and shot straight toward the enemy. A wave of chilling air washed over the fire lions, extinguishing the ferocious flames on their bodies. They panicked and backed away, fear filling their eyes. Linhan, standing behind them, was secretly amazed. Is Miss Bing really that strong? She was facing fire-type beasts, which should have an advantage against her ice-type, yet she was overpowering them with ease. He watched quietly, noticing that the 3 fire lions were already in a weakened state. Just one more blow could finish them. Instead of rushing in, Linhan turned to Bai Bing, his eyes filled with curiosity. Miss Bing, just how strong are you really? She didn't answer, only smirking slightly. Her tone was urgent. I'll tell you later. Hurry up and finish them off. Aren't you about to reach your 4th job advancement? This much experience should be almost enough, right? Without further hesitation, Linhan nodded and gave a decisive command. Go! Yi and Tiangu immediately rushed forward, coordinating smoothly. Watching his experience points shoot up, Linhan couldn't help but exclaim internally with excitement. Leveling up is so easy. The system continuously displayed notifications. Successfully defeated Fire Lion. Experience points plus 2,258. You have leveled up to 28. All stats increased by 210 points. You received an additional 240 free attribute points. Then successfully defeated Fire Lion. Experience points plus 2,258. You have leveled up to 29. All stats increased by 270 points. You received an additional 250 free attribute points. And finally, successfully defeated Fire Lion. Experience points plus 2,258. You have leveled up to 30. All stats increased by 300 points. You received an additional 300 free attribute points. In just a moment, the system chimed again. Successfully defeated Fire Lion. Experience points plus 0. Warning. You have reached the maximum limit for the 3rd job advancement. You must accept a class change quest to break through. Until you reach the 4th job advancement, you cannot continue to gain experience. Bai Bing glanced over, frowning slightly as she calculated and turned to him. So you've reached the level cap, right? Linhan scratched his head, breaking into a bright smile. Yep, I'm at the cap. Hearing this, she didn't hesitate at all, grabbing his hand and striding forward with determination. Then let's keep moving. The place where the flamebird was last seen was just ahead. In the heart of the blazing flame forest, a majestic flamebird perched on the branch of a giant ancient tree, its wings shimmering with fiery light. Bai Bing nodded slightly, a look of satisfaction in her eyes. The intel was correct. The flame bird was indeed here. Lin Han cracked his knuckles, ready to show off his skills. Watch me work my magic. With that, he crouched down and brilliant wings of energy burst from his back, flashing like starlight. In an instant, Lin Han shot into the air, covering several meters in the blink of an eye. Bai Bing watched him go, stunned, thinking to herself, this kid, since when did he master the skill of flight like that? Hovering high above Lin Han gave a confident smile, thinking to himself, it's time to really impress Miss Bing. Once he was close to the flame bird, he summoned his tame beast Ai in a flash. Caught by the surprise attack, the flame bird had no time to react as it saw a tiny ant hurtling straight towards it. Ai may have been small, but she packed terrifying power. Her tiny legs delivered a tremendous punch, knocking the flame bird right off its branch. It crashed to the ground with a loud thud. Lin Han landed gracefully beside the beast. He reached out his hand to perform the taming ritual. Contract complete. The flame bird's information appeared before his eyes. Flamebird of the Crimson Flamebird clan, level 35, strength 296, agility 2564, spirit 2100, constitution 2350. Looking at the stats, Lin Han stroked his chin thoughtfully. Why are its stats so low? It's so many levels higher than Ai, but it's not even half as strong. Looks like I'll have to rely on my ancestral awakening skill, asterisk. Of course, seeing Lin Han successfully form a contract with the flame bird, Bai Bing smiled in approval. You're not half bad. I guess I can leave with peace of mind now. Hearing this, Lin Han asked with a hint of curiosity, you have to go, Miss Bing, is it for work? Or Bai Bing turned and started walking away, slowly nodding in confirmation. Yeah, I have to leave Wuzhou City for a few days. It'll probably be a while before we see each other again. The road ahead is one you must walk on your own. I believe in you. Your future definitely doesn't stop here. As she neared her car, Bai Bing paused as if she had one last thing to say. She turned her head, looking straight into Lin Han's eyes. I'll be waiting for you to find me. And when you do, you'd better surprise me. He broke into a radiant smile and replied with confidence. You can count on it. Bai Bing got into his car and disappeared, leaving Lin Han alone in the flame forest. He looked down at the flame bird he had just tamed, a determined glint in his eyes. All right, let's start the ancestral awakening. The flame bird shot into the sky, brilliant flames wrapping around its body, ready for the ritual. Gradually, just like his other tamed beasts, it transformed into a human figure under the effect of the ancestral awakening. A system notification rang out, flame bird ancestral awakening successful. It had transformed into a girl with brilliant blonde hair, wearing a dazzling red dress that blazed like fire. A detailed information panel appeared. Zhen Huang. Race primordial, 10 evils, level 35. Strength 45,860. Agility 78,690. Spirit 74,520. Constitution 59,620. Skills Emperor's Flame, level 10. Fire rains from the sky, incinerating everything within a 1 kilometer radius. Earth Vein, level 10. Flames erupt from the ground and ravaging everything within a 1 kilometer radius. After her awakening, Zhen Huang rushed over and hugged Lin Han tightly. Master, he hugged her back, his heart swelling with pride. Another one of the primordial 10 evils. Awesome. Let's go. Time to accept the class change quest. At the Grand Class Change Temple in the city, the quest board was glowing. Quest name, Proliferation of the Divine. Turtle Lizards. Difficulty, 5 stars. Content, eliminate 50 turtle lizards that are altering the ecosystem of the Kushui Swamp. Location, Kushui Swamp. Lin Han looked at the quest board, frowning slightly and muttering, another 5-star quest. It's fine. I'm not the same person I was before. Whenever a high-level mission appeared, the public screen in the waiting hall would announce the information, causing a stir throughout the temple as news of the 5-star mission spread. It sent the crowd outside the temple into a frenzy. Good heavens, what is happening? Another 5-star mission. What is wrong with this world? Why are there so many 5-star missions all of a sudden? A sharp-eyed, quick-witted person mumbled, perhaps all these missions are coming from a single person, while the crowd was buzzing with discussion. A group of 4 walked out from within the temple, drawing everyone's gaze. Lin Han led the way, followed by 3 humanoid tamed beasts, whose stunning beauty and radiant aura made everyone turn their heads in amazement. Lin Han flashed a confident smile, his eyes shining brightly. Next, we're going to complete the 4th advancement mission. Let's head out to the Bitterwater Marsh. By the time he set foot in the marsh, the sky had already sunk into darkness. He gazed at the shimmering water, thinking to himself, so this is the Bitterwater Marsh. It doesn't look dangerous at all. The moment he finished speaking, a swarm of colorful water snakes suddenly surfaced. Having caught the scent of humans, they swarmed and slithered beneath the murky water. Suddenly, the leader snake opened its jaw wide and lunged out of the water straight for Lin Han. Without the slightest hesitation, he immediately summoned his new tamed beast. Xiao Zhen, these snakes are all yours. Xiao Zhen smiled confidently and replied, I guarantee you'll be satisfied, master. With that, she unleashed her imperial flame skill. A fierce fire erupted. Get out of this world, you mongrels! The blazing flames ignored the water in the marsh, incinerating the snakes to ash. The sizzling sound of roasting meat echoed as a fragrant aroma spread. The weak water snakes shrieked in despair, unable to resist Xiaozhen's power. Lin Han sat leisurely on the grass, munching on a piece of fragrant grilled snake meat while muttering, "Why is it all snakes? I don't see any sign of the divine turtle lizards." Xiaozhen soared high into the sky, her sharp eyes scanning the surroundings. She quickly reported back, "Master, I found the divine turtle lizards. They're just ahead." Lin Han gave her a thumbs up, praising her generously. "Great job, Xiaozhen. No more delays, let's go." A moment later, at the edge of the marsh where it met the sea, Lin Han's eyes widened at the sight of the divine turtle lizards swarming and packed densely together. He exclaimed, his voice mixed with astonishment. "Good heavens, I can't believe there are so many of them. A density like this is truly terrifying." But then the corner of his mouth curled into a calculating smile. "Still, this is good. Having them all gathered in one place saves me the trouble of searching." Without letting Xiaozhen make a move, Lin Han called his other two tamed beasts. "Yi Tiangu, these turtle lizards are for you." Yi grinned brightly and replied, "Don't worry, master." Tiangu gave a slight nod, her smile gentle yet full of confidence. "Just leave it to us." But Xiaozhen hadn't received any orders yet. So she asked, "Master, what about me?" He smiled faintly and replied, "It's enough for you to just stay by my side, and while you're at it, help the other girls level up." Yi, the warrior ant with terrifying close combat power, charged into battle. She leaped to the left and punched hard to the right, taking down rows of divine turtle lizards in no time. Meanwhile, Tiangu fought with a gentle and composed style. With her long-range attack ability, she summoned lightning down, leaving the turtle lizards paralyzed. Lin Han sat on the shore, enjoying Xiaozhen's care while sighing in satisfaction. This feeling of getting rewards without doing anything, completing the mission without even lifting a finger. How refreshing. The system continuously announced successfully eliminated 20 divine turtle lizards. Successfully eliminated 25 divine turtle lizards. Lin Han has successfully eliminated 30 divine turtle lizards. Mission 60% complete. Suddenly, a giant pillar of water shot into the sky, drawing Lin Han's attention. From the water surface, a level 49 divine turtle lizard king, 10 times larger than the others, and emerged roaring with fury. But Lin Han was stunned by the colossal beast, unconsciously blurting out, "Good lord, how is it so big?" But after the shock passed, he broke into a confident smile. A normal person would have panicked and fled when facing a level 49 divine turtle lizard king, but for him, the system promised a reward of 1,500 taming points for defeating it. Xiaozhen had already spread her fiery wings, ready and waiting for the command. Lin Han waved his hand, summoning Yi and Tiangu. If all three beasts attacked together, they could definitely put up a good fight. He gave a decisive command. Yi used colossal strength. She immediately obeyed, unleashing a powerful punch that shattered the turtle's steel-like shell. Next, Lin Han instructed Tiangu Thunder Burst. A giant bolt of lightning struck down, causing the divine turtle lizard king to stagger. Finally, Xiaozhen delivered the finishing blow. A brilliant flame erupted from the void and shot straight at the turtle, incinerating it in an instant. After the three-hit combo, the level 49 divine turtle lizard king couldn't even react. It was left gasping for air, floating on the water surface, waiting for Lin Han to finish it off. But he didn't rush to act, still assessing the situation. To withstand the full-force attack of all three beasts and still be alive, it's truly worthy of being level 49, he muttered, unable to hide his admiration. Lin Han was still lost in admiration, but the opportunity slipped away. Before he could deliver the final blow, a giant black water python suddenly lunged forward, opened its mouth, and bit down hard on the divine turtle lizard king's head. Lin Han roared in fury, "Damn it, my 1,500 taming points." The system coldly announced, "Mission to eliminate the divine turtle lizard king has failed." Reason? The final blow was not dealt by you or your tamed beasts. New mission: eliminate the Blackwater Python King. Reward: 2,000 taming points. Lin Han gritted his teeth, veins popping on his forehead, and snarled, "You bastard! You dare steal my prey? I'll make you pay for it with interest," he muttered. This is a good chance to test out the system's level 1 fusion skill. The bodies of the tamed beasts began to digitize. Lin Han's voice rang out, Yi of the Heavens Will, Tiangu, the Thunderbird, and finally, Xiaozhen, the Blazing Firebird. All three transformed into a mysterious energy and merged into his body. A mystical light wrapped around Lin Han like a superhero transformation. In the blink of an eye, he was clad in beast armor derived from Yi's powerful body. The wings on his back were split in two, one side blazing with Xiaozhen's fire, the other shimmering with Tiangu's lightning. A full helm concealed his face, adding to his mysterious aura. Lin Han checked his attribute panel. Status fused. Race human, level 30. Strength, 91,364. Agility, 85,350. Spirit, 90,800. Constitution, 83,000. He was tongue-tied. These stats are way too strong. The Blackwater Python King, having just witnessed the miraculous transformation, had yet to realize the imminent danger. Its ferocious eyes glared at Lin Han, its forked tongue letting out a hissing sound to summon its pack. Before long, a swarm of level 39 Blackwater pythons appeared surrounding him. Yi quickly warned, "Master, be careful." Lin Han agilely dodged the python's attacks. He replied confidently, "Don't worry. Thanks to the fused state, he could freely use the skills of his tamed beasts. The Imperial Flame skill was activated and deadly sparks erupted around his body, easily incinerating the swarm of pythons. The stench of blood mixed with acrid smoke filled the air as the system continuously announced the successful elimination of the Blackwater pythons. Experience +0. Successfully eliminated a Blackwater python. Experience +0. Suddenly another notification rang out. Attention, you have reached the maximum limit for the third class change. You must accept the class advancement quest to break through. Otherwise, you will not be able to gain any more experience. The face hidden behind Lin Han's helmet looked coldly towards the Blackwater Python King. Now that I'm done with your little minions, it's your turn. The python roared in fury. It opened its mouth, revealing sharp fangs, and lunged forward to tear him apart. Lin Han skillfully unleashed his techniques, Colossal Strength, Berserk, Imperial Flame, with superior power, and a single Godspeed punch landed. The python shrieked in pain. Without stopping, he attacked continuously, quickly crushing the Blackwater Python King's massive body. Lin Han landed softly on the water's surface. His body glided as lightly as a leaf, ignoring the Python King's mangled corpse, exploding behind him in a violent burst of sparks. After defeating the enemy, his three beast companions cheered in unison, their voices filled with excitement. Master, you're so cool. However, the system remained silent. Not a single reward notification appeared. He paused, turned his head, and furrowed his brow, muttering in curiosity, it's not dead yet. As the smoke and dust gradually dissipated, a blurry figure emerged from behind. Not one but two menacing snakeheads. But no looking closer, it was a strange mutant beast. A turtle's head and a snake's head growing from the turtle's tail, looking grotesquely bizarre. The system immediately announced special mutated beast detected King of the Blackwater Marsh, the Blackwater Xuanwu, level 49. At the same time in the city, red alert sirens blared urgently warning that an incident had occurred in the Blackwater Marsh dungeon. The super rare beast, the Blackwater Xuanwu, has appeared. At the class change temple, the female receptionist was stunned by the glaring red notification, muttering in disbelief, "The Blackwater Marsh? Isn't that Mr. Lin's quest dungeon? A rare mutant beast. Oh my god, a Xuanwu, back in the marsh, facing the turtle-headed, snake-tailed monster." Lin Han frowned his mind in a whirl, not understanding what was happening. Why did this Xuanwu suddenly pop out of nowhere? He murmured, his eyes scanning the beast. A voice immediately spoke up from within him. "I'm sure of it, Master. I can feel that this mongrel before us is not a real Xuanwu. It's just a simulation formed from the combination of similar mutant beasts." Hearing this, Lin Han had a sudden realization and nodded. So that's how it is. But how did they mutate and fuse, into a single monster like this? Xiao Jian shook her head helplessly and replied, "Master, I'm sorry, I don't know either. But Master, be careful." The moment the words left her mouth, the fake Xuanwu suddenly lunged forward, its attack as fierce as a tempest. It forced Lin Han to put all his strength into defending himself, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. Parrying a dangerous blow, Lin Han leaped back, his voice low and cold. "I was going to keep you for research. But I didn't expect you to have no honor and sneak attack me. No more holding back." He gathered his power, and the light of lightning converged in his palm, as brilliant as a raging fire. "Now die." Lin Han roared, unleashing a fatal blow. The Imperial Flame. Lightning burst transformed into a gigantic pillar of lightning that struck the mutated Xuanwu, causing the surface of the Blackwater Marsh to tremble violently. A thunderous explosion echoed. When the smoke and dust cleared, Lin Han stood tall, his cold gaze declaring victory. The system immediately announced, "You have defeated the Blackwater Xuanwu, received platinum item Xuanwu Aegis." He quickly collected the item and checked its effects. When at the same level, the Xuanwu Aegis reduces critical damage by 50%. When the user's level is suppressed, it reduces critical damage by up to 80%. It also improves the owner's luck and lifespan to a certain extent. Lin Han quickly dispelled his fusion state with his tamed beast, sighing in relief after completing the quest. The reward isn't bad, he thought to himself. Time to head back to the class change temple. But suddenly a sharp pain followed by a wave of fatigue hit him, making him dizzy and his head spin. The system immediately warned, due to the side effects of the fusion skill, "You have entered a weakened state. This state will last for 3 hours." Seeing their master staggering, the three beast companions rushed forward to support him. Lin Han clutched his head, his brow furrowed tightly as he considered things. The fusion skill still has its limitations. From now on, I should only use it as a trump card in critical moments. 3 hours later, back at the class change temple, he returned to turn in the quest. The system immediately announced class advancement quest complete. You have reached the 4th class change beast battle lord. 4th class change successful. Unlocked professional talent skills. He carefully examined the skill panel. The new talent skills included stealth, become invisible for 2 minutes, but does not conceal your aura. Cooldown, 2 hours. And swap, instant teleportation within a 10-meter range. Cooldown, 30 minutes. Lin Han stroked his chin, a glint in his eyes. This is pretty overpowered. Invisibility is something countless people dream of. At a critical moment, it can be a lifesaver. Unexpectedly, the system continued to announce, host has completed the 4th class change, activating 4th class change reward. A list of appealing skills appeared, allowing him to choose one of them. Shared vision. Share vision with a tamed beast for 30 minutes. Cooldown 1 hour. Telepathy. Communicate with beasts, increasing their affinity and the success rate of forming a contract. Perception block. When an enemy cannot see you, completely conceals your aura, avoiding detection by people or beasts. No time limit or cooldown. Lin Han's eyes widened. He thought to himself, stealth is powerful, but it lacks the ability to hide my aura. Perception block complements it perfectly. Without hesitation, he made his decision. I choose perception block. The system immediately synchronized. Announcement skill learned successfully. The current status panel displayed name Lin Han. Profession Beast Battle, Lord 4th Class Change, Hidden Profession. Level 30. Strength 6,880. Agility 5,980. Spirit 4,664. Physique 4,463. Equipment Juanwu Aegis, Blessing, Necklace. Skills Life Contract Level 4. Beast Space. 4 million slots. Return. Beast Level 4. Malicious Fluctuation Level 3. Shadow Thorns Level 3. Skill. Copy Level 3. Eagle Eye Level 2. Listening Level 2. World. Body Level 2. Poison. Thorn Level 1. Stealth Level 1. Swap Level 1. Perception Block Level 1. Heaven Piercing. Fist Not Learned. Lin Han smiled in satisfaction and walked over to register at the Junmo Military Academy. At the teleportation gate, a bustling crowd moved back and forth. He blended into the crowd with Ai Yi on his shoulder. In the form of a small, well-behaved ant, a gnat was a more convenient choice. Tiu Chun and Thinkok were too eye-catching and unsuited for crowded places. As he was walking, he suddenly heard someone call his name, Lam Han. Turning his head, Lam Han recognized some familiar faces. The chubby TNQ smiled brightly. Lam Han, we promised we'd go to the same academy, remember? Huadin gently interjected. I said back then that I wanted to follow you, TNQ said, slinging an arm around Lam Han's shoulder with a grin. I was originally planning to surprise you at the academy. Huading was overjoyed as if she'd won the lottery, her eyes sparkling. Who would have thought we'd run into each other here? I guess you could call it fate. Lam Han casually walked towards the teleportation gate, giving a slight nod to his two friends. All right, from now on, we'll stick together. That night at a small hotel in the city, frustrated Lam Han hugged a pillow and pressed it tightly against his ears. The thunderous snoring, accompanied by the flailing arms and legs of the person next to him, made it impossible to get any sleep. Who knew this chubby guy could snore so loudly? Watching Thinkyu sleep soundly, his snores shaking the entire bed, Lam Han wanted to lunge over and cover his mouth. Tomorrow he had to register, and that meant crossing the treacherous Van An forest. If I can't get any sleep tonight, what am I going to do? Suddenly a gentle voice echoed from his beast-taming space. Master, don't worry, we have a way. And Nat Thinkok and Tirchun confidently joined forces, creating a brilliant, sparkling golden stream of energy. The three of them appeared beside Lam Han, and miraculously, the snoring completely vanished. He let out a sigh of relief, smiling in satisfaction. So beast energy could create a soundproof space. You guys are so thorough and thoughtful. Inside the soundproof barrier, Tirchun boldly scooted closer to Thinkok, whining playfully. Hey sis, move over a little. I want to hug Master. Anhat wasn't about to lose. Master, I want to too. Lam Han chuckled, his eyes twinkling as he was surrounded by the two beauties. Easy, easy. There's enough for everyone. Thinkok, you can climb on top of me. Tirchun clung to him, tightly refusing to let go. No way, Master belongs to me and me alone. Anyat fumed with jealousy. What did you just say? It's only out of respect for Master that I'm even reluctantly sharing with you. Don't push it, Tirchun retorted stubbornly. Then you should let me have him this time. I will absolutely not give up, Master. Neither was willing to back down. The three of them jumped into a fierce argument, ready to use their skills. Today, on behalf of our Master, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Lam Han quickly stepped forward, opening his arms to hug all three of them. Now, he soothed. You're all comrades. Why are you acting like this? He smiled and proposed a solution. How about this? Each of you can take turns hugging me for 3 hours. How does that sound? Lam Han advised them gently, his voice sincere. We're a family. We shouldn't fight. All three nodded in satisfaction, snuggling into his chest. We'll listen to you, Master. The next morning, at the edge of the military academy's outskirts, the Van An forest was shrouded in gloomy darkness. Lam Han's group began their journey. Thinkyu noticed that Huadin looked pale. He asked with concern, Huadin, what's wrong? Didn't you rest well last night? The girl replied wearily, I don't know who it was, but their loud snoring kept me awake all night. Hearing this, the chubby Thinkyu blushed, scratching his head in embarrassment and quickly changing the subject. Hey, we still have to cross the Van An forest to register at the military academy. We should get going. Huadin didn't press the issue, just smiled softly and nodded in agreement. Okay. The three continued onward, unaware that high in the canopy, a young man was silently watching their every move. The observer was Yendong, who was secretly reporting their position. 3 new students have entered the Van An forest. Get ready. The Huandao team is nearby, ready to strike at any moment. Suddenly, the system issued a warning. Malicious fluctuation triggered. Lamhan immediately sensed the danger and quickly pulled his two friends to a halt. Just as a fiery attack was about to hit, he yelled, "Watch out!" Heavy footsteps echoed on the ground. Facing a level 40 flame Black Panther, Lamhan calmly commanded, "Prepare for battle." Tinkir watched the beast warily, exclaiming in shock, "I can't believe it's a level 40 beast. This is just the outskirts of the military academy."